Oh, what's going on, baby?
Cheers. Chris Harris.
Cheers. What's going on, guys?
What's up, fellas?
What's going on, man? So how fucked up did you get in Germany?
You know, sometimes you make mistakes. So what happens is you get a beer here, right?
Okay.
We might have 16, 20 ounces. No big deal, right?
Okay.
You get a
That's
liter.
12 ounce beer right there.
Okay, you get a liter at a time over there.
Okay.
So liter at a time's quite a bit. So first night, I downed 5 liters.
5 liters?
5 liters. We were at a beer garden. Liter cup at a time.
I love beer gardens.
We were there for a few hours, so it wasn't like we were pounding them back, but just having a good time, chalking a little bit. We end the night with me drinking tap water out of faucets in Austria that you're not supposed to drink out of.
Why can't you drink out of them?
So, you know, over here we got clean pipes and clean water.
Not the case
Over there, they don't.
They've been there since like the 1700s.
Over there, asbestos.
You got the 1700s pipes.
Taking
You know what
some
I mean?
risk?
I'm drinking it going like,
asbestos.
yeah, it tastes like dirt. Feels like home, but it's rough, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, that first
Tastes like
night,
dirt feels like home.
Alex and I passed out in the same bed, like,
Naked.
not naked, in boxers, you know, stripped down.
Boner.
But like, it was like 3 a.m. We ate some shitty street food hot dog. That wasn't a real hot dog. I don't care what the hell.
Ate some
Listen,
shitty street food.
Brett
Hot
Meese,
dog.
if you ever see this, fuck you, that hot dog sucked. That hot dog
Damn.
was the worst thing I've ever ate in my life.
Did he build
Ever?
up? Did he
No.
build it up?
We were walking back from the bar, from the beer garden, to the Airbnb.
Can you spell the beer garden in Germany though? Like spell
Dude,
it.
Listen.
Beer garden.
No
Like that.
idea.
Beer garden.
Zero idea. No
Was
idea.
it T's or
So
I's?
keep
or-
going. So keep going.
So we're stumbling back to the streets, and Brett's the only one that even knows where the Airbnb is at.
Right.
You know, I have it. He sent it to me on Airbnb that I never looked at it. We're stumbling. He's like, oh, it's street food. We're hungry. I'm like, you're hungry. But he's like, oh, it's hot dog. Okay. You know, hot dog.
How can you
Just
fuck
knock
that up?
down-
Did he build it up?
No. He didn't build it. He'd never been there. We were in somewhere new for
Okay,
him, too.
okay, that's
You know,
fair,
so
that's
it's
fair.
like, hey, man, we're going to, you know, get a hot dog. And Alex and I were both like, I'm good. Not hungry. I'm just not hungry. I want to go back. I want to pass out.
Shout out to the Meese brothers.
Because here's the thing. We took a 8.5 hour flight. At the airport, Brett cracks 2 beers.
Was this from Germany to Austria?
No, from Charlotte to,
Okay, cool.
we landed in Munich. So he
Okay,
picked us
cool.
up in
Okay,
Munich.
cool.
And then we left Munich and drove straight to Austria the first day.
Now, how far is Munich from Austria?
Honestly, it was only like an hour and a half ride.
Okay, cool.
So like most
bad.
things were pretty close. The
Yeah.
longest drive we did while we were there was about 4 hours. And that was from where
Okay.
he lives in Cologne back to Munich to catch the flight and to Oktoberfest.
Okay, cool.
But we get there. He literally cracks 2 beers for us out of the trunk. Warm beers.
Oh no.
As soon as we get there.
Brett did that?
Is that
Brett
like
did that.
is that like a normal
Yeah, what
thing
the
in
fuck,
Germany?
man?
Or
Well, here's the thing. You know how you go to Publix and they've got like the beer section, right?
Yeah.
And you can just mix and match. You can grab whatever.
The singles.
and they're cold.
Right,
The
but,
singles,
but it's
yeah.
an open cooler, so they're
Right.
not like ice cold.
But
like
they're
you
cold
would.
enough.
Right? But like not like the ones you would get at QT. We have to open the
Sure.
cooler.
Right,
So
right,
all
right.
of them are like the open cooler kind of temperature ones.
Yeah.
But his has been in his trunk for a while, so it's a warm beer. It's not.
But his has been in his trunk for 5 weeks. So.
His has been in his trunk for at least.
So the cooler didn't
for
matter
at least
anyway.
an hour, you know. But it just seriously, like he pulled it off a coat and was like, "Here you guys go." So we did that, and then we went and got breakfast sausages and more beers. Like that first day, I mean this. When that first day, I was like, "Man, this is what this next month is going to be like, huh?"
Oh,
Like
shit.
I was like, I should have drank some more before we got here.
Talking about you spent a month there?
18 days, most of them.
Damn, that's impressive.
So yeah, 18 days is
sold out.
most of a month. I'm calling it a month.
So how was it in Germany?
Well, we didn't just go to Germany. We did 7 countries.
Okay.
So-
7 countries.
Hear me out. Hear me out.
Okay.
It's not as cool as it sounds right off the jump.
It didn't sound cool to me.
Fuck you. You've never been anywhere. No, so like what we did is like we were staying in Ljubljana one night, which
I
is
don't know
the
where that
capital of some fucking place that Brett could tell you.
Someplace somewhere.
Listen, I didn't plan this. Listen, honest to God, I go, hey, listen, man, I'm down. Tell me a price. Tell me what to Venmo you, tell what cash to give you. You're gonna plan this shit. I'll go.
Yeah.
But we get there, and Ljubljana is like hour and a half, 2 hours from
Ljubljana.
Ljubljana. There's a J in there.
Wait, yeah.
Jay silent.
No, it's not silent. I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Listen, I don't get a lot of things right.
I think I got a Ljubljana the other night.
But it's like,
Nice.
we're like an
So you
hour and a
said
half
from where?
From the border of Italy.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
like we go to a random town. It's like I went to Italy, but I went to a random town that I couldn't tell you the name of in Italy. Right? We got some pizza. We did some shopping. We saw some underground cave. It's like the 3rd largest underground cave you can explore in the world. Just
Fuck
cool
yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
right? But so we did 7 countries. We did the Netherlands for a day. We went,
Nice.
just
The Netherlands.
the Netherlands. We did Italy. We did Austria. We did Germany. We did, we did Czech Republic. We did There's a couple more. There's 2 more.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember.
But it's just,
too many places.
Too
The
insignificant.
biggest thing is like some of them we were there for a day.
Yeah.
So like I can say I went, but it's like I was there for a day.
You
know what I mean?
You
I
get
got you,
experience.
So so it's like I got to taste it a little bit, but it wasn't like I was like experiencing all these places entirely.
Yeah.
But it was fun, dude. Me and Alex, like I said, we just explored, we backpacked, we walked. I mean, we walked about 6 to 13 miles a day. Just
That sounds
exploring
terrible.
every city we went to. Well, listen, you find that the e-scooters, the birds, and all that stuff are great. So we got those after like the 3rd night. We went to Hungary.
But hold on, say that again. You said the e-scooters?
Yeah, so they have like the birds, and what they are is you just fucking you scan them with like the little Bluetooth with the app, and then
You scan what?
there's a barcode on them on the
Okay.
handlebars.
The e-scooters.
Yeah, so it's just listen.
Oh, e-scooters.
E-scooter.
I thought you were saying something German.
No.
E-scooters.
The only thing I learned in German was
Das Boot.
Das
was
Boot.
how to say thank you, which is Dankeschön, which I immediately went.
That's
and
the
said,
donut place, right?
No. So I immediately went, it's like donkey fucking or donkey sucking. So I called it donkey.
You immediately
sucking.
go to comedy.
So immediately everybody's like, oh, Dankeschön when they
You
say
mock
thank
their
you.
culture.
And I'm like, donkey sucking. And they're like, what
the fuck's wrong with
donkey
you?
Sucking.
They're like, this fucking big American fuck.
Yeah, like this is a guy. He's definitely not from.
You got the country accent. They're
We
like,
were,
Donkey sucking.
donkey sucking. You said donkey what?
ducky fucking.
Like
We did that back at home.
we were playing putt-putt at this place. You had to buy beer, and they would give you free like the putt-putt.
Oh,
club.
that's my
So,
kind of
like,
place.
You buy beer, and then you get to go play putt-putt for free. You don't
Oh,
pay for
man.
putt-putt.
Put me on the plane.
There's an
awesome.
in-ground
Put me on the
trampoline,
plane
so I'm
now.
doing backflips. I'm fucking
I don't believe
putting.
that.
I swear to God, I can do back from the trampoline. I can't do a tuck anymore, but used to.
Yeah. He was a
You
he
can
was a
tell,
male
but it's
Listen, I
cheerleader.
was a
dick
man
between
leader.
your
I was a
legs.
man leader. Just call me a cheerleader.
Okay,
DJ was a
I'm
cheerleader.
sorry. Excuse me.
I was a man leader.
He was a man leader.
That's right.
You were
But-
leading men?
Maybe.
But
But no, like we were there and we were just talking, like the 3 of us, and like
Oh, we did Godfather.
these random 2 girls were like,
Oh,
"Where
yeah,
are you from?" And we're like, "America." She's like, "Oh." She's like, "I'm like, where are you from?" She's like, 200 meters that way. I'm like, "Oh, where are
Meters. Oh,
meters,
Jesus.
yeah, meters."
oh, fuck that. Dang, this is a math equation?
Yeah, I mean, we honestly, we just went
Had to
brewery.
convert.
We went brewery hopping a lot. We went to a lot
Nice.
of beer gardens. We just drank a lot.
Dude,
Saw a lot of historical
Dude,
shit,
shout out to the
museums.
Meach brothers, man. Those are two great guys. Dude, the first time, you know how the stereotypical guy who's like you're in like 5th grade, and there's the guy who's like bigger than everyone, who's like older than everyone. My first
Well, he
experience,
got a mustache in 5th grade.
my first experience of that was like seeing Brett in like 5th or 6th. We were definitely in middle school. It was like 7th grade. I remember he was like held back or
8th grade, because I had Mr. Vickery's class with him.
whatever.
Science.
Oh, that was the
It
pervert.
Yeah,
Right?
it was.
yeah, played yeah.
Yeah, we know. That's how he's the way he is now.
Look, we all have trauma.
Dude, he was like
Shout
the
out
first
Mr.
guy where I was
Vickery.
like, oh my God, this guy's like, why is he so much bigger than everybody? I was like, oh my God, this guy, he has like the Iron Maiden like notebook.
Then
and I'm
he got the
like,
battle vest
he
on.
got the battle vest. I'm like, oh my God, this guy's very
This guy's gonna beat
intimidating
the
right
shit
now.
out of me at any moment.
I'm like, I like this guy. I want to be your friend because I don't want to get beat up. Dude, like what a cool dude, man. And you see, he's like traveling the world. And when like I had talked to him like when we first started this podcast, and we had kind of talked about like the different beers and like what me and Bryant might have on
Right.
and it was just exciting to kind of see because he puts out it feels like every week he puts out something that like where he's traveling to a new city and rates that city and rates that town, a new country, and it's like, dude, that is so cool to like see. Like he'll put out like, oh, I've been to Italy. This is a 9.5 out of 10. Spend 5 days here. It's pretty cool.
And see, he planned everything out for us. So what he does is he takes all of his military leave every year at once. So like he'll take a whole month at a time, and he has a whole trip planned out, right? So it'll be like, hey man, for this next month, I'm hitting all these different places. So that's why we let him plan everything.
That makes a lot of sense.
The
So
guy's
he's, like,
been
kinda
to
just
I
following that track.
think he said 55 different countries.
Oh,
Before,
yeah,
but before
it's
me and him
every
had went on
week.
this trip.
Yeah.
Right.
So he was always like, "Hey man, I'll plan this stuff." I'm like, "Cool, even better." Anybody that wants to plan a trip for me, and then just says, "Hey, you just have to pay me
Oh yeah,
to go."
just give me the money and we'll
All
do
right.
it. Yeah.
But I remember, dude, even having weightlifting with him and teasing him. I had Ryan Bain, Chris Adams, and him. You have no idea the fun you will have in that group.
Chris Adams.
Chris Adams, hefty.
We talked about him earlier. We talked about him earlier. Yeah.
Shout out Chris, dude. Yeah, Chris
Right.
Adams. Yeah, that's a cool motherfucker.
Man, listen,
Strong dudes, like low gravity strong dudes, like very
Low gravity.
So
like
that was my
Zarya.
workout group all through high school. It was me, Ryan, Chris, and Brett.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it ended up with us, but like that was the group. Teasing Brett was the most fun I've ever had. I teased him more on this trip. By like the third day, he was like, "All right, we got to stop." He's like, "Some of these things you got to just stop." I'm like, "Okay, I get it. I go too far."
So both of you were talking about, like, you have said it and you have said it, like downstairs when we were like having some beers before the show. Like the showers and like the comfort space is very like closed in. Like when you hop in a shower, it's like shoulder to shoulder. And you even you said it, Chris. You was like, everybody there seemed very, very small.
Much smaller.
So much smaller.
Yeah, so it really makes you like going to Italy. It really made me feel superior as a man.
That's right.
And I'm only
better about
23,
yourself,
but I really felt good. Like, damn, these little bitches. Like Italian people were cool as fuck, but the showers in the hotel was like this big, and the shower was like this big.
Oh damn!
It was so small. Like this table is maybe 4 times the size of the shower, 3 times the size of the shower.
In Czech Republic, this is bigger than the shower that I had.
Oh, it was way.
And there
bigger.
was no
this
shower.
This is
Like,
way bigger than the shower.
Out
for
of all the places we
I
stayed,
feel like
'cause
this is bigger than my shower.
we
Shit.
only stayed in places. 3 days was the most. Like in Budapest, we stayed 3 days.
It's 3 days grace.
You know what I mean? Like in Czech Republic, we stayed a day because we stayed in a village in the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
And by the way, they don't have Dr. Pepper over there.
So whenever you say, no shit. Whenever
No,
you say,
no, no, no,
whenever you say,
That's
whenever
important to me.
Whenever you say village, yeah, no, trust me, it's important to me, and I didn't get Dr. Pepper either. I was pissed. Whenever you say village, what do you mean village?
So I mean, like we rolled in, and Brett has a nice car.
Describe a Czech Republic village to us.
So we rolled in, and it's like a mountain village. There's a castle at the top of the hill we went to, right? And on like the pictures that you see online, it looks like it's like a really beautiful castle with a lot of architecture. And all it actually is for the place we went. Now I could look it up, but I can't pronounce the shit for you. But it was like
I wish you would try.
I'm not gonna. It was like they painted the shit on the wall after the fact.
Well, I've painted shit on the wall before.
No, like
With my shit.
As far as like what the architecture looked like it was like carved in and chiseled in. It was actually just like painted on after the fact.
Oh, okay.
So like, we got there, like we got
So really scamaged you.
It
was a scam.
It was cheap, and like Czech Republic is cheap. Like you go through like mountain country. Like we crossed the border, and like it was like, okay, welcome to Czech Republic, because you would get a text on your phone because like I had the international package.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's like
Yeah,
welcome
for
to the
sure.
Czech Republic. I'm like, where's the border? And
Yeah,
then we,
yeah,
I just walked like outside of my hotel.
But it was honestly, it was one of those things where like we paid $8 for a steak. Now it was like Applebee's quality steak, but it was $8 for a steak, ice cream, beer, and a drink with it, like and fries on the
$8 for
side.
that?
$8.
Holy shit!
Now, listen,
dude.
I live like a king. If you ever get into trouble and you want to get out of the country, go to Czech Republic, dude. You'll be a king forever.
So I've always heard to go to Mexico because like
I've heard that
yeah,
too.
but
It's
listen,
like
Mexico's
way- it's
closer.
like-
It's closer.
it's way cheaper too.
I've
But,
always
like-
heard that. Like,
But going
Go
to
ahead.
Italy, it was kind of like the same situation, not as cheap, but like it was like everything was like euro for $1 was the exact same.
Yeah,
like,
same conversion.
It was the same thing in Italy.
I
And,
actually,
dude, everything was like way cheaper. Like I had a fucking steak dinner for like $15.
yeah,
15 euros.
yeah, like you
$1
can
for
turn the
euro.
U.S. dollar into like so much more. I feel like anywhere overseas, in a sense, like
Oh, it was amazing.
I was talking to my buddy Carlos, he was like, dude, you go back to Mexico, it's like, man, you can turn like $1 into like almost $5 over there. Almost $6 over there. Like you can you can have like so much when you like. It's crazy. It's crazy
for sure.
well,
And
it's
that's-
weird.
That's how it was in Italy. It was like I'm paying 15 euros for a fucking steak dinner. Like a fucking T-bone steak is 15 euros with a beer.
Over
fucking
here, it's like
potato
$30.
steak. Yeah.
It's like
It's like
$40.
fucking $50.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's euro for $1. It's the same exact
crazy,
translation.
dude.
So
Well,
it's
they're
crazy.
they're a whole lot less wasteful than we are in general. Like, do you know how I got called a child twice by waitresses for not being able for not being able to finish my food? Like, I'm a big guy, I can fucking eat.
Right.
So like
We all can.
So like I got like a schnitzel and fries, which is
A
schnitzel.
schnitzel.
Which
you.
it's
You
either
get a
like,
wiener
Because you're a
schnitzel?
child.
well, it's either like veal or chicken or like
Okay,
pork.
yeah.
But it's like in shake and bake or something. So like it's like it's good.
Yeah, it's like
it's
fried.
kind of like eating a pork chop almost. But like I got that, and like I had maybe 3 bites left, and the
Okay.
waitress is like, "Oh, next time why don't you order from child's menu?
You fucking
waste
pussy.
And I was like, "There's like 3 bites left." She's
Dude,
like, "Oh,
that's
it's okay,
exactly how I
child."
felt. That's how I felt in Italy because it's like 3-course meals every time. No matter where you go, it's fucking 3-course meals.
Yeah, dude.
Very small. Everything's
So
small.
like at the hotel, everything. No,
it's a lot of food,
No,
dude.
like
It's
the
a
first,
lot of
the
food.
first at the hotel.
Really?
they pay for the meals. So the first course is like a fucking pasta plate with no meat. Right? It might be
Okay.
ham or something like very small, but it's a whole plate of pasta. That's the
whole
first
plate?
That's
Really?
the first course.
I didn't.
Okay.
I
And
didn't
And the
finish
second
a plate
course
very
is
often.
like a fucking piece of salmon with some fries and some fucking
What?
carrots, and you're like, okay, I'll eat this too, I guess.
So what-
And then the third course is fucking dessert, and it's like, holy shit.
And then at the end, they ask you if you want an espresso or if you want
Yeah,
a
and
cappuccino.
it's so
every
good.
time.
You always
What?
want cappuccino.
Every time.
So
You
what
get
you
it.
so what you guys are saying is like,
You stuff yourself and you juice yourself up with caffeine again.
because for me,
Yeah.
I'm gonna be, and it's like, how do these little ass people eat all this?
Right?
How?
Listen,
It's
no
so
one is
insane.
big. I was a giant over there. I found one guy taller than me in 18 days. I went to Oktoberfest and no one was bigger
And it was
than me.
Brett. And it was Brett the whole time.
He's
I
not
just-
even real. He's from here.
so my first
not even
impression
real.
of like, so what?
not even real.
So what you guys are talking about, like, I was about to equate it to like, okay, the United States has like made a bunch of money, like we are like superior, and we have gotten to the point to where like you are like
We are superior.
like you've gotten to the point to where like you're so like financially wealthy, you've ate well, and you're like you're healthy, and like you get overseas, like even all 3 of us. Not
Well, yeah,
not
look at those
to single-
titties.
not to single you out.
I can
Had
milk
these
this
babies for a
motherfucker.
while. What
I
you
can
mean?
milk this motherfucker.
You can't milk me.
You can't milk me, bitch.
You can try. Ain't no
I would love to try. I would do it right now. I
He'll
would
milk
try.
you with his fucking mouth, son.
Well, if you get any milk, I'm concerned. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm
like,
fucking
damn.
hungry. I'll be like, damn, I'll keep going.
Yeah, you hungry, dude. Like seriously though, like we've gotten to the point to where, like in the United States, where like we're so like we've made so much money, and we were so far not necessarily like so far advanced, but like we've gotten to the point to where like we've made so much money to where we're healthy, we're like financially we're good as a society. That like when you go overseas, it's like you have the small showers, you have like everything's kind of limited. But then when you talk about, I was expecting like kind of small portions over there, but it's more you guys, the way you describe it, it's more like big portions. Like, is it bigger portions is it bigger portions overseas? Like when you order like say like a plate of lasagna here is like $11. I'm not trying to make it like a money thing, but like, how are the portions compared to here versus there? Because I feel like you said you're bigger than everybody there. I feel like that means we're more well fed here. Like we're progressing more as a society.
I got you.
Okay.
So for me at least, what I noticed is that they have higher standards on what they will let you eat. As far as like here we eat a lot of fast food, right? Like even
for
eating
sure.
McDonald's or Burger
so much
King, there,
better.
it's different there. There's no
It's
grease.
consistent. It's consistent
Like
as
you know how
fuck.
you eat it, you get like a McDonald's double cheeseburger. That wrapper might be wet from grease, right?
Okay.
You get one over there,
It's not.
it's not.
It's not.
There's no grease.
Really?
Like it's healthier, I guess, for you.
But it's
like,
consistent. It's
but it
consistent, like
tastes-
crispy, like
Right, but it tastes worse over there. The fast food does.
yeah, for sure.
But when you go to
salty and like MSG and like all that.
But what's necessarily like taste worse?
So like when you get when you go to a sit down restaurant, the food, I think it tasted better and it was cheaper. So dinner is a much longer process for them.
yeah,
Like,
that's where I was going to go with this. Exactly.
when you sit down for dinner,
and I've said this before on the podcast.
Yeah.
and like
you
the
talked about
waitresses, like honestly, like they might come.
They're
and
going
get
to come
you-
out to you and bring you drinks
Yeah.
before anything.
you
You're going to
might-
drink 2 beers.
You
before
might
get
wait a
ready.
half hour before you order food.
Yeah.
Like honestly, you might wait a half
Absolutely.
hour before you even order.
You'll drink
Really?
2 beers before you
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
order appetizers.
Really?
So it's just like a dinner is a much more involved process. Rather than like get there, eat, go. It's like, hey man, we're gonna sit and you're gonna be there for a while. You might be a 2-hour dinner every time you sit down for dinner. Like you better go ahead and get
At
there
least.
at 8 so you can be done by 10.
Yeah, at
You-
least.
you know what I mean?
At least.
So it was weird that way, but like the food honestly tasted like it was fresher. Like we even saw vending machines at one of the gas stations we stopped at that had farm fresh eggs in it. It had farmers that had to go ahead and win like prepackaged meat and stuff. It was all in there, and like it was like reasonably priced. Like a dozen eggs was like $3. Like a third pound of bacon was like $8 or something. So like nothing was like super overpriced either. But the biggest thing was like they don't waste anything. Like it was one of those things where like they give you a lot, but you eat and like you're not hungry. Like you're not snacking all day. Like, but you eat fast food over there.
Yeah, exactly.
You felt hungry 3 hours later.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
man, I ate McDonald's and like I'm hungry again. But if I ate like regular food, you're like, dude, rest of the day I'm
the
good.
only thing that was overpriced in Italy was McDonald's because it's a fucking tourist trap.
Mm-hmm.
Like you go to Italy,
right.
I ate McDonald's twice in Italy, and the nuggets were consistently fucking crispy. The
How much
nuggets were
was
delicious.
I don't know if you remember, but do you know how much you paid for like?
Oh, I do know. So I got a double cheeseburger, and then I got like an 8-piece nugget. They had 8 pieces in Italy.
Way better.
Yeah, 8 pieces is perfect. It's so perfect.
Way better.
8-piece and
don't
a
know,
large
man.
and a large fry, which a large is way smaller. So I got a Coke, 8-piece nugget with a large fry, which is like in between a large and a medium here, and a double cheeseburger, which was like $16.
Okay.
Way overpriced. Like I could get a 10-piece and that for like $11 here.
You'll remember this. You don't get refills for free either.
You don't.
I don't care.
Really?
I don't care if
You
it's
don't get
water
refills
you
for it,
order.
yeah.
I don't care if you got a Coke.
What?
Like if you get a Coke, for instance, they're bringing you a glass Coke, and you want another one, you have to buy a whole other bottle of glass Coke.
But the cool thing is, you can order a beer at McDonald's.
Yeah.
In Europe,
You can get
You
beer.
can
everywhere.
order a beer at McDonald's.
you can order a
How
beer
much
at
is
McDonald's.
that?
I didn't do
Beers
it.
are cheap. Beers are like $3, and you get a lot.
God. But isn't
It's
that,
cheaper to drink beer.
But
It
isn't
is so
that-
cheap to drink beer.
Isn't that in a sense like isn't that like kind of like an attaboy to the United States to where like you know you can spend so much overseas, like the American dollar can really spread very far. Like it can really spread very far. Like how much did you spend on the 8 piece?
I mean, the 8-piece nugget and a large fry, which is smaller than our large here.
Yeah.
And then a drink and a double cheeseburger was like $16-17.
But the weird thing too is like I drink a lot of Monster Energy drinks in the morning.
How much is a lot?
But hold on, like a Monster Energy.
He don't wanna talk about
Hold on. Like a Monster Energy here, for instance, would be like $2.50, $3. Right?
Okay.
You go over there, it's like $1.50. Like, but they have less caffeine in them. Like they have stricter regulations on them.
Yeah,
They
it
have
seems
stricter
about like, so it's about even.
So it sort of balances out. Like if you got the same amount of caffeine and shit that you did in a drink you would get here, it would probably cost more, but you're getting less caffeine, so it's a little cheaper there.
I guess like
So
what,
it's a weird trade-off.
what I feel
Okay.
like Chris is trying to really say, like as far as like what kind of lean, like the way I felt about Italy and the way he's saying about like Germany and like most of Europe that he was in was like it doesn't really change the way you spend and the way you eat, but it changes like the way like you live. Like you're gonna eat less, and that's why you spend less.
You know what? Here's a good example. Maybe it was the same in Italy where you were at, but like the one thing I noticed the most is they encouraged going outside way more. Most people stay in a loft.
What do you mean they encouraged it?
So like most people stay in a loft unless you have like a family. If you had kids, you would have a house. If you didn't
Sure.
have kids, if you were just like a couple, you had an apartment, which was basically a flat. It was a bedroom, a bathroom, maybe a second bedroom.
Okay.
So it was one of those things where, like, when you're at home here, you got everything you want. You got
Right.
a couple
Oh,
that's
bedrooms.
house.
You might have your workout stuff. You got a grill in the backyard. But like
Yeah,
over
yeah.
there, what it felt like, at least for the Airbnbs we were in, it was like, hey man, it's small.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to be inside all day because there's not a lot going on. They
It's a
encourage
fucking bed and the shower.
They encourage you
Yeah.
to go somewhere else.
I got you.
There are so many bike lanes. They encourage a lot of walking and hiking trails. So it's like it's almost like they encourage you more to go do other stuff rather than just sit at home.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know what I mean? So that was cool though. Like I said, it was definitely.
And so we talked about it before, but you said they didn't have bidets in Germany.
No bidets.
So in Italy, there were bidets in every toilet pretty much.
That was like a natural thing.
It's a natural thing.
Dude, I've never used a bidet, so like that's
So
kind of
you-
strange.
I
you know?
highly recommend using a bidet. I don't know if I've talked about it before on the podcast, how I was kind of looking into it before. Like a few months ago, I was looking into like getting a bidet for the toilet at my house. And I was like, I'm just not going to do it. I just don't want to spend the money.
Right.
I really need to get a bidet. Like, you can wipe your ass after taking a shit, and you'll get all this shit off. Like, you're not going to get any more shit from the toilet paper.
Right.
Like, you can wipe 20 times, and there's no more shit
Not
going to
gonna
come
matter.
off.
You're gonna starting to get like blood. And
It's gonna be
start
raw.
getting raw.
But then you go fucking sit on the bidet and let the water squirt on it, and then you wipe your ass, and there's more shit, and you're like, oh my god, this shit was there the whole time.
I've been smearing shit. For this
I
long.
can never get there's shit in my ass right now, probably.
Dude, I have a buddy who goes.
I guarantee you, the watchers, the viewers, there's shit in your ass right now if you don't have a bidet.
If you go to the bathroom, put a little bit of water on that toilet paper, I bet you find shit.
Well, yeah, use baby
Oh,
wipes. That's what I use in the
no.
house. I use baby wipes now.
Ooh, yeah.
But
like the
okay,
dude wipes.
time out. Here's the problem with baby wipes: is
I just want to get my ass ate.
they clean.
You ever had
You
that?
dirty bitch.
Have you ever had that? Never.
Time out.
Never
No.
We'll
Time
get
out.
there.
Here's the thing with baby wipes. Is
Yeah, absolutely.
the chemicals from baby wipes create anal fissures. I don't know if you know what that is.
Explain that to me.
It's like the chemicals from like a baby wipe
Sure.
will dry out your asshole and create like small cracks in your asshole, which create like
dry skin.
dry skin.
I can see that.
So like you start like as much as you don't know it does, but like as much as you sit down and stand up and sit down and stand up, it creates like these cracks, and then all of a sudden you have like these small like
So you
micros.
need to counteract that with putting lotion on your ass.
No. Which you
In
need
a
to-
way,
and
yes.
lube.
Yes.
You need to put some lotion on your finger and finger blast your ass to really get it lubed up.
Well, if you
know
don't-
what I mean, so it don't crack.
Well, some people don't use their finger because the reason they're using baby wipes on their ass because they want to get fucked in their ass later.
Maybe.
Like Shawn.
I don't think it correlates.
The red ass.
It's a great ass. It is a great ass.
It is a great ass. I've been working on it, man. I've been working on these buns.
Man,
He's
I'm
doing-
like, I feel like I'm
It's
Hank Hill.
squeeze right tight.
I
Let
go
loose.
from like lower back
Fucking
to
scared
calves,
me.
man. I have no ass.
Dude,
at no
I've
point
been-
in my
I
life
didn't
have I
have an
ever
ass,
had
and now I have like the smallest ass.
I don't have.
No,
this.
you had the smallest ass before, and you
No, no,
also
no.
still have that.
No, time out. I had no ass, and then now I have the smallest ass.
No, I
I
don't.
still don't have one.
I don't
so,
think
I mean, yeah,
that's- Yeah.
it's not good.
It's not good.
So you look back like, goddamn, Hank.
Damn.
Not a lot going on.
Thank you.
There's not a lot going on. I ain't got the
Fuck.
gift curves.
Man, how do you feel about the Fancy Papers beer?
Dude, I kind of like it.
It's a good
though.
beer.
Cigar City puts out a really good brown. I know you.
I was just shitting on how the fact that I don't really think I think I'm gonna like move away from hazies, but this bitch is good.
This is a hazy Indian Pale Ale.
Like it's
Hazy
just got that.
IPA, you know.
I don't know what the real taste in hazies is. It's like that. It's like a foggy, like it's very citrusy, but I don't know what the flavor is that I'm looking for. But like every hazy has that exact distinct flavor. So please leave in the comments, like if you guys are like if you know what that fucking flavor is.
Yeah.
Please tell me, because I'm a fucking idiot. I don't know what that hazy flavor is, but
Dude. So you're drinking a Blue Moon, and Blue Moon to me is one of those like high-end domestics that like we all know, like especially in the South, like right now, you know, our family,
it really leads to
your family, we all love domestics. Like around here, it seems like everybody loves domestics.
Listen,
whether it's
I grew
White Claws or whether it's Bud Lights or whatever.
It's Bud Light Natties. That's where I grew
That's
up.
it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Miller's
I'm drinking the water.
Michelob's.
No. Listen.
No, time
Between
out.
my grandma, my dad, and
Oh,
even John
for
Michael.
sure.
It's
John,
Natty
yeah,
Lights.
I know
and
where
it's Bud
I
Light.
know where you come from. And
Hey, shout
I
out
know.
John Michael too.
Shout out to the
John
Fizz Nation,
It's
baby.
way too good
What's
later
up?
today.
Fizz
What are you
Nation,
doing?
baby. What's
Sitting
up?
at home? I'm gonna come talk
Yeah,
shit with you later.
fuck the Ravens.
But dude, Blue Moon is like one of those like
Lamar.
it's got flavor, man. It's one of those like even to this day where me and you, Bryant, we have tried so many beers, like
So many beers.
so many beers.
So many beers. Welcome to the
And-
podcast.
Welcome to the podcast, the Brew Caller Podcast.
So
baby.
many
What's
beers.
up? What it do?
So many beers.
So many beers, man. And every now and then, once or even twice a year, I crave a 12-pack of Blue Moon.
Blue Moon's so good, and you put a little
It's
orange in that bitch.
You put
It
you
just tastes so
squeeze the orange, you
goddamn
drop it in
good.
there, and you're like,
Let me tell you a good
I want
story
to
about
squeeze.
Blue Moon.
It makes me want to squeeze.
Let me tell you a good
Chris's
story
orange.
about Blue Moon.
Okay.
I went to Yard House, right?
I love the
great
Yard
place.
House. It's
I
good.
went
It's good.
on a date with this girl named Maddie.
Whore.
No, listen. She's the prettiest
What
girl
a
I've ever
fucking
seen.
whore.
Still, to this day, still the prettiest girl I've ever seen.
Wow.
I got shut down and only got a kiss.
The prettiest girl you've ever seen.
Ever seen. She might be. But
Ever seen?
ever seen, ever went on a date with, anything.
Okay, time out.
Like,
Time out.
even ever
We
seen.
got a pause here.
Time out. Can I get a time out? You got hot takey there, and you didn't even address it. You went prettiest girl you ever seen. So you've watched movies before,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
Like
so
ever
like-
seen in person or ever seen?
Ever seen in person. How about
Okay,
that?
okay.
okay.
Time
I'm
out,
fine with
time
that.
out. Okay.
How about-
Oh, that's where I'm going.
Let me
That's
rephrase.
where I'm
She
going.
is probably the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in person.
In person. Okay.
Okay.
And that's including after Germany, like right now.
Sure, absolutely.
Like
And
right
Ken-
now,
to
you
this
would still
day,
agree with that.
to this day, she's still
Who's the second?
the second.
Is
Call it out. If it is what it is. The second most beautiful woman you've ever seen is the most second beautiful woman you've ever seen. So let's hear it. Even if you've dated her and you have bad blood, whatever it is, I kind of want to hear who's the comp.
he's really pondering this.
Yeah,
Give
I
me a
want
minute,
to.
give me a minute.
I kind of want to hear who's the who would you compare her to?
I'm biased, but probably my ex Audrey.
Okay,
Probably.
Okay,
You know,
so very
basically,
very pretty.
basically where we're
woman.
getting basically where we're getting at is Jenny, fuck you.
Listen,
If you're watching this, fuck you, Jenny.
you're not at the top of the list. It's okay. I love you, but I mean, come on, let's be honest here.
Oh,
I'm not
you
a
didn't
10
say love
either.
you say.
Sometimes you got some 10s, but
And that's the great thing about a relationship. It's not gonna be the best person you ever seen, but it's all about what's here.
yeah,
It's all about what's in here and
listen,
in here.
how about
right?
that? Jenny's a much better person than anyone I've ever dated. Sure.
Exactly.
There's
And that's
some
why you-
up-
and
there's
that's
some
what you
upsides
said.
for you, girl. But no, like just pure looks alone. My God.
And there's a reason why you said I love you, Jenny. I love you, but yeah, sorry.
yeah, listen, we've
Like,
seen Forrest
Have
Gump.
you told her you loved her?
Sure. Yeah.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, I have.
Sure,
That doesn't sound very
I
convincing.
have. Yeah. I have.
And how many girls before that have you told you loved them?
I would say. Can I guess? I would say 3.
No.
Less 2.
It's one or two. It's only one or
I
two.
guess hold on. I got a
Well,
quote
how
for
about,
you.
How about, hold on, before you get it, that I've said and meant it.
Okay, that's the question. That's the question I'm looking for.
2 or
Yeah.
3 total.
Okay, that's fair.
Two or three ever.
Okay,
That's
so
probably
tell me-
the same for me.
Answer this question for
It's
me.
been 3 for me.
Who said this? Was it?
Probably me. If we're going there, I did it. Yeah.
You want me to-
Beer.
Was it Chris Harris, which is you, or Donald Trump? Who said this?
Okay.
I love I love guys in the military because their girlfriends are so easy to fuck.
I've definitely said that. 100% me. Donald Trump might have said it, but I definitely said it too.
He doesn't know.
Yeah, listen.
He doesn't know.
100% I've said that.
That was Trump.
I've said that too.
No, I'm just kidding. You
That
said
was
I definitely said that.
wasn't Trump. That wasn't Trump.
Yeah, there's no question. I've said that for sure. For whatever reason,
You know this is very controversial, right?
I don't give a shit. Listen, if you want to go serve our country and protect my freedom, I'm gonna fuck your
gonna
girlfriend
fuck-
or your wife.
I'm gonna keep her.
I've been a limit on it. Some of y'all's children might not be y'all's. So you were gone for 10 months, but you had a
ain't
kid.
pulling out either.
No, it's not. Now I have their
Okay,
kids.
Tom,
But like some people.
Tom. We're gonna slow this down. Some of y'all's children might not be y'all's.
I'm just saying, if you're deployed for 2 years and you come back to a kid, it might not be yours.
Oh,
The
God.
basic math says
Yeah,
that.
it probably will be Chris Harris's.
It's not mine. I can
and you're gonna
promise
tell
you.
because he comes out with a fucking
No, no.
fat ass head.
I can promise you this. I have never had a kid because here's the thing.
Hey,
You know me best.
time out. Before we go on, hold that thought. We are the last of the Mohicans.
The Mohicans. That's right. We're the
Yeah,
holdouts.
and cut out all the incels of our.
Yeah, they don't count. They don't. They just
They
can't get
don't count.
pussy.
Yeah, they can't get it. The people
Get
who
what? They
can,
can't get what?
you know where I'm going with
Pussy.
this. Yeah. So cut out all the incels. We are the last of the motherfuckers of our class who haven't had a kid.
That's right. You fuckers thought I'd be first. What's up?
Well, you know what the joke is?
Someone knows how to pull out. Someone bought some
The
Plan
joke
Bs.
is, the crazy part is, oh, that's fair.
$55, baby.
That's fair. He doesn't know how to
You get
pull
some
out, but
dirty
he's got like $70 in hand at all times to buy a Plan B.
Listen, my dad wouldn't go out unless he had bail money. I wouldn't go out unless I had Plan B money. There's a difference, baby.
It's like
Oh my god!
and that's the best part about Chris Harris.
Oh my god!
Oh, that was really good, Kevin Hart. That was really good, Kevin Hart voice.
It happens. But no, you know as well as I do. I've been an asshole for quite a while.
Oh, hold on. Which start? Tell me the start.
I've just been a dick for a long time. I don't know.
Like it doesn't. You never stop.
Okay,
Like,
so
when did you start?
started.
Time out.
From a long time
So
ago.
when did he start being an asshole?
About yay big?
Okay.
How old could I talk? Probably then.
Yay big. That was like what?
Yay big.
2 years old.
Something
he
like
was this big.
To me, like Chris, like you have all, like you started being an asshole more, like kind of like high schoolish time, like because to me you were more like kind of a more of a shy, timid person, and I was the same way. And I'm like a extremely outgoing person now, and I talk to a lot of people, and you know I'm out, I'm drinking, I'm having a good time, but to me like and I feel like we are the same way. I feel like we have kind of grown in the same way of like, you know, we both were kind of like, not necessarily shy and timid, but like we were very social in our own groups and we had a lot of friends, but we really started to grow more outside of high school. Like it's kind of sad when you see those people who go, oh man, I really miss high school. I really miss that time. Dude, I never think about that time.
So here's my
never.
thing. I think probably until middle school, I was very quiet and reserved.
Right.
You know, was very good, afraid to get in trouble. But then what happened?
Like now.
But what happened is John Michael came along. And I credit a lot of it to John Michael. John Michael really helped me get out of my comfort zone.
That's the Hollister hoodie fucking king.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a hoodie. It was a jacket. It was the furry jacket.
Okay. The furry jacket.
Be very specific about it. It was the
Yes.
furry.
Oh, it was. Oh, I know exactly which fucking
He's right.
jacket.
He's right.
It was the gray one that he had, but he took my blue
yeah.
one too. But doesn't matter.
We ain't gonna argue about it.
He should have wiped it. He should have wiped his ass.
But no,
with it.
like John Michael, even though my family
Shout out
was,
Fish Nation. What's up, baby?
fuck you. You didn't come to the wedding, you a bitch. But no, like he, my family was always very like embarrassing and stuff, right? But
Now, time out. What do you mean by embarrassing?
so like my grandpa, for instance, would take
Love
me,
your grandpa.
love him to death,
Great guy.
But he would be the guy that
Racist.
when you would go wait for a bus, would be out there in his whitey tighties and just his whitey
Oh
tighties.
no, embarrassing. Okay.
My grandpa
That's
was the
fair.
guy that we went to.
Is this
Whitewater
winter or summer?
anytime. If
Okay,
you went,
so
if you went to
his
his
dick
house,
could be big or small. You never know.
if you went to his house, he was in his underwear. He didn't give a shit who you were, guy or girl.
was there stains?
Sometimes he had straight whitey tighties. Like
Yeah.
he was just like, these are my balls. They might be out. I don't care. You're
Well,
in my
actually,
house.
it's kind of funny you bring that up because we talked about
Last
Grandpa's
week.
balls last week.
Well, I thought about this on the way here. Like we went to Whitewater one time, which is the water park that Six Flags owns. So it's not like Carowinds where the roller coasters and the water park are conjoined. It's separate parks. We go to Whitewater one time. I may have been about 10. So it's me, John Michael, my uncle, Lois, mom, dad, grandpa get there. We were doing the one where you take the mat and you guys race down 2 or 4 at a time down like the little like the water slide. My grandpa's like, I'm not waiting in that line. So he just goes and sits at the bleachers at the end. Me and my uncle come down because me and him raced. And my grandpa's sitting there and he's from the generation of like maybe mid-thigh swimming trunks. Maybe. Like they might be shorter. Like always
Tom Selleck shit.
like you're seeing a lot of thigh.
Like he has a great
His
mustache.
nuts are just hanging out of his swimming trunks.
Yeah,
He doesn't
that's-
know it. Me and my
That's
uncle.
the only way to wear swimming trunks.
So like, we come down the thing and like even my uncle, like we get done.
And he was coming down the thing.
I'm doing that right now.
coming down the little fucking
Coming down
slide.
the thing.
We get done
See?
though, and like my grandpa's sitting in the bleachers that you have to look at as you come down the water slide.
Right.
You get out and walk towards that to put your mat back up. So my uncle walks up and goes, "Fucking Papa, you gotta put your nuts up. Your nuts are just fucking hang. Yeah, my fucking balls are hanging out bush mush. I didn't give a shit.
Mush.
I had a friend of mine, Lindsay, come over one time, and we're in middle school, mind you. He's in his freaking whitey tighties, like one nut hanging out of him, sitting there, like smoking a joint. He's like, "What's up, little girl?" I'm like, "We're 12.
It's
Get
kind
dressed."
of funny you mentioned that because I went to actually a few concerts with Lindsay's sister.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, Logan.
you're talking about
A different
Yeah,
Lindsay.
you're talking about Landon. First of
Oh,
all,
Landon. I'm a fucking idiot. You know what the best part is? I'm fucking retarded.
Yeah, you are.
We know.
Is that it? Okay. Okay.
That's what I said.
So continue.
Yeah, but, like, seriously, but it doesn't matter. Like we have like guy and girl friends come over. He didn't give a shit. He like, I'm gonna be in my underwear. Fuck you. Leave my house if you don't
It
want to see
was
it.
such a different time then.
Even now, like if he were around now, I don't think he'd still give a shit. He'd be like, fuck
He
you.
wouldn't.
He'd be like, come to my house. Look at my nuts.
Like, come to my house and I'll come.
Sometimes
On my nuts.
Dude, sometimes like
the older, the older generation
damn.
seriously came from a time where they go, I don't give a fuck. I'm at home, and my home is a fuck you place. Have you ever noticed
fair.
that? Like, if you go to, you talk about you went to your grandparents' house. He was in his underwear the whole time. You guys wouldn't help him.
He was.
He never changed, did he?
Well, no, because he couldn't.
He didn't put a
fell.
robe on,
He
did
fell
he? But
first off because he couldn't walk.
Right, but when you he never put a robe on. He never asked for a robe, did he? He never asked for pants, did he?
Well, no, because he didn't give a fuck.
Exactly. You're at his house.
that's kind of part of it. Like nowadays, it's like it seems like it's a different era now. Like it seems like you definitely can't do that. It's definitely not acceptable now to do anything even remotely close to anything like that. So it's like, where was the separation between your grandfather and like cancel culture now?
I'll tell you exactly where it is.
Oh man,
This is gonna be great. So here's the thing.
Yeah, give me the pinpoint location.
Oh man.
The
I'm
biggest
glad
thing,
that wasn't in the mic.
oh
Oh yeah, except it was.
The biggest thing is we have shittier parents now. We have lazier parents now. So now,
Now, when you say now, you mean like our parents or like
not
their-
our parents. I'm
their
saying
parents?
like if you're a parent today.
You talking about like you
Like
and
a-
me as a parent?
yeah, if we-
Not
if we had
us,
kids- if
but
we had-
like
if we had kids, our generation.
as a parent. Yeah.
The way it gets handled is you stick an iPad in front of them and you go, "Don't bother me."
iPad kids, yeah.
Jenny's a teacher, for instance. Do you
Okay.
know?
Jenny
you-
was a friend of mine.
Do you know that you can't get less than a 50? You cannot do an assignment and you get a 50 still.
Dude, it was 70. Less than a 70 was an F.
But you cannot do it and you get a 50. So it's so much of the participation trophy bullshit where it's like, hey man, we're gonna have set days every 9 weeks where for you guys to catch up on stuff. It's like we're just catering kids and catering people and wiping their asses rather than going, hey man, shit's gonna be tough. You gotta figure it
Let
out.
me pause you. The first time you said, "Hey man,"
Nah.
who are you impersonating?
A bunch of little snotty nose.
I'm not gonna lie, because my hey man is his hey man.
Like,
Hey,
like,
man.
I'm
hey,
with him.
hey man, but then he changed it to "Hey man."
But seriously though, like
Which one's the what's the difference between "Hey man" and "Hey man"?
The hey man is I'll smack my fucking kid. If I had a
And
kid,
what's "Hey
Hold on,
man"?
If I had a child, honest to
that
God,
one?
if I had a kid, boy or girl, and they especially a boy, ran his mouth to me, I would treat him like my dad did. I'd punch him in the mouth or hit him in the nose. Like, shut your fucking mouth. I'm like, damn,
That's
you're
shitty.
right. You learn though. There's consequences behind shit.
And they turn out like you.
Well, no, listen, I got hit in the mouth a lot. Imagine if I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if I
God,
didn't.
it'd be bad.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
fair.
My dad legitimately gave me a bloody nose, busted my lip, and knocked a tooth out.
He's just talking too much shit.
No, because I come up and I'd like fuck around and try to like smack him or wrestle. and he was
I
just
said.
yeah. He's like, hey man, that's just not gonna work.
no,
Hey,
no,
man.
no. He was
He
like,
said, "Hey, man."
He was like,
But like now
Hey,
though,
man.
it's like
Yeah, you got your-
it's
you would
like,
beat his ass.
It's like, oh, that's okay. There's no consequences to shit. There's a lot of consequences.
So how do you feel about like homeschool versus like public school?
It's dumb. You should go to public school. You should
Homeschool's
get bullies.
dumb.
Bullying works.
Bullying does work.
You need a little bit. Like if you go to a private school, you're never going to experience the shit you did at public school.
So you think there's not like negative effects to
about-
public school?
There are. There sure.
like
there
what?
sure are.
Name
So
one.
like, and when you go to public, you're going to get like unfair. We had Andrew and what was his brother's name? Harrington. What was his brother's name? Matt.
We're name
Matt
calling.
and
We're name
Andrew.
calling on this podcast.
Sure, whatever. But like
calling it out. We're like exposing it all. Let's
they
do
got
it. Let's
picked
do
on
it.
quite a bit. And you know they did. Like they got picked on. They were a little bit awkward, strange, whatever.
I remember one definitely getting picked on,
Like, but-
to the point to where it was extreme.
Like,
and then
it was
one,
enough to
not
where-
so much, but I
it-
can't remember which one was which.
It was enough to where like I know they got picked on. I never really saw like you know they got picked on because they were just a little bit
Odd,
a little
different,
odd, a little
yeah.
odd. You know what I mean? Like Shane was a little odd.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting on Chris to open his next beer.
Oh God.
My bad.
Okay, time out. You and I, Bryant, have a buddy who is kind of struggling in the like social scene.
Sure.
You know, he's struggling with like dating and stuff. He can't really gain his confidence in a way that I feel like he definitely like looking from the,
Like he's a good looking dude. He's like
looking from the outside.
yeah,
in,
he's got everything going for him, but he doesn't
got
believe it
all.
for himself.
But like I think this is
So like DJ.
okay,
But taller.
Not
Sure.
no, not to that point. It's worse than that.
Ooh, that's rough.
And I don't know
Is
DJ
it?
like that, but like DJ, it definitely gets out there. He goes on dates. He like,
Well,
he-
he's
he
dating a girl
experiences-
now, Valentina. Love you, but like
No. The guy we're talking about has everything going for him, like physically, like every aspect you need.
Yes.
Like yeah, it's going for him. But like as far as like the confidence level, it's not going for him.
so that's
where he struggles.
That's what I mean with like DJ. Like I love DJ to death. He's my best friend. DJ's a little bit shorter, sure, but like DJ's an attractive dude. You know what I mean?
Definitely,
He's in very good
definitely. Yeah,
shape.
for
You know what I mean?
sure,
Like
for sure.
even when he doesn't want to be, like he's in good shape.
Yeah, tan
naturally.
guy,
You know?
fucking-
tan guy,
yeah.
got a nice cock on him. You know what I
Oh,
mean? Like,
I
How
can't
long? How
speak-
long?
oh, it's about 8. He's good. You know, good
8?
sized cock. He's got a good cock.
8 soft
He's got
or
a good
hard?
cock.
Hard.
You saw it hard?
Hard. Yeah, listen. We've done some weird shit together.
Okay, hold on. What about soft? Hold on.
I don't know. Never
Okay,
fucking
hold
played
on.
with it
We don't
soft.
wanna- We don't want to talk about our guy now because
This
he's
is a
like,
man who tried to fucking finger a girl in the ass when I was having sex with her. We've done some weird shit.
Okay, hold on. Was he like doing it like this or like from
Slow
like?
No,
it
he was
down.
driving a stick shift, like reaching to the back seat.
Oh, that's
That's a
real
moonshine
man.
night. We've done some dumb
Slow
shit.
it
Like,
down.
like, hear me out.
Slow. Shh.
Sorry, but listen. DJ.
Let's start from
We
the
really
beginning.
went off the rails.
DJ's
so
my-
fast.
I did not expect this.
Sorry. So like,
Shout out
like
DJ.
DJ's a good example in the fact of like,
Good for
as
you,
far as
DJ.
the outside looking in, you look at a guy who goes, "You're confident. You're
Right.
competent. You're intelligent.
Right.
You're physically attractive. You shouldn't be even nervous to speak to them. You should be like confident in yourself. Like you have a lot
right,
going on. You have a
right.
good job. You make good money. You got all these things, right? But like DJ has never had the confidence for whatever reason. Like
Really?
to go
And he seems like a confident guy.
to be sitting down and to go talk to a girl that he does not know, like he doesn't possess that. It's
Really?
It's
Okay.
not for him.
Okay.
For sure.
Whereas me, I'm going, I don't give a shit if she slaps me. I'm about to go find out about this girl. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
There's just a difference. So like some people, for whatever reason, whether they should or they shouldn't, like they just don't have that confidence in themselves. And that's the biggest thing. Is, like,
Okay.
there's no
In
confidence in
themselves.
themselves.
Okay.
They look at their selves.
Can I ask
Look at
you,
themselves.
because you seem like a person who is. You have no shame, and no matter what it is, you don't give a fuck, dude. What gives you that confidence?
So that was from when I was little.
Like, how did you build that confidence? Because, like, I've been with you, and I've known you for my entire life, and I'm like, I'm a very confident person. I'm very like social. I get out, I talk to people, you know. But I look at you, and I'm like, holy shit, man! Like, you are so shameless.
Yeah,
You don't give a fuck.
The biggest thing is my grandparents did it for me.
Really?
It was the grandpa with the nuts hanging out.
When
And the
your
whitey tighties.
grandparents don't give a shit and they embarrass you when you're little, eventually you just have to go, that's my family. I'm stuck with them. They're going to do this shit and I don't know how to stop it. So,
So I'm gonna do it
here we
to
are.
everybody else.
No, it's just like, here I am. They're going to do that. I don't know what to tell you.
So the way I look at that is like, in your perspective, I'm just trying to enter your mind. It's like, okay, so as long as like I'm entering your mind is like the most I've been embarrassed is in front of my own family.
Oh, I can think of a time.
So outside of
Can
that,
I name a time that I'm thinking about?
So outside of that,
Don't forget it.
it's not embarrassing. Like the most embarrassing, and you tell me if I'm wrong. The most embarrassing for you is inside your own family. Outside of that, it's whatever.
Yeah. Well, here it's two things. One, I honest to God don't care what anyone thinks about me except for the people that I care about.
Exactly.
I love that.
Yes.
Here's
I
my thing,
love
like,
that.
I
love
couldn't
that.
Not
say
even
that
you. Like, I
myself.
love you to death. I don't
but
give
yeah,
a shit
yeah,
what
for
you
sure.
think. But
Yeah,
you,
no,
I
for
do.
sure, exactly.
Honestly, like, I just.
But I couldn't have said it better myself.
I could name on 10 fingers people in my
That's
life.
too many fingers.
No, in my life, whose opinions I care about.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
And like I look at it like that. Like it's also my grandparents were like my grandma was a waitress forever. You have never been to a restaurant
Amazing woman.
where the waitress took too long and your grandma gets up, goes and gets you drinks, goes back to the kitchen and like, grabs something and brings it back out and like busts the table for you. We're like, you're not supposed to do this. Please
Yes,
stop it.
exactly.
Please. Where it's just
It's
like you
embarrassing.
shouldn't do that. Stop. Like I'm
Yes,
sure
for
she has a
sure.
reason for whatever.
Yeah.
She didn't give a shit. Like she's like, I do this shit. It's not that
She
hard.
was such a hard worker, man. I remember Graham.
But it's just stuff like that where you go like, fuck, that's embarrassing. That is embarrassing as shit. You've never been in a restaurant where you go like, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do. I have to sit here and accept
Oh, I
it.
have. Oh, trust me, I have.
Right.
We'll talk about that off air.
But then like,
But it's been bad.
but seriously, like I've got like mom, dad, uncle, and then probably 6 or 7 close friends who I genuinely care about y'all's opinion.
okay.
Outside of y'all, I don't give a fuck. Why would I care what Joe Blow thinks about what I
What
did?
Joe
on
Biden? What Joe Biden
I
thinks
can't,
about?
you know, like I don't care. Like the best example is this, and like this is a bad example, but like
It's the best example, but it's bad.
when we were fucked up in UV one night and we sent that shitty, terrible message to Ashley on my phone.
Hold on.
You don't have to tell me. I know exactly what you're
So
saying.
to feel you, and the gist
No,
of
no, I've heard.
You don't
I've heard,
have
I've heard. No, I've
to.
heard.
I'm gonna
I've
tell
already,
it
I've
anyway.
already been heard.
But
Tell
like,
it, tell it,
the,
tell it,
The
tell it.
gist of it was I was passing my phone around on Tinder and OkCupid and Bumble and whatever the fuck else it was. Like, hey, guys, say whatever you want to whoever I matched with. We're power swiping. Say whatever you want and I'll send it and I'll turn it around. That was my whole thing. Like, I can turn it, whatever you say around to make this work in my favor.
Right. I like that. That's a challenge for you.
Well, again, it was fun. Listen, getting pussy was
and
just
also,
was
let
a
me
challenge.
pause you for a second. Chris just said that he was like, I could get smacked in the face. Like, I don't care. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna be myself. It doesn't make a fuck.
So, like, here's the thing. Like, we said some awful things to her. And I sent it. It's like, fuck it, I'll turn it around. And then she tags me on Facebook and posts it. And I'm like, guess not. And I turned that around. But I even saw her the next week at that
turn
wedding.
that around.
Yeah, saw her at the wedding at Heavy's wedding. And I was like, oof, can't say to her.
That's-
I'm not going to dance with her today.
Did you try?
No, I didn't.
Pussy.
You don't understand. We had the bachelor party the night before the wedding. Jamichael didn't make it. We left him on his couch. Sean, we matched. We accidentally wore the same shirt, same pants, same shoes.
Everything.
Why did you leave John Michael on his couch?
Because he was puking still.
That's impressive that you're leaving John Michael. And we talked about John Michael before, and that's a fucking legendary ass bitch.
I had his footprints on the ceiling of my truck that night.
That's all I need to know.
That's all. We pulled over the side of the road where this truck pulled over. He goes, "You guys good?" I go, "We're fine, buddy. Keep fucking going." He goes, "All right, man. I got you."
All right, man. I'm gonna get my ass whipped by a fucking 6'4" guy.
No, it wasn't even that. It was just like he was like, "Oh, you guys are doing that tonight." This is this is after we already got back to heavies, left heavies because we got back. Haley was pissed because we were piss drunk. I tried to sleep on the couch. There was a girl laying there. I laid. I'm like, "I'm so sorry." I don't know who the fuck it was. You know what I mean? We're like, we need to fucking leave.
Sorry, my dick's hard.
So us trying to, we had a DD that night. But like then when we were leaving Heavy's house,
you had a D.
No, because we couldn't stay there. I'm like, fuck it, I'll drive us home. I'm the designated drunk driver. You know this.
Oh yeah, it's DDD.
I do know this.
That's 3 Ds, not 2.
Boy, oh boy,
DDD, designated drunk driver.
Like I think Jamichael hit his head through the window that night in his bathroom.
Oh,
okay,
that
time
sounds
out. What about the time you punched a guy's back glass out?
Yeah.
At the Waffle House.
You know better than I do. I wasn't really conscious for that. Listen, you've saw me at my worst.
And
worst.
you've
saw
seen me at my worst. So you know, like what all started this whole conversation was we have a buddy who's, and it's not our generation. Our generation is, I feel like, is kind of fine in a way. Like we kind of get along just fine. Like we kind of have learned from our previous generation, which has been, you know, say what you want about our previous generation, which is our dads and our moms from the 80s who have smoked, who has snorted a lot of coke and partied in the 80s.
Smoked a lot of weed.
Yeah, partied, had a good time.
They did all of it.
But like we're a product of our environment.
That's been said 1,000 times on this podcast.
It has. We are a product of our environment. You know, we come from the party background, which is why we party now.
We come from the 80s.
We come from the 80s hair band time. Yeah. And it's like, man, we grow up like you remember when you were young. You remember like, okay, the Game Boy, not even the Game Boy Color. You remember like the Game Boy at its finest, like the big gray, like bulky Game Boy, like Pokemon Yellow
before Game Boy Advanced.
Yes,
listen, you had the original. You had the original
Game Boy Color before that.
Yes,
we had to shine the light on that bitch.
The original Game Boy Color was the Pikachu edition or the Pokemon edition.
Yeah,
that you had to get with whatever version it was.
So I had both of them.
I still have it.
We remember that.
That's Game Boy Color, though. Right,
and it's like we remember
Pokemon
we come
version.
from
lime green.
You and I come from like pre-social media, pre-Instagram, Facebook.
MySpace was the shit for us.
MySpace
in middle school
started it all.
Who's in your top 10?
Oh, Shawn was number 1. But see,
here's the thing. That's why you on this bitch right now.
Yes.
Shawn,
hey, cheers. We'll drink to that.
Shawn was the number 1, not just on mine. Shawn had a thing where like me and John Michael and Josh, all of us.
Shout out Will Ritchie too, because Will Ritchie was like in that rotation too.
Shane.
Shane.
Shawn was like, I want to be your fucking number 1 friend. Like it was serious business. Like it was Patriots and I'm your number 1.
It was Tom Brady and everyone else.
Yeah, it was like
it was Tom Brady and you wanted to be Tom Brady.
And that was back when, like I said, John Michael was staying with me a lot, and like we shared the same computer. And dude,
I remember that.
That's where I learned most about social media, because like Jamichael would spend honestly hours. Oh,
I believe
John Michael the fucking goat. That's why
editing the background, the pictures, the
songs, it's a legend.
I love that dude.
All that stuff, dude. Like he would spend hours doing that stuff. But like John Michael's probably the reason more than anything that I came out of my shell as quick as I did, because also going from my family to him, it's like there's no room for embarrassment. It's just like I'm gonna do this and you're gonna deal with it or you won't.
So hold on, I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought like y'all were related. You and John Michael were related, right?
I thought y'all were related by marriage.
By marriage, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
they also didn't get married until like 4 years ago.
What the fuck? So you're not even family, like really?
No, we're not blood.
So I really thought y'all were like fucking bloods. No. It's like
No, so what it is?
I mean, time out.
So this is
they might as well.
They might.
Yeah, we might as well.
No, to me, those two are related by blood.
No, but
because they're like family.
That's what's confusing me. When
and those two are like
his family and his family.
Because like, I feel like y'all are related. Like technically, y'all are related by like, marriage or whatever.
It's technically about marriage.
But you live side by side for years. Like to
live in the
me,
same
like
house
you
together.
are basically family.
We're brothers. It's just
You're
like me and
brothers.
DJ.
Yeah,
Me and
exactly.
DJ have met the first day of
You got that.
kindergarten.
You got that connection where he wanders off in the woods and then he comes back whenever you're leaving.
Not even that. It's just like, honest to God, like, John Michael knows and DJ knows. And, like, we all have this thing where, like, it doesn't matter what day, what time, where it is. Like, if we get a text or a call
Get
and it says, like, hey, I need you to. It doesn't matter.
It's a call like that.
You don't have to
You're
finish
gonna
the
get a horn.
sentence. It's like, I need you. And it's like, all right, I'm coming. Whatever.
Do it.
Good idea, bad idea. We're like, fucking, all right.
You gotta get the call. Get that Viking horn. That
Fucking
skull.
Game
That,
of Thrones.
oh,
Listen, with John Michael, sometimes it is.
you gotta get that skull,
The
son.
maddest I've ever fucking been at him. He called me.
You talking about John Michael?
Yeah.
Okay.
He called
Very
me
interested in this.
with heavy.
Heavy Diesel. Shout out Heavy
2,
D.
3 in the morning. I was late in the morning.
You can't name drop without saying shout out Heavy D.
It was late.
That's my
They
boy,
called
man.
me. Blind Horse was closing. They were up there. And like, hey man, come get us. It's like I'm asleep. I get up. I get dressed. I come get them. I get there, and Michael gives me a glass, and it's bigger than this fucking drink of just whiskey. And it's Fireball. It's just. He goes,
Oh, that's
hey guys, I
terrible.
got us 2 of them. We got to
No,
down
thanks.
these. He goes, I got to down these before I go. I go. I just woke up and drove and come and got you. Like no, you and heavy drink. He goes, fuck you, you motherfucker. You know you're gonna.
That was a good John Michael impersonation. That was really good.
So we down
the
these, and then we go to Lee. I get them 2 in the car. It's 2:33 in the morning. And they're like, all right, we're going to this other bar.
Jackson.
And we went to some
Little
fucking
cockroach.
shitty membership bar you need in Piedmont, maybe. I don't
Oh
know.
Jesus!
What
If it's in Piedmont, it's definitely shitty.
Whatever it was. But he's like, let's just. I'm like, fucking, I'm already awake. Let's go drink. You know what I mean?
Right.
So this dude, we get there. I go up to the bar. I order a Yingling. This motherfucker almost spilled some beer.
God damn it, dude.
So I order a Yingling. I got
Just go,
it.
just
a little
go.
bit. Just go do your thing. I order a Yingling. I go to the bathroom to take a piss. I come out of the bathroom, come back to the bar to get my beer, which I haven't got yet. And Heavy walks up and goes, hey, man, we got a problem. I go, no, we don't. I hadn't got a beer yet. I've only taken a piss.
No, we don't. I'm sober.
We
can't
don't
have a problem.
We don't have a problem. He
We
goes,
can't have a
yeah. He
problem
goes,
now.
look, man, we're about to get in this fight over here. I need you to come over here. I'm like, what the fuck? And he goes, John Michael. I go, God damn it.
Of course, John Michael.
So I grab
Shout-
my Yingling.
shout out John Michael.
Grab my Yingling, and I go over and I see the corner of the bar. So at this point, it's John Michael with his fucking hat turned around backwards. He's putting a cigarette out on the pool table. Okay?
Oh man, he's disrespecting everybody.
And
in this
he's
place.
arguing with this guy. So it turns out it's a guy that he got in like a fight with or something at Party Island earlier in the year. So this is like September, October, November time.
Right.
And this was like him and that guy got in a fight like June, July, somewhere out in Party Island. So I walk around the bar or the pool table and I sit behind him. I'm sitting at this stool. I'm kind of just evaluating the situation. I go, okay, shit, what do we got? I got Michael running his mouth to this guy. I got Heavy. And then the rest of the 15 people in the bar are surrounding us in the corner of the bar at the pool table.
It's bad news.
So I go, oof, this is bad. And I'm looking like there's this one cat, maybe 6'5". He's a big guy. He's a hefty
shit.
fella too. I'm like, oh, he's a problem.
Like guess the weight.
Bigger than Ben LaFleur, so maybe 350,
fuck.
maybe
God
350.
damn.
Big
And
guy.
he's 6'5".
He's a big guy.
That's a big motherfucker.
He's a big boy.
Like definitely bigger than anybody you saw in Germany.
Definitely.
In Europe, yeah,
Definitely.
definitely.
I see this guy. I'm like, all right, he's gonna be a problem. And I just decide I'm in a bad mood. I'm like, all right.
Yeah. You clobbered this motherfucker. in the head.
I go, I'm gonna back everybody down in this bar. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna walk John Michael and
It's
Heavy
a good
out.
decision.
I'm gonna walk them 2 outside. I'm gonna go back inside and get my fucking car because I hadn't even paid for my beer yet. I literally left her my car at the bar because I'm like,
piss.
fucking hey, I hadn't got there yet.
I'm gonna give a beer, go piss, come back.
And so this one dude,
We're
tries
fighting.
he tries to walk around the pool table and come up like behind Jamichael. And I'm like, whoa, why don't you stop right here, buddy? He goes, yeah, he's running his mouth to my brother. I said, well, that's my brother, so you're gonna have to back up. He goes, we're gonna have a problem. I said, that's okay, you're gonna back up.
I am the problem.
So I go ahead and I pour my beer out.
I am the
I got a
danger.
whole fucking unit. I just pour it out. Like, all right,
I am the problem.
I'm a beer bottle. Crack somebody.
And I quote Breaking Bad. I
Yeah.
am the problem.
So I just literally I
am
walk up to
the
I walk
problem.
up to John Michael and Heavy and I go, listen, you motherfuckers, get behind me, go outside, sit in my fucking truck, and I'm gonna take y'all home. So John Michael's like, they ain't gonna let us out. They
It's
gonna let us
bad
out.
when you're the voice of reason.
Yeah, it's
That's
bad.
what I was
It's
just
real
thinking.
bad.
I was thinking like whenever
real fucking bad when I'm the guy that's going, we're gonna do
whenever
this
Chris
shit.
Harris
been
is
there.
Whenever Chris Harris is diffusing the situation, it's bad. It's bad news.
So I literally I just walk up to the crowd and go, fucking move. I'm just mad at this point. fucking move. So for whatever reason, these people
Damn.
listen to me. They just start moving. So I walk Heavy and John Michael outside.
Heavy D.
I unlock my truck. So when I have the Avi, I unlock the Avalanche. I'm like, go sit in the fucking truck. Y'all sit the fuck down. Y'all fucking wait for me. I'm gonna go clash the fuck out.
Lock the door.
I'm mad. I'm yelling at them like they're my fucking kids.
It's Chris.
So like they go, and then I turn around and there's this dude. I don't remember his name, but DJ knows him. I think his name's like fucking Country Boy. I don't know.
Oh,
Some stupid name.
I think they're like Country Boy or something.
name is
stupid.
whose name is not Country
he goes,
Boy?
hey man,
his name was Country
he
Boy,
goes,
so
you see that
stupid.
Ford over there? And it's like some lifted Ford. And I go, yeah. He goes, that'll run you down. I said, here's my address. I said, I'll shoot you. You come to my fucking house. And I
We're gonna
walk.
hold on, pause. We're gonna
That is your
edit the
address.
out. We're gonna edit that out.
That is your
an hour. That's an hour in.
Come
I'll
to
remember
it.
that. I'll remember that.
I
We're
tell
gonna
him
edit
that.
that out.
And
Shoot your ass.
I'll kill you. I don't care. I have a redneck family.
I'll
You
kill
get
you.
shot.
Come to my address. I'll kill you.
So then I
Holy
walk
shit.
back. I walk back into the
He
bar.
will too.
I have to walk back into the bar through all these people. People are yelling at me and shit. I'm like, I don't even know these fucking people. I get to the bar. I'm like, ma'am, I need to cash out. I need my card. So I finally, like, I got people like this one just fucking chirping in my ear while I'm trying to cash out, sign my fucking little check. So I go outside, and then the tall dude, the big guy I saw, he's outside too. He's off the curve and still a good head higher than me.
The curve.
Yeah, like, you know, you step off
CURVE.
oh, fuck you.
Not the curve.
The
Not
cement
that.
curve.
The curve.
The curve.
The cement curve.
But I'm looking at him like, oof, he's a problem. Like, hey, this guy's still a problem. He's a big fella.
6'5", 350 guy.
He's a big fella. And I said that little country boy again. I'm gonna come there. I'm like, come on in. Like, I don't understand what you don't understand. I'll kill you. Like, I have a redneck that
And
you
we're
will
back.
get shot. You know. I get in the car and I yell at John Michael and Heavy the whole way home. Like, honestly, God, like a fucking
Like y'all motherfuckers, y'all might got me into some
no,
bullshit.
no. Like a mad mother. Like, you motherfuckers, if you ever wake me up again to come pick you up, to come fucking do this shit. Like, I was just mad.
Oh, that's perfect.
And the whole time, John was going, shut up. It's not that fucking serious. Like, you know he had
that
John.
dude.
He's like, shut the fuck up. We don't know what
Love
that.
that
Like,
dude.
I was like, dude, I've never been more mad at him in my life, though.
Dude, like, what kind of started this whole conversation was, like, me and Bryant have a friend who is, and he's Bryant's generation, who is kind of struggling, because we know that, like, the generation before us is struggling socially. Like, there's a generation before yours and I's that is struggling socially because, you know, we hit the scene with like Facebook and MySpace to where like, but like there's the generation before us is it's tough for them, man. Like they once they get out in the real world, they don't really know how to interact.
No, they don't. Most of their interaction has been online. It hasn't been face to face.
So like they are like struggling socially. So they have a social disorder in a way. So like, I mean, I don't know if you can sympathize or if you can, because you're a very outgoing guy. So am I. Like you and I are very both social. And you talked about how John Michael has gotten you out in a way, because John Michael has always been a very social guy. John Michael got you out and made you a little bit more of a social person.
sure.
And to me, that person is Laramie. Like when I was hanging out with Laramie, I was like, oh, okay, this guy is like, he's very social. He like when I was around him, I was like, I was forced to interact with other people. I was forced to interact with, you know, and be social with everyone around me. So it's like, you know, when you take that away from the generation before us, how do you, like, when you go on a date with someone or you want to establish yourself as a human being, how do you overcome the social anxieties and the social norms of that generation? You know, like, how do you, like, what's the answer for those guys, like the generation before us? Because
it's got to start with you as a person. You've got to be comfortable enough in your own skin as who you are, your faults, your shortcomings,
how
your
do you
good
get
stuff.
comfortable?
You just got to accept it. Because here's the thing, like, you know who you are.
Right.
Best more than anybody. Like, and that's every individual.
Right.
You know what you like, what you don't like, what you're uncomfortable with. You know what I mean? Like, what you're fine.
True.
But like most people.
But time out. Can I stop you for a second? Hold your thought.
Okay.
You know, you and I both know we're both 30 years old. We both know that. We both know that we're uncomfortable with what we are uncomfortable with. So like did we know that at 20 and 21? Because that's what the generation that I'm talking about is uncomfortable with. Like, so you think of the guys who before, like, who were after us. We think of those guys and we're like, okay, you know, what are we, 30? What are they, 21, 22, 23? I mean, they don't really. When you were 21, 22, 23, did you know that you were uncomfortable with these? Did you know that you were who you are?
I got you. I'll be right back. Hold on, I'm gonna pee
Okay.
real quick.
Did you know?
I got exactly what you mean.
Come this way.
We're talking about getting in on this, Bryant.
All right, so
Okay.
talking about people being 21, 22, the generation before y'all.
Yeah, we're talking about like
I was listening from the
the
door.
social disorder and the disconnect between my generation and your generation, because your generation is struggling from a social disorder right now.
Right.
And I honestly believe that, and I sympathize. I really feel sorry for those people, like, because we're in a situation now to where we have been, and even like the past 2 years, we've been locked up in a household. Everything is social media right now.
Yeah, for sure. And
Everything
that
is-
that COVID year really like threw everything off
It
too.
threw
It made
everything
everything
off.
worse.
Yeah. And for me, I didn't really notice the social disconnect until now, because I'm
Right.
seeing, like, you know, your friends and my friends who are from that generation who
Right.
are struggling when it comes to like finding themselves and going on a date. And it's like, it's kind of sad to see, like, man, these people, what, all they know is what social media has pushed them to know.
So
Does that make sense?
I'm gonna refer to myself as an introverted extrovert.
I kind of feel the same way for myself.
And so I'm gonna explain that as like, you know, I'm extroverted, and then I get tired of being extroverted, and I need to recharge my batteries.
Yes.
And like, there's some people that are so used to being so introverted they can't like just go
They
out
can't
and
break
talk to
out.
people. Yeah, exactly. And so, a lot of times people have problems with like going out and making that connection because it feels like they're trying to be extroverted, but they're not that way.
Right.
And I described it to a friend the other day that like sometimes you have a battery that you feel like you always need to be recharged,
Okay.
but it's not a rechargeable battery.
Okay.
It's like sometimes you gotta.
explain that.
So it's like some people like for myself, I feel like I'm an introverted extrovert, right?
Right.
So sometimes I can come out and talk to people all the time, and like I'm on the podcast right now, I can talk to people, you know, whatever. And then whenever I go home, I gotta recharge my batteries. I gotta slow it down and just like be with myself sometimes.
Right.
And like the time with COVID with the 2020, you know, it was a shitty time for a lot of people, but I really felt it was nice because I could be by myself and like really like get to my own thoughts a lot. That's where I really feel like I felt a change in myself. But like the recharging the batteries thing is like some people are like at that point where you've lived that life of like your life has led up to a point where you're not meant to be extroverted. So you have to overcome those anxieties that we talk about all the time.
Right.
You have to overcome those anxieties of I don't know how to deal with this situation and that situation. You've got to like try to deal with it. Like that's the whole point is trying and learning. You're never going to learn if you don't try.
I feel like, yeah, there's definitely a social disconnect between mine and Chris's generation, because mine and Chris's generation never had
Same generation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically, yeah, but like
I'm not sure where you're going there.
we're both. What are you? 92. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're both 92. We're both 10 years apart.
So you mean like y'all's generation
days
to my
apart.
generation?
We're 10 days
okay,
apart.
okay, I
Yes,
got you.
yes. Because, you know, mine and Chris's generation was like, we kind of grew up on like, no, we really caught the beginning of social media. The MySpaces,
we got the good parts
the Facebooks,
of everything.
We
I
got
think.
the good parts
because
of
I
that.
think MySpace really came along in middle school for us.
Right.
So it's one of those things where I think we got to grow up like elementary school until we were like 10 or 11, just to grow up as like regular kids.
Right.
And then we had that shift. We kind of grew up in the shift of like no internet and social media to like full blown internet and social media.
Right.
But I think the biggest thing for the people that feel uncomfortable is the fact that more people in our generation feel like they should have things figured out earlier than they do. Everyone thinks by the time they graduate high school, they should know what they want to do with their lives. They should know who they are. They should know what they like. And like that's not the case.
It doesn't work that way.
I'm fucking 30, and I can tell you I have no idea what I want to do.
And so
you know what I mean?
That's one thing I talked about before is that like we have this like so much. That's like such a high expectation of like right now. I think it's because like social media, like you said, it's such a high expectation because of social media where like these younger people, it's my generation, where they see that, you know, all these people are doing so well for their lives and they have this expectation of themselves. But like whenever you get to certain situations, you want to like, your mind thinks you're a grown adult, right? And then you're like, and you think you should react to this situation as a grown adult, but you're not going to. Adults don't have less anxiety because they've dealt with so many situations, so much more like they've dealt with so many situations. So whenever
it's experience.
Exactly. It's experience.
But like, are you finished? Go
no,
ahead.
no. But like whenever you're a young person and you're so used to seeing these experienced adults experience these situations, and you're like, why do I not know what to do?
Why
am I not sure of myself in these situations? Is because you've never experienced them.
Right.
I've said this before. You're never gonna be experienced in a situation that you've never experienced.
Yeah, the popularity of social media kind of tells the less popular what they should look like. Does that make sense?
It does.
Like,
I think what you mean.
You have a person.
It creates a standard.
It creates a standard. Yeah, exactly.
It's
like,
a vocalized standard.
You have a person who has like who looks beautiful and looks like they had their shit together. That's not the norm. That's not the norm. I think the most important thing when it becomes to like being a human being is like being yourself. Like there's a difference between me and Chris. Like me and Chris.
Chris is gay and you're straight.
Exactly. And like,
sucking
like
dicks.
you too. It's like
I also do.
all three of us are being ourselves as ourselves.
Could you do that closer to the mic, please?
I'm as close as I can get.
No, but you go like a little
It's a no for me, dog.
Honestly, I think the biggest thing is people are afraid to feel uncomfortable.
Yes.
I totally agree.
Yes,
I totally agree.
Being uncomfortable is where you learn the most.
Exactly.
Like it's not always fun. Don't get me wrong. Like, but you have to be uncomfortable to figure out what it is that you do or don't like. What it is you
it makes me so happy.
Aren't good at.
It makes me so happy you saying this because we talk about it so much.
We talk about this a lot.
Uncomfortable. Yep. That.
Being uncomfortable.
How have you learned to be?
That's so much easier.
How have you learned to be comfortable in the uncomfortable?
Honestly, like I look at it like this: the people that I care about their opinions. So like when I'm faced with a decision of like, should I do this or should I do that, and like it's got to be big decisions, not just dumb shit. I look at it and go, okay, like if I tell my friends this,
okay,
would they look at me and be disappointed, ashamed, something like that at me for what I did?
Now, what you mean by friends? You mean like, okay,
I mean like my close friends.
like-
I don't mean like oh we're buddies. I know the guy. I mean
Okay.
like the 6 or 7 guys.
People
that
in your circle.
You guys are my close friends.
right.
I care about you guys. Like, but that's the thing. You have to have people that you genuinely care about and then care about you back. You have to have it doesn't be a small group, but you have to have a group of friends that you genuinely care about them and you genuinely care about what they think about you. So like if I go, okay, if I do this, would John Michael be like, if me and him were just sitting down talking about whatever the situation
Would he be
was,
disappointed?
Would he be disappointed in me as what I said or what I did? And it's not even necessarily like that doesn't change anything, but it's like, why would he be disappointed about what I did? You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like it matters to me what my close friends and family think.
But
It does.
Okay, time out. But what if you don't have that person that's close to you to like live off of? You know, like
Yeah, it's tough.
you know what I'm saying? Like you've had John Michael, I've had Laramie. I don't know who that person is for you, Bryant, but
Right.
But like what if you don't have that person to live off of, or like what if you like? Because I feel like that's what I'm trying to fight for that next generation behind us.
Right.
You know, you and me, Chris, is like I'm trying to fight for that generation because I really want to help those guys. You know, and it's like
Where I want
Damn.
to stop you is like you might not have that specific person. Like you refer to John Michael, you refer to Laramie. It doesn't have to be necessarily like one person. It
doesn't have to be.
Like the way we got to this conversation, we was talking about a mutual friend of ours that is struggling with that whole thing of being yourself and being confident in who you are and not giving a fuck, not giving a fuck. And so
Seriously.
like really, that's what it comes down to. And it's like I told him the other day, it was like, you care about your opinion, you care about what people's opinion of you are, and it's like, why do you care about people that if you give a fuck about their opinion? So it doesn't matter.
Well,
so if you're gonna care, if you don't care about what their opinion is, you shouldn't care about what they think about you.
Well, see, I look at it a little different too, because like I don't just look at like I look to, as an example, I look to John Michael for some things, right?
Sure.
Right. But time out. Can I hold your thought? I don't mean to interrupt, but like you have established a relationship with John Michael,
right?
That's very comfortable for you guys, and it has gotten to the point to where, you care what he thinks to a point. Well, where like you look up to him to a point to where like you care what he thinks, but like you've gotten to the point to where you're comfortable to where like you care what he thinks and his opinion to a point to where like, you're comfortable with yourself.
Right. I think the biggest thing is this. Like, I look to John Michael for things that I think are funny or fun or very eccentric, right? Okay. Now, if I were to look at it as like, I want relationship advice, I would never go to John Michael. And it's not because he doesn't have good relationships or anything like that. I look to like DJ, for instance, for something like that.
Okay.
So I think what it is, you find people in your life who you admire certain things about, right? Okay. Where you go like DJ, for instance. I admire the way that he is when he's in relationships. So like when I build relationships with people, I look at like, would DJ be proud, or would DJ kind of do something like this with people that he cares about deeply, right?
Okay.
But like I think that's the biggest thing. Even if you don't have people in your life, you can look to people and go, hey, look, I'm very high on the way that so-and-so is with their relationships, with the way they handle these situations.
Yes.
And you sort of model it after that. You go, hey, even if you don't know the person, would so-and-so be proud of the way that I handled this situation in this realm? Because like that's the thing is like I when I've had relationship issues in the past, I've never once ever went to John Michael because I know exactly what he'll tell me. And it's not like it's bad advice.
But it is what it is.
But it is what it is.
You love him as a human being, but you know what the answer is going to be when you go there.
So the difference
is not the answer necessarily you're looking for, or
I
whatever it may be.
I want something a bit colder. So like when I look at DJ and I go, okay, would DJ be, like what does he think about this? Because I value his opinion more in this particular area.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I've cried in front of DJ. I've asked him for help, advice about different things. And again, I know I'm going to get a very honest, very blunt answer because DJ doesn't care if he hurts my feelings.
Right.
And that's the way it should be.
That's the beauty of being of honesty. Honestly.
I want to go back to the point where you said you cried in front of DJ.
Oh, plenty of times.
There's not many men that like you can go to as a man. There's not many men that you can go to and say that I've cried in front of, And that's a very important thing as a man is like we take that like mental health thing for granted where we don't actually go to other men with our fucking deepest psychological, like traumas or whatever it is and say, hey, what the fuck do I do? And cry, like open up.
I think the thing with that is like we look at it as we don't want to be weak or something, which is stupid.
Right.
Because like I look at it as like, look, man, I'm at a loss anyways. I don't know what the fuck to do. I don't have the answer. So like clearly I'm looking for help with whatever answer it is that I'm looking for. Like I'm going to defer to you because you know better than I do, I think at least in this situation. But like it's also one of those things where like, well, John Michael, it's one of those things where you sort of learn from experience where I've asked him for relationship advice before.
Okay. And
it's turned into like, like fuck that bitch. You don't need like just more so trying to give me advice to, hey man, you're okay. You're going to be okay.
Yeah. Because like,
and that's what he thinks I need is like he wants to build me back up because hey man, my buddy's
because that's the advice that worked for him.
Right. Or maybe that's just where it's at.
The generation before us would push a lot of like, okay, this woman doesn't love me, or like a certain person doesn't love me. Let's push it down. Fuck that.
That's some
person.
Led Zeppelin shit,
right?
So it's like that can be passed on to where it's like, okay, this person doesn't like you or doesn't love you, and they've treated you poorly, and you're like, okay, fuck this person. Let's move on to the next.
Yeah.
Like that's that mentality before us.
Done. On to the next one.
Right.
A wise man once said.
But like
Shout out Dave Grohl.
with like
Yes, absolutely.
well, like DJ, for instance, like I remember, found out I got cheated on. I literally cried with DJ in a field around a fire for a couple hours. Like I was genuinely mad.
I know what you feel like.
Yeah,
I
but it's
felt
one of those
that.
things where I was like, man, why am I not enough? Like you're honest with me. Like
Yeah,
tell
for
me,
sure.
tell me what I did. Why do you think this? Like
what was his response?
honestly, his response was, "She's not right for you. You know that. You know
you are enough."
He's like, honestly, if you look at yourself, you know that situation wasn't a good situation.
And like,
And it's like it was more so him challenging me to be honest with myself. Like in the hardest times you'll ever face, I think, are being honest with yourself.
100%.
When
I
you
agree
go
with
like,
you 100%.
fuck, I don't want to agree with that. But like when your best friend's sitting there going, hey man, you fucked up, you did this, you knew this, and you're like,
Yes.
and so what I
God,
want to
I thought it was right.
you know
What
what I
I-
mean? When
what
you
I
sit
wanna
there and
follow
there's
that up
nothing
with-
you can do is just bite your tongue.
Go ahead, bro.
Fuck.
What I want to follow that up with is like you refer to John Michael saying, fuck that bitch.
Mm-hmm.
He's saying the same thing that DJ is saying, but he's not wording it the way DJ
Yeah,
is wording
exactly.
it.
He's putting
Exactly.
it more
So
simplistic
John Michael
way.
saying, what, fuck that bitch. She doesn't deserve you.
Mm-hmm.
But like that's like, oh yeah, that doesn't mean anything to you. But then DJ saying, you know what, you knew what you were getting into.
Mm-hmm.
Like you did this to yourself. You gotta fucking recognize what the fuck you're doing to yourself and change that.
I think that like what I'm asking is like, how do you tell the next generation? How do you help the next generation of like, man,
I think
they don't get out as much as like you and I did. You know, like they're really struggling.
They've
and it's
never
like
had dance battles.
it's
And
like
especially with that,
they've never
especially with that COVID era too.
they've never had dance battles fucked up in the
Well, hold on.
bottom of
I
Blue
need
Martini.
to explain this. I need to explain the Blue Martini dance
Here's the
battles.
thing.
Here's the thing.
You've never seen your brother dance, have you?
Yes, I have.
wow.
No.
Too many times.
Not
No.
not like dance around. Like
No. I've seen him dance.
I mean, like, have you seen him too drunk, like to the point where in the same night he's laughing at me, going, "Chris, you should get out of that booth. She's
well,
fat."
you weren't there. But I've seen him dancing at the Orange Peel to Prince, like
fair.
Yeah,
really trying.
I've
to
had my
dance.
moments.
What this was we were out about dancing,
Out and
drinking,
about.
and it got to the point where I'm a very like I have to compete in everything that I do. It's the same reason I tell you, like,
He's a
I'll choke
competitor.
you out if we go to Jiu Jitsu.
Yeah,
But you
won't.
won't.
Yeah.
But you will go there.
But
You'll be
listen,
there.
Listen, I'm going in
You'll
with
be
the
there.
intention.
You'll be there.
He's gonna
Like,
die.
doesn't matter what it is. Like I'm gonna win.
No,
I
definitely.
like the mentality, but keep
Yeah,
going.
but you're wrong. But
We're drunk. We're dancing. We're having a good time. And these two gay guys were like dancing and stuff. I'm like, Shawn, they want to battle. They didn't. They were just dancing, having a good time. But I wanted to battle.
they didn't.
So like, you've never had Shawn drunk enough where he was like, "Hey, I'll dance battle with you against them," to where you're back to back, seeing how low you can drop it and like
We
fucking
didn't.
like pop locking and dropping and shit. To the point where like people were like, "That's sort of impressive. I didn't think you guys could move like that a little
I
bit."
didn't think you could get that low.
I really wish you would move that chair out of the way and show us how low you can pop, lock, and drop it.
Listen, I can pop lock and drop.
I don't believe you.
Here we go, guys.
You think I can't pop lock? I hit the chair.
I really wish I was sitting in
could've
that
got
chair.
lower.
I really wish I was in that chair when you did that, so you could do it on me. That would be amazing.
Put it in a mouth.
Oh,
Honestly,
shit.
it's, I don't think people get genuine enough connections anymore. Like I know me and Shawn for sure.
I totally agree.
It doesn't matter how drunk, whatever it is that we are, like how messed up we are. Like we know there's nothing that either one of us could do.
Why do you think there's like a lack of that connection? Then you think it's because
I think it's social media.
Because social media, people
Yeah,
won't
I
be
think it's
honest.
social media.
People won't be honest with each other. Like everyone wants to say what they think other people would approve of, rather than saying what they think the truth is. It doesn't mean
Totally
you're right.
agree.
It doesn't mean you're right.
Totally
Right.
I can tell you, hey, I don't think you're doing this right, and I can be totally wrong about it.
Sure.
But it's that honesty of going like, hey, look, I love you. I care about you. I don't think you should do X, Y, or Z.
Right.
And again, it doesn't have to mean anything, but just being honest enough to tell you, hey, I think that. It's at least going to trigger a thought process in your head to go like, I wonder why he thinks that. You know what I mean? Like, let me
for sure.
break that down a little bit. But I don't think enough people will be honest with each other.
So what if I'm in the situation where like I haven't been with any I haven't been on a date or whatever, and I want to I really want that experience, so I'm trying not to mess that shit up. And like, is it better off being myself?
First
or
date?
you got to be yourself, right?
100%. Listen, because here's the biggest thing.
So what if it fucks it up though? Like
What
if
what you'll learn, that's okay. If you are yourself and it doesn't go well, that wasn't going to work anyways.
Exactly.
I have been
agree
on
with
plenty of dates where I'm like, man, I really want this to work. And it just doesn't for one reason or another. You know what I mean? Like, you're just like, oh, man, that sucks sometimes. But I would
So
rather.
what do you do? Like, what's your advice to a person in that situation where
It's trial
it
and
might
error.
not work?
I don't have a good. It's trial and error, honestly.
So when you say trial and error, do you mean like they should, like, if it fucks up, just fucking do it again?
No, not just there to do it again, but like if I go out with a person who doesn't get my sense of humor, I'm going to make fun of everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't
right.
care if it's right or wrong. But like if that person that I'm with doesn't really have that same sense of humor where everything's on play, that's probably not going to work out for us, and that's okay.
So what's your next step though? After that, like where it doesn't work out, what's your next step?
Your next step is just to be more honest with who you are. You have to look at it and go, okay, listen, like why do I think I went out with this chick? You know, we went out, we had a couple drinks. I think it went well, let's say, right? And then she never texted me back, never called me back.
Then it is what it is.
Something happened.
Yeah.
She wasn't feeling it. You weren't picking up
there
on the
might
same
have been
thing.
something that's like,
Yeah.
And that's okay. But like when you just go, well, she's a fuck her. You know what I mean? That just didn't. That doesn't change. You didn't learn anything.
right.
If you sit back and go, you know, well, if I'm honest with myself, what do I think caused that? Right? And then let's just say it was something you said about fucking. Maybe you drank too many drinks.
The juice, yeah.
Maybe you drink. Yeah, fuck the juice. You know, maybe you. Whatever.
Yeah, sure.
I'm not
fucking
Kyrie. You
rat
can't cancel
bastard.
me. I ain't got shit.
You can't cancel what ain't big, son.
But no, like honestly, like if you're
It's
like
pretty big though. I ain't gonna lie.
maybe like that was the thing that did it. Like all you have to do is be honest with yourself and go like, did I say something out of pocket? You know, did I go a little bit too far, or was I just being myself and we just didn't click being myself?
Okay.
So say you realize like, oh, I did say something too far, but that's your personality.
Right.
Like, do you stop being yourself?
No, never.
But like, what do you do different? Like, if like I said like I'm trying to date Shawn, and I say something that's way too far, and he's like, that's offensive. I don't want to ever see him again. Do I be less offensive, or do I find somebody that can handle that offensiveness?
You find someone I think more geared towards similarities that you have.
100%.
Like, because if I look at it, like all the dates. I don't know how many dates you've been on. All the dates you've ever been on with all the different girls. I don't know enough. But like, you know, looking back at it, at least now, man, some of those were never going to work.
right.
Now,
100%.
you change some things to make it work a little bit. Where you're like, all right, maybe I just can't
kinda
be.
like-
I can't be as much of an asshole.
You
know what I
gave
mean?
up a little bit to like
a little give,
give-
a little
to
take.
get a
how
little bit.
far this could go. You gave up a
you
little
give
bit
up a little
to see
bit
how
to
far
get a
this
little
could go.
bit.
And then
Yeah.
honestly, I think you get to a point where you go, all right, I'm done with that. I'm going to be
Right.
100% myself from the first minute I meet them. If they don't like it, that's okay. They weren't for me.
If they don't like it, fuck them.
But
Totally
if
agree.
they do like it, you know what I mean? If we have the same vibe,
Then that's great.
Then that's a great
we
friendship.
can
That's
keep
a great
going.
relationship. That's something that we have that we're very
Exactly.
similar, and that's going to work out.
To me, the most important thing is to be yourself at all times, because once you be yourself, you know, this person, even not even on a like intimate level, to where like you're looking for a partner, you're looking for an intimate person, but like being yourself will not only bring in the people, like the friends that you want to make around you, like just I think the most important thing is to just be yourself, because once you be yourself,
it's uncomfortable for sure at first.
it's hard to tell people to like, dude, just be yourself. Like, you know, if an uncomfortable situation comes up, like socially, you're like, you just speak your mind. And if you don't feel comfortable speaking your mind, just even on a date, just be yourself, because the most important thing is to like just show people who you are, and this is me, and no regrets. Like, this is who I am.
So the thing
take me for who I am. And if you don't like it, then it is what it is, because I am who I am as a human being.
The thing I'm going to ask the both of you.
Hang on.
Okay.
I am who I am as a human being, and take me for who I am.
Yeah.
You know, and if it's, you know, say it's a conservative who is hardcore, you know, I love the Confederate flag or whatever it is, like I'm very Southern pride, whatever, there's a person out there for you. And if it's the reverse of that, which is like, you know, I hate the Confederate flag, and the most important thing really is like, this is who I am, and those people will fall in line, as they are. Once you try to pretend to be someone and like you go on a date, and I really wish I could go back and tell myself like, hey, I mean, I guess I really don't because I've really found someone who is really dear to me.
You got it right.
Yeah, and is amazing to me, and I have no regrets. But it's easy for me to say.
No regrets, but
No. And I'm just trying to help the next generation before me because I'm at a very good place mentally. And
what he's trying to say is he loves the Confederate flag.
I'm really not trying to say that. I'm just trying to find the peace for everyone mentally. And it's like, you know, you and I have talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to help the people before us.
I think another thing too, though, is like when you pretend,
Or after us, I'm sorry.
when you pretend, like let's say you're on a date,
Because we've all been, you and I have both been on dates where it's like
you're gonna pretend to get some pussy.
you try.
But let's just be honest.
You pretend to get some pussy or some
Right.
dick, whatever it is.
Right. But here's my
Like
thing.
Chris loves dick.
Love it.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest thing is
Say that
like,
again, please.
if you honestly look at yourself and you go like, all right, I'm gonna pretend to like, let's just say drinking, right? We
Okay.
all like to drink,
Right.
I don't think any of us could date partners who would not drink.
100%.
And it's nothing against it. It's just
100%,
like
yeah.
That's not for us.
This is for me. I enjoy
This is what I'm
this,
going
right?
to do. Yeah.
So let's say you start talking to a girl, and you know you're a drinker, and she's not. So you're gonna go, okay, well, you know, we're just not gonna drink.
We'll see what happens.
Right.
Like we connect personally, but like that's one thing is like.
But what you have to look at is, are you willing to change something about yourself forever for someone else about like versus going to look, man, I like to do this. Like if they accept that I like to do it and that's okay, cool. But if you're just gonna go, oh no, I hate drinking too, and then you're just gonna lie about it, eventually down the road, your true self is gonna come out. It doesn't matter if it's like if it's today,
Absolutely.
if it's next year, but
But
that's
that's fucking 10 years from now.
right.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna be yourself at some point.
Do you guys know what the end game of that is?
Unhealthy marriage.
It's
A divorce.
Well, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
you see it. I mean, I'm sure you see it too, Bryant. But Chris and I, we have seen our parents and the dads before us really struggle. I mean, you go to work and it's like those guys who use work as a getaway.
Mm-hmm.
Who the like? Why the fuck would you want to use work as a getaway?
That's a shitty place to be.
You want home to be your peace.
Think about Chris Rock. Chris Rock just got divorced. And he even came out and said that, like, you know, they were married for however long, but it felt like longer because they were always texting, FaceTiming, calling. He's like, I'm going to butcher what his quote was, but he was like, I never really had time to myself. He's like, you know, like he's talking about his dad. He's like, my dad never had to go to work and text his fucking wife all day. He's like, you know, like I had to go on the road and I'm texting my wife. I'm landing, doing this. We're FaceTiming. She's like, I feel like I've been married for 80 years versus however long they were together before they got divorced, right? So it's almost like social media sort of speeds up problems too. And I think people want to avoid
I've
that.
never looked at it that way.
You're going to communicate more, so it's going to speed up whatever problems you might have. So if you're yourself from the get-go, there's no problems to find. You're yourself.
Right, yes.
But if you try to hide something, it's going to come to light sooner rather than later.
Later.
My question is, though, like, you guys have had a lot of, like, I'm lucky enough to, me and Gabby have been together for almost 6 years.
5-6 years.
We
yeah.
started dating in high school. You know,
Got it
it's
right
like
early.
I haven't been in like a crazy amount of dates as you know, a 21-year-old or like in that bar situation or whatever it is.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
But you two have, you know, and it's like when you're in that situation as growing up as a man, like when you're in those dates and they don't fucking work out, what's your next step? Do you just like you bounce back? Like how do you bounce back?
I think it's different date to date because I think for me,
Like my main question is the date doesn't work out. What's the next step?
well, it's a learning experience almost because you look at it and you go, why didn't that work out? Did I want it to work out even? Like, you know what I mean? Like I look at it and because I've had plenty of dates where I went out and honestly I wasn't sure what I wanted out of it. I was like, cool, you know, we're gonna go out. I don't have any expectations on it.
Right.
And
You're just trying to fuck.
not even that. No. Like there's differences between like I'm just going on a date and I'm going out to get some
You just
pussy.
want like some companionship,
Right,
And,
like-
just talk.
Because
Yeah.
you don't know.
Because talking to me and Shawn is a lot different than talking to a woman.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure.
But then, like, if you have dates where, like, let's say you go out with a girl, we're like, man, she's incredible, she's this, she's that, and you go out and it doesn't work out. Well, then you have to sit back and go, man, I really liked her. Why didn't that work out? Like, you know what I mean? You have to have that honest conversation with yourself and going, why didn't that? I really wanted that to work. Why didn't that work? And like for me, like for instance, when I went on the 2 dates with that Maddie girl, I had to look at myself and go, like, why didn't that work? She was pretty awesome. Like from everything that I knew, that I thought, why didn't that work? Then I had to look at myself and go, okay, well, maybe it's this or maybe it's that, you know what I mean? Versus when I was fucking 22, I just went out with a girl. I'm like, it didn't work out, whatever. And it never thought much about it, never had much introspection about it. Just went, fuck it. You know what I mean? Next one.
Right.
But I think that's the thing is like the more serious you get about genuinely wanting to find somebody, the more you'll look at yourself.
So as a man that's, I've been with Gabby for 6 years. Shawn's been with Heather for how long?
I think 8
years. Yeah.
8
So
years, yeah.
You're a person that hasn't really been in a relationship like that for a long time. What's your advice to younger guys to go out and meet new women?
Because you're still fighting for that, like,
Yeah, you're still looking for that companion.
and I have no doubt that
Yes.
you are being yourself.
Well,
And it's like you're still like, as
What's your
you're-
advice?
You're being yourself on all of these dates, and you're being yourself. Like every time I see you, I'm like, Chris Harris is one of one.
yeah,
It's not 102, 103. Like Chris Harris is one.
I'm also the guy where you're
of
like, hey
one.
man, we're going to do this, and I show up with a date, and you're like, fucking Chris brought a random girl.
But it's like
times
so
has
what's
that
your
happened?
advice? What's your advice to like
to
find
the
those new
generation
girls?
who is
See, that's the thing.
suffered socially.
I don't have good advice because I hadn't figured it out myself yet. Like I have to look at my friends around me who I think have figured it out. Shawn, who has a great person, great partner, great woman around him. DJ, who has a great person, partner. Like John Michael, like they've all figured it out where their partner worked for them, and all their relationships are very different, right? So I think you have to honestly look at yourself and go, what do I actually want? Not just I want some pussy, or not just I want this hot chick, I want a fat ass, I want this. Like,
Right.
what do you actually fucking want? And not a lot of people will have that conversation with themselves to go, what do I fucking want?
And so my main question is like, after you know what you want, how do you go after that? Like, how do you go like Tinder? Do you go fucking
so
to
here's the
me, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but like I think the most important thing, and not even in this subject that we're talking about, but I think the most important thing in life is to find what your interests are, and then chase those interests, and be yourself as a human being.
But how do you chase those interests? Like, that's my whole question: is how do you find that companion, whether woman or man? How do you find that companion? Is it like right now?
You
You
have
go
to
to
chase
Tinder.
it.
You
You
go
have to
to
chase
fucking
it.
to a bar. Like, what's
To me personally, if I was a single man right now, and Chris, you tell me like how you feel about this answer,
that's
because
what I'm going
I
for.
feel like you're in the game now. You're still in the game. You're still like out there pursuing, what you're looking for. I think it's you obviously you pursue the apps, which is big right now. The Tinders, the what's big, Tinders, the Instagrams,
Yeah, sure. Grinder for Chris.
the grind.
A lot of men.
Gay Tinder.
But like
if you don't
once you get those dates where like you make that match or whatever, you go out on those and you just be yourself. Like and it's hard to say. It's really, really extremely hard to go out. And I've been there where it's like you want to be impressionable, where like you go on these dates and you want to impress the person that you're going on this date with. But I think the most important thing is to find the person who fits for you, and not even necessarily in a relationship as far as like an intimate relationship, but even like the relationships outside of that, as far as like just a friendship. It's like the most important thing is to find who you are as a human being and become that, and be yourself. Like just
I
be
think that comes-
yourself. And then everything fits into place after that. I wish I could go. Like I really don't wish I can go back, because I'm very happy and I'm in a very peaceful place mentally. But if you go back, and I could tell myself something, I'd be like, "Listen, man, quit trying to cater to like when you go on these dates. Quit trying to cater
To what they like.
to what they
whole
like, and
question.
quit trying to like pretend to be this person that you're not. Like, what the fuck are you doing
My
trying
whole
to be
question-
this person
my whole
that you're
question-
not?
It
My
comes
whole
back to
question
being
is,
honest with yourself.
Where do you go?
Exactly.
Where do you go on to get these dates?
Anywhere. Like, so here's the first part, the biggest hurdle I think is figuring out genuinely what you want. Because
Exactly.
every person wants something different.
Yeah.
I might, like,
Yeah.
in a relationship for me, for instance, it might be completely physically driven. I might be in a relationship where I go, look, I want someone beautiful that I find beautiful and this and that. You may look at someone and go, listen, I want, to start a family with person.
Yeah, sure.
So I want a good mother. I want someone who I think will be a great partner to raise a kid with. Like, you have to be honest with what you want before you even go down the road of how do I find that. But once you're honest with what you want, I think it's pretty easy to go down the route of where do you go. Like, if I just want something physical or something superficial, sure, let's go to Tinder, let's go to Bumble, Grindr, Hinge, whatever the fuck it is, right? If it's something like I'm very outgoing.
I just realized he said Grindr.
Keep going.
Listen,
Keep going. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have chuckled.
You guys are both really into music, right?
Chris likes us in the ass.
Right.
That's
Both of you guys are really into music, right? So here's another thing. Like, it might be very important that you go out and let's just say you're at fucking Sharky's. They got live music night. You're gonna go to every live music night because live music is important, and then you meet someone there because that is something important too.
Yeah, I like that.
You
Yeah,
have
for
to
sure.
find what you actually want, what you're pursuing, and then once you find that, then you just sort of chase that route.
Can I ask you something?
so.
Sure.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No. Mine's
Okay,
like,
so what mine is
very
is like
ridiculous.
referring to our mutual friend. He's got a lot going for him. He's in a position where he's got everything going for him, but he's lacking that confidence. He doesn't know really where to go because he hasn't had those experiences, before high school or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
He's around my age. Like he doesn't know where to like go in those situations. You would say like find what you fucking want.
Yeah.
And
What do you want first? And like, here's the thing: you can find what you want anywhere. Like, doesn't matter if you want a family, something superficial, something
Can I get a
fun,
beer?
a fling, whatever it is. Like, you can find that on Tinder
And a
or
water,
fucking
too, if
whatever
you got it.
else. You know what I mean? But you just have to be honest with yourself about it.
Right.
But you also have to do it by a little bit of trial and error. If you can't be afraid to screw things up. You're gonna screw
pause.
things up. No, we ain't pausing
I
shit.
just wanted them to hear
You're
that
cracking.
like on its own. Yeah.
Like,
Cheers,
honestly,
bro.
cheers, buddy. Like your buddy, for instance, he has to go on bad dates. He has to go on good dates. He has to go get his heart broken a little bit. And I
Yes,
think that's
absolutely.
all part of the process. Like, not everybody gets it
learning.
right in high school and finds who they're gonna be with.
exactly.
And that's okay.
It is
Like,
okay.
I'm 30, right? I'm in.
Damn, how old are you?
I'm 30.
God,
I'm
damn,
probably
that's old as
in
fuck.
the best relationship I've ever been in.
And you're still
I'm so young, but
you're
like,
still young, but you're 30 years old. You're not married. You haven't figured it out.
no, I haven't figured it out. I don't have the answers.
Exactly.
But that's okay. You know what I mean? But that's the other part too. Is like I've done this by some trial and error. I've had great relationships. I've had bad relationships. But you learn everything along the way. It's just being honest with yourself. You have to look at yourself honestly and go, I fucked that up, or oof, they did me wrong. You know what I mean? Like, there is never a situation where you can just look at something and go, well, it was someone else's fault. You're not really being totally honest with yourself. Coffee.
Yeah, I smell coffee. It smells fucking great.
A little bit of coffee. Is
Smells
Heather
really
making
good.
coffee?
She's definitely making coffee.
I want a glass.
You take a
Is it
pause?
iced
You want
coffee?
to take a
No.
break?
No.
Oh,
I don't want coffee in the middle of my beer.
you're not a real partier.
I don't need coffee in the middle of my beer.
No, we just like the taste of it. Just like we like the taste of beer.
You could, they don't mix together. Because here's the thing: if it was an iced coffee, maybe, but I can't go hot and cold.
Iced coffee's good as fuck.
Iced
though.
coffee is good as fuck. But
Like,
could you drink a hot coffee right now?
I could absolutely drink a hot
A
coffee right
hot
now.
I can't do hot coffee and cold beer.
I could drink like that smell. I can smell the fucking. It's fucking Cafe Bustelo. I know what that coffee is.
Congratulations.
That's because I know what she cooks.
Whatever.
Yeah,
But no, like
that's-
I can't do just hot and cold. If it was an iced coffee in Chicago, whoo, different story. But I
Some
mean,
Starbucks shit.
honestly though,
What's
like,
your Starbucks drink? I know you go to Starbucks. Quit fucking don't lie.
usually
I know you go to Starbucks.
Usually I do a venti, and I do an either,
Me too.
I do an white chocolate macchiato, or I do just a plain mocha iced coffee.
Okay, so I go like a cold brew with
The nitro cream.
salt. No. I go cold brew with salted caramel cold foam.
See, I don't like
It's
caramel
just
too
simple.
much. It's a little too sweet.
But just
I like
only the
like
cold foam.
mocha.
I'm a black coffee drinker.
I can't. Do
So
black
I'll go
coffee.
iced coffee with a salted caramel cold foam. That's it. Just the foam is the salted caramel.
Not bad. Not bad.
Thank you.
What's
We're
that
talking about Starbucks drinks.
Oh shit, we really.
Yeah, we really went off the rails because I knew she was making coffee. I smelled it.
You smelt it.
I smelt it.
Heather making
Yeah,
coffee?
I smelt it.
I'm not a coffee drinker, so I didn't realize she made coffee.
I'm not a coffee drinker either, but like
Oh,
whenever
I
she
am.
makes coffee,
I have been.
there's been a few times where we were fucked up down here, and I was like, oh, if you make coffee, I could be sober in the morning. And
sure.
then
Talk about being fucked up.
We want to.
We've had much better experiences, I think, than he has. But like, what's the most fucked up you've ever been that you can remember?
The most
that you can remember.
The most fucked up I've ever been was my 21st birthday in Myrtle Beach.
I missed that.
Yeah, because you said you were going to come and you didn't. But that's okay. I understand.
Some stuff happened.
That's okay. But
I'll still bury you.
like a shitty person, you didn't say that you weren't going to be there. You just didn't show up.
No, to be fair, I still did pay my part of the room.
You did.
I just didn't show
All
up.
right, you know what? I'll drink to that. I'll drink to that shit.
Cheers.
I
Cheers.
did participate. That was a little.
Hey,
I
cheers to
can't
that
make
shit.
it, but I'll still pay for it.
Respect.
Yeah, he did for sure.
You know what? I respect you for that. But that's definitely top 5 fucked
Yeah, I
up.
wanted to make you shit on yourself that night.
No, I didn't.
I wanted to make it. I
I've never
just
shit
couldn't
on.
make it
I've never not made it to a fucking outdoors or toilet to shit or throw up.
You see, I've got this problem where it carries over from I want to beat everybody at everything to like, oh, you're gonna drink? Oh, we're gonna drink. Like,
Hold on, but your question was the most fucked up I've ever been was, I would say, probably my 21st birthday. I took like 27 shots.
It was a lot.
It was bad.
It was a lot. It got to the point
It
where
was
it was like,
moonshine. It was fucking.
it was like night. And it was like, oh, he's pretty fucked up, but like, oh, we're gonna take this to the next level.
And I just
You're not leaving this motherfucker until
like,
you are blasted.
They're like, here,
You do
keep
that.
taking shots. And it's like, I'm 21 already. I'm already taking 21 shots. So like, hey, you know, you haven't making them yet. And they're making doubles.
He passed out in the floor of the
that makes
bathroom.
sense. That's not that bad though, because like, I've passed out plenty of times on floors. Floors are the good spots.
Yeah, I've passed out.
Hey,
You've never
Can you-
passed out
can
under
you-
a pool deck.
I
and
can
become a fucking Loch Ness
proudly
monster.
say, I've never thrown up in a floor, on a couch, in a carpet.
Man, I
I've
wish
never.
I could say the same.
And I've thrown up whenever we're at the apartment. I've thrown up in the fucking bushes at the patio. I've thrown up
damn.
on
I
the
puked on
concrete.
purpose. What are you talking
I've thrown up in the grass. I've thrown up everywhere but a shitty place to throw up. I can hold that shit in. I'll fucking gag and hold that shit in.
Chris, I've heard that there was a situation where you had called your parents. You tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if
Oh,
I'm wrong.
I called my dad, to be fair.
Okay.
But my mom come and pick me up.
And you
'cause
said-
my dad was drunk.
Help me. I'm in a floor somewhere.
So
Well, hold on. He said what?
my dad was drunk. I called
No.
my dad.
Yeah,
to
tell
come
us
in.
the story.
He's
Please tell us the
okay.
story.
Tell me. I'm gonna tell you from my side, and I'll let him tell his side.
John Michael's version of this is the best story because he got fucked the most.
He
that night.
said, "I've always heard that Chris Harris said I'm fucked." He had made a call. It was very blitzed. He made a call and said, "I'm fucked up. I'm in a bathroom stall right now. Come find me. Like, come help me. I need help."
That's a shitty place to be.
How do you call your
That's
parent?
a shitty
Like,
place to
if you're a
be.
parent and you get that call, what the fuck do you do?
So first of all,
That's shitty to
I
put your
have
parents in
tried.
that situation.
So
first of
when
all,
you say
I-
shitty, you mean like the bathroom stall shitty?
I have.
I mean diarrhea shitty.
I have a great relationship
was,
with my parents. Right?
Yeah, but how?
I'm an only child. Hold on. I'm an only child.
Okay.
I'm an only grandchild, technically. So I'm very fucking spoiled. My parents
so
have
you've
always
seen Paul's
said,
balls.
most parents, hey man, if you're ever drunk, you can call me. I'll come get you. Most parents have had that conversation.
Yeah, for sure.
My parents have definitely said that. Now I've always heard it, but like, never needed that. Right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Same.
So we go. There's 5 or 6 of us. It's me, Steven, Dale, Taylor, John Mike, DJ, and we decide we're gonna go out to Twin Peaks, watch a fight or a game. I don't remember what it was, but before we leave the house, we have a jar of moonshine. So I'm like,
Sure.
oh my boys.
Now, is
Good
this
idea.
Is this real moonshine or?
Oh, it's good. It's some good-
legal. Is it legal or
No,
illegal?
there's no label
Come
on this shit.
man.
We got it
Come
from
on, man.
we got it from
You
Papa.
know who you're talking to.
Listen, we got it
Why
from
don't you wanna find out?
We
Yeah.
made
That's
it.
fair. That's fair. That's fair.
But always we have some moonshine. So I go,
Come on,
we're gonna down this
chill
jar
out.
before we go, fellas. And then everyone goes, No, everyone except for John Michael, who goes, fuck yeah.
I'll
We'll
do
do
it.
it. We'll split this motherfucker.
So John Michael and I, on the way to Greenville from Anderson, killed the entire jar. Just back and forth. Just, oh, you think you big dick? Oh yeah.
And you just sucked each other's dicks.
Oh, we just sucking it down. So
Sucking
we
it
finally
down.
get to Twin Peaks. We get there. I order a ski shot as soon as we get there. Right. So as soon as we get there, I'm like, fucking ski shot.
What's a ski shot?
They bring out a fucking giant ski with placeholders in it where you put shots in it and you tilt the ski over and everyone takes a shot at the same time.
Hell yeah, I like
cool.
the
That's
I
cool
like
as fuck.
shit like
So
this.
it's a ski shot, right? So I'm like,
That's
fuck
a
yeah,
bro
we about to do
ski
some
shot.
ski shots,
It's
boys.
a bro ski shot.
Let's get this.
It's a bro ski shot.
We
I
do
like
that.
That's cool as fuck.
We order some beers, and then at a certain point, not very long, maybe a half hour of us being there, because we're just drinking and doing that. I go, whew, I'm not in good shape. I need to go.
Fucked
bathroom.
up, yeah.
I need to go get this.
You gotta
out.
fucking wash my face off, take a shit, finger my ass. You know.
So it's so
the normal
bad
things.
that I end up in the bathroom stall, pants around my ankles, off the toilet or anything.
Oh, no.
Just passed out on the floor, just like half awake, half puking, fucking like not a good time. So first I
Sounds
called.
like a good
First
time
time
for
I called
everyone
DJ, right? Yo, DJ, I need you to come get me. DJ, he's like, hey man, I'm at the fucking table. What are you talking about? I know you're fucked up. You're in the bathroom puking. I get it.
Fucking DJ.
All right, man, I love you, buddy. Hang up.
DJ, you should
Right?
come get me. He's at the table.
So
At the table.
pick the phone back up. Like I start calling people who are with us at the fucking table while I'm puking in the
Yeah,
bathroom.
you already said DJ.
No, so all of them, like, right, I go through like 3 or 4 people, and they're like, Chris, I'm with you. I know you're fucking puking. I'm, all right, man, I got it. Fuck. So I'm sitting there, puke on my shorts, puke in my boxers, where I had fucking puke, trying to like puke in the toilet and shit.
You missed. You're trying to puke between your
I'm
dick
just
and your legs.
sitting here like,
Hold on. Give me a pause. You were sitting on the toilet and trying to puke.
I was trying to like puke through like
Between your dick and
yeah,
your
yeah.
legs.
I'm like
So
covering
how-
my dick
how-
and balls and trying to like. Bleh.
How shriveled up was your dick at that
Oh,
point?
listen, I don't know. It's gone.
Because you were cupping it or because it was just small?
Both. Whatever.
Okay, that's fair, yeah.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there, and like at one point, John Michael and Taylor Day both come in. Taylor climbs over the stall and flips and falls in. John Michael crawls under it to come in and check on me.
That's a good decision. Climbing under.
Yeah, listen, he got it right.
You might get piss and dick and cum on you though. and
So
shit.
they're laughing. They're not even concerned. You know, what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
you fucked up, you dumbass.
yeah,
You fair.
of course.
So finally, I go, look, I have puke on myself. I can't go back out to the restaurant and sit there and eat and watch whatever we're gonna do. So all right, I call Dad. Dad's gotta come get me. I'm fucked. So I call my dad. I go, Dad, listen, I'm puking on myself in a bathroom stall.
Somewhere.
I'm in Twin Peaks. I'm gonna need you to come pick me up in Greenville. And I hear him go, Lisa, your boy's puking on himself. I gotta go get him. And she goes, you're fucking drunk. You ain't driving. He goes, shit, you're right.
Which
He's
would
not
be,
even drinking.
that sounds like you answering that phone call.
He's not even drunk.
So my
Drinking all
mom,
day?
No,
my
he's
mom
drunk.
drives my dad to come pick me up.
Who's also drunk.
Who's also, so I tell no one. I'm still in the bathroom stall. So finally I get a call from mom. Hey, we're outside. Okay, I got you. Get my shit together. Like,
You thought you got your shit together.
yeah, listen, as good as I could. I'm gonna run outside. I'm gonna get in the truck. I'm gonna go. So at the time, Dad had the like the suicide doors. We had to like open the front
Oh
door
my
to,
God.
to open the back door.
Your dad has suicide doors.
Like a
Right.
rap
So,
song.
so you had to
When is this, 2000,
You had to up in
like-
front to get in the back, right? So,
2007.
so like I get up. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna skate by everybody. I'm gonna get the fuck outside. I'm gonna do it. I get outside, and Jermichael sees me trying to escape. I open the door, both doors. I dive in the truck and shut it. And go, 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 go. And they leave. And all you hear is John Michael outside screaming, "You motherfucker! We're supposed to die tonight!" This is after.
That's just like Shawn Michaels.
This is after they poured
it
Fireball in his beer at the table, and I wasn't there
Oh,
for this.
no. How
But it's
you
funny.
gonna
He
do
goes, "Who
that?
poured Fireball whiskey in my beer?" And he drank it anyways.
Yeah, of course he did.
John Michael
Shawn
got
Michaels.
cut off because he fell out of a stool twice. He spilled a whole
Twice?
beer out of all over his steak. Like the restaurant cut him off, and he was trying to explain to the waiter, like, "You don't understand. My buddy Chris left. We don't have to die tonight. Bring me another beer."
I've never been cut off. Have you ever been cut off? Anybody that's
Yes,
never.
once. You know, you were there. Then I got my head split open at after we left Wild Wings. We went
Hold
to
on.
Chris.
Can we pause? I got cut off when my head got split open that night. Can you talk about that night, please?
I can. We can get there.
Well, no, we're
No,
there.
we're there.
We're there.
So Sean's a trickster, but Sean's a true friend.
He's the instigator. I've heard.
We go out. I don't remember if we were watching a football game or what. Do you remember? A fight, something?
I don't know. I think we just met out, and I just like at the time I was like, okay, like my buddies want to meet out. We'll have a couple drinks. We'll have a good time, and then we meet out there at Wild Wings downtown Greenville. It's Charleston Sports Pub now, but
Okay, cool.
back in the day it was Wild Wings. But
So we're
Which is
upstairs.
on Woodruff Road now.
Yeah, we're upstairs. We're watching whatever it is, and it starts with rounds of shots. And I mean
rounds,
rounds. There's what 8 to 12 of us,
yeah.
And what we start doing
And it's
is
round.
just taking turns, shots.
We
shot,
all
shot,
buy
shot,
rounds.
shot. Except for Shawn, who we didn't learn till later. But we're just doing rounds and rounds and rounds and rounds.
When it got to my turn,
And I've heard.
Yeah,
The
so
best part is I've heard so many stories, multiple stories, like at least 5 where he never paid for any shots.
Sean's
I bought one
bill,
round. I bought
Sean's
one round.
bill when we
You bought the
left.
first one.
maybe. I
Sean's
don't even know
bill
if I bought
when
one
we
round.
fucking left was like
Like-
40-something bucks.
And everybody was
Everyone
like
else had
$170.
everyone else had $200 tabs. Everyone else. Sean, when it got to his turn, he was going, "I got the last one," and no one fucking questioned
man.
it.
It was like, I don't
yeah,
think.
he got the
Listen,
last
man, when you're a seasoned vet, you know that like these motherfuckers around me are too fucked up to know that they're not paying for these
You're,
shots.
you're a shitty human being. is what I'm
It
hearing.
wasn't like
Yes, I'm a
listen,
fucking
Sean
terrible
was
person.
just as fucked up as we were,
Yeah.
but
But he was
Sean
like, he could know how
thought
to handle
about the
shit.
consequences.
Yeah.
None of the rest of us thought about
When it
consequences.
got to me, I'd tell the person next to me, I would be like,
I just got the last one. You got this.
I said, man, I got the last one. What the fuck, man? You really gonna make me pay? Like, I got the last one.
But
What
here's
the
the thing,
fuck?
because there were so
Like,
many
I
of
don't
us.
remember. I
Because
get
there were
it.
so
Oh,
many
sorry,
of us,
dude,
though,
I
like
got this one.
once you take 7 shots, you don't remember whose fucking turn it is.
I'm a terrible person.
You know what I mean?
I'm sorry. I'm
It's like
sorry.
we leave, and my tab was 200 and something.
Christ.
No, I think mine was close to 300.
I was like,
so we all
like
have these
55.
giant tabs. Now we should have went home at that point, but instead we decide onward.
55.
ho.
Oh, 55.
So we end up going to Sharky's, I think, right?
Sharkies?
oh,
I think it's Sharky's. And I walk in, and I'm fucked up. And I try to get the waitress to, or not the waitress, the bartender to fuck me in the bathroom.
tell
fuck me in the bathroom.
Can I tell from this experience? I remember walking into the Sharkies, and I remember Chris walking up to the waiter, which was like the bartender,
Man or woman?
It was
She
a
was hot.
female,
Okay.
and
redhead.
I
and
was hoping it
Chris
was a
walks
man.
up to this female and goes, "Do you want to fuck in the bathroom stall?"
No. What I said was, look, I'm too drunk to have any game tonight.
It doesn't sound like you said that. I want to hear what you
I
said.
don't know what he fucking
I
said.
started
I wanna
with,
know what you said. I
I
wanna hear
started
what
with,
you said.
I'm too drunk to have any game tonight. You want to go fuck in the bathroom?
And she said no.
And she was like, nope. I was like, cool, let me close out and get these 2 beers.
I love that confidence, baby. I love that confidence, baby.
Cool. Let me close out
What's
then.
up?
And she remembered me for a long
Hey, you
time.
know
For,
what? Hey,
for at least
cheers
the
to
next
that
2
confidence.
years. She remembered. She was like, you want to go fuck in the bathroom? I'm like, I'm so sorry. But didn't matter at the time. I was like,
It was,
cool,
I was
man.
free tart then. I wasn't Chris Harris.
Do you want to
It
fuck
gets
in the bathroom?
much
Do you want to
worse.
fuck me in the bathroom stall?
So
tonight?
Cool. I'll close out.
So I leave.
Okay, no.
I
Okay.
leave this
I'm
group of
closing
like
out.
8 to 10 of us, and it's just me and Shawn.
oh, geez.
So Shawn has to deal with me, pissed drunk.
And I'm fucked.
And we're all fucked
up.
And then we find this guy that's passed out. He's bald.
Oh, I remember this. I remember this.
He's bald headed. He's
By Cantina
passed out in a
76.
chair.
You know where
Oh,
Cantina?
I do. I know that
You know
parking
the
garage.
You know the
Cantina
yellow
76?
chairs around.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I know exactly what you're talking
And immediately I go, I'm gonna lick his fucking head. So we start going and taking pictures of me licking this fucking passed out bald guy's head. I'm just like,
Oh, there's 60
There's-
selfies on his phone, and
there's
there's
like 333 pictures I took that night.
Can you send those to me?
I could. But
they're gone.
no, they're on my other iPhone.
Ah,
I have them. I didn't.
Please
delete
send
them.
those to
What
us.
do you mean?
Please, the
I'm
God, send those
fucking
to
licking
me.
this motherfucker's head.
I need this.
Please,
We're,
the God.
we're
send
walking
those.
around, and I don't remember it, but according to Shawn, I'm like taking fucking girls away from their boyfriends. Like we taking selfies, like and just making the boyfriends stand
We brought
to
the
the side.
whole fucking town.
I'm walking
in.
around, fucking high fiving, fucking. I'm fucked up. And eventually, somebody tells me to fuck off and doesn't want to give me a high five.
Oh, I remember this.
And allegedly,
That's the
we
last
get in a
thing I
fight.
remember.
Okay, and we get in a fight. I hit him.
Oh, he knocks this motherfucker
Oh,
out cold.
And I knocked this gentleman out apparently, and then I just bolt. Like it's not even like a fight.
Hey, dude.
I hit him, sink him, and run. Apparently,
You know how you're so fucked up, you kind of like, you know what's going on,
You
but
know,
like,
you shouldn't be doing this, but like I gotta do it.
yeah, but
And then after you do it, you're like, holy shit!
I don't
gotta do
have-
it.
holy shit, I'm so fucked up. Like, oh
I don't
my-
have
I can't
memories
even
of this.
walk.
I'm-
Like
I'm for
me,
sure strong.
as far as my perspective goes, I remember seeing Chris knock this dude out cold, and I'm like, dude,
He probably shouldn't have done that.
Oh, definitely should.
no. I was
Definitely
like,
shouldn't have.
oh my god, like I can't even walk straight right now. Like I can barely walk.
And
straight.
by the way, it's,
and Chris is the same way because there was like 10 to 15 of us at the start of the night. There's
And
two
it's
of
just
us
me and
left.
him. It's just us.
the two of us.
And this is a group of guys.
Yeah.
So like I do that.
Who's
and
not as fucked
I
up.
take off like bolting, and they catch me. And dude, they beat the shit out of me. Let's be fair. Like I don't know what happens exactly, except for I remember telling Shawn to hit me with a fucking brick because I have a scar on my head from
By
here
the
to
time
here.
my drunk ass called him, I was like, he goes, yeah, man, they deboed me, man. I was like, what? He goes,
They deboed me.
he goes, that's his words. He goes, they deboed me, man. I was like, what? And then I can see the blood running from his head.
fucking head.
And when you're fucked up, you're like when you're drunk, your blood's like very thin.
Then it's fuck. So it's pouring.
And then a head
shit gotta be
injury is
pouring.
already thin enough. So it's like it was blood all down his face. And I was like,
Yeah, it's all
"Damn,
down the
dude,
side
what
of
the
this
fuck,
man."
dude? You all right? He goes, they deboed me. I was like, what the fuck you mean?
Because did you get shot? Like that's gotta be like the first thing you think.
Honestly, the last thing I really remember was leaving Sharky's. When me and him went.
I don't even
fucking
remember
off.
getting hit or fighting.
The next thing I remember is I'm slumped over Shawn's shoulder. He's got me like over his shoulder like this, like helping me walk. And like I
remember
look,
that.
I look up, and like I'm not really sure. Like I'm kind of coming too, and like I see this woman looking at me, just
You're coming.
Oh,
coming.
You're
She's-
also coming.
Yeah, she's looking at me. She's going like, "Oh my god!"
I remember that.
And, like,
I remember that.
I literally
Yes.
start laughing. I go,
I do remember that.
"Don't know what's going
love
on,"
that reaction.
but I'm literally
Very first
giggling like bitches.
She's like, oh my God, he's bleeding. I forgot about this.
And I
She's
look
like,
at Shawn
oh my
and go,
God,
where
she's
we going?
he's bleeding.
And he goes, "We're going to my truck, buddy. We're gonna get you to the doctor." I go,
Oh, that was
"Okay,
when you was
man."
driving Dad's truck.
No, there was the Jeep.
No,
It was the
Oh,
Jeep.
it was a Jeep, okay, okay.
So I remember
Yeah.
getting in his Jeep and like he's talking to me. He's like, "Keep talking to me," trying to get me to talk to him and shit. And like I'm like,
You were like freaking. You were like, he's gonna fucking die.
I almost.
so,
yeah.
here's the thing. Like I have,
Like, you
blood.
had to be like borderline crying.
So I still have a scar on top of my
It was
head about
intense.
like
he got
this right
stitches.
here.
He got stitches.
Well, I got it glued. I'm afraid of stitches and staples.
Oh, you pussy.
I had my Mickey Mouse T-shirt on.
Of course, you're a pussy.
Of course. So I had blood running down the side of my head, my neck, my shoulder. So we're in the car, and he's like, "I'm taking you to the hospital," and this and that. I'm like, "Dude, I'm good, man. What's going on? I'm fine." Like at this point, I'm fine now. And he's like, "You're not fine." I'm like, "Shawn, I'm good." I was like, "How's my face look?" He goes, "Dude, your face is fine, but your head's fucking bleeding." I'm like, "Dude, clean me up. Let's go back out." And
He
then,
said that.
And then Shawn goes, "God damn it," and just takes me to his apartment. So we just go back at his place.
I know the apartment. I've been.
I
I've
take a-
grown up in that apartment
take
many
a couple,
times.
take a couple Advil, drink a Coke, and I just watch TV till I pass out. Like we just go to bed.
That's a good time to do
So-
it. Yeah.
And here's like from my point of view, I woke up the next day and go, "Oh my God, there might be a dead guy on my apartment on my couch."
So
right now.
I get up, I come in his room, and I
There
knock.
might be
I'm
a
like, "Dude,
dead
my
guy on my
fucking-"
couch.
Like I don't really
from a
remember
head
the
injury.
night.
Like
Yeah.
he might have got split open. His bleeding out, fucked up. We were both fucked up.
We did
I
take
woke up-
selfies.
I
We took
remember,
selfies when
Like
we got
in
back.
that moment, I remember waking up and going, "Oh my God!" Like
This motherfucker might be dead for real.
my buddy might be. And I walked in there. and I go, "No,
No, I came in your bedroom. I walk in.
No,
your
I remember
room,
waking up
Came
and going
in your
out.
bedroom.
that did, no."
and I come in. I go, "Man, my fucking arm hurts." She goes, "Your goddamn arm? What about your fucking head?" Dude, my arm is swollen like I got the fucking
Yeah.
biggest triceps in the world. I'm like, dude, my fucking arm and ribs are killing me. My head
Yeah,
never.
you got a fucking brain injury.
And he
or something
texts me
like
and
that.
he goes,
And Sean's like, "I'm
"Yeah."
praying you're not fucking dead in here." So I had to go by John
that
Mike's,
was
have him look at my
rough,
head.
dude.
The best part is I go home, I have my dad look at it. He goes, "You're fine," and goes outside and cuts grass, and just look, "Yeah, you're fine." And my mom and me is like, "You need to go to the doctor."
That's the OG motherfucker that's been through some shit.
Yeah, he's seen some shit.
He's like, "You pussy."
Yeah, listen, the doctor, to be fair, after he glued my head together, took pictures of me in the wrap and shit, or like Lois was taking pictures, and he's like, "Email them to me." He had her fucking
fuck is
email
Lois?
the picture. John Michael's mom,
Lois?
Lois.
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 Don't you kind of miss like the generation before us? Like
do you mean?
We're back.
Like the hard ass, tough ass motherfucker. Like the dad.
Oh, yeah.
Like don't you kind of
They're
miss
tougher
that?
than we are. They're
Yeah.
way tougher.
Way
Yeah.
tougher.
My
We're
dad-
pussies compared
my
to them.
dad has
That's
broke his
accurate.
right arm 8 times.
Yeah.
His right arm, just his right arm, 8
Yeah.
times.
8 times?
8 times.
That's so many times.
And those guys will tell you
To
the
be fair, I can beat
generation
him
lot of
arm
times.
wrestling with the right hand.
and
Left hand, no
those
shot.
those guys are so respectful for the generation before them. Where it's like
Yeah, we've lost some of that. A lot of
Yeah,
that.
we have lost so much
A
of that.
lot of
we,
that.
for sure.
we've gotten.
I got a piss. I'll be back.
Go ahead.
Carry on.
We've gotten kind of pussified in a way.
We've gotten soft.
We've gotten soft.
Like
You
a
know-
pussy. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's kind of gotten to the point where like
pussy's very tough.
you know,
Very.
soft men create hard times. Hard times create
You're close.
you know where I'm going here. You know where I'm going here.
Hard times, hard men. Soft
Hard
times,
men,
easy
yeah.
times,
the
easy
whole,
men.
The
Yeah.
whole like circle of life thing going on, and it's kind of sad to look upon like the generation that's coming up next to us, and it's like, damn, dude, you almost like kind of feel sorry for them
A little bit, yeah.
in a way, because like social media really creates these like social. Like they
social standards.
Social standards, and they've really disassociated themselves in a way because of like TikTok and like Facebook and Instagram is where it's like, damn man, just I mean we're back in a way, but it's sad to see. I kind of feel sorry for them in a way.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think what it is too. Like social media really just amplifies everything. Like if you are already popular and stuff, more people see things.
Right, you might get
more of that
200,000
endorphin
views.
rush.
Yeah.
If you were kind of unseen, unheard, you just feel more unheard because there's more people looking at it. So it's some of that I think too, where it's like you feel smaller when you're small, and you feel like you're bigger than you are when you're
big.
A little bit of big. Yeah.
100%. It's sad when I think this is the toughest time. I mean, not necessarily like the toughest time to be a female, but like, obviously like the 60s when you're like, that's a whole nother discussion in itself. But like now it's like, damn man, you look at all these like Instagram models and all, like you can like easily like, the Kardashians kind of push these like
unrealistic
Brazilian butt lifts.
Because think about this: how many girls do you see now? Not even just on Instagram, like out in public, fake lips, fake tits,
fake eyelashes.
They got a fake ass, like if it's implant, fake eyelashes that they drew them or tattooed. Like everything is fake nails. Everything is fake. So much makeup. Like there is nothing appreciated about being who you are. You have to amplify and enhance everything.
Yeah.
And it's just like, man, like that's rough.
It's too much, man.
It's
like when I like.
You watch porn lately? Listen, when I went to Germany,
I'm stuck, step bro.
Hold on. When I went to Germany, do you know how many fake lips I saw and fake tits?
Now, describe fake lips.
Like lip injections. Like we're like the
the
Kylie Jenner. Like
stuck, step bro.
like when you went to Italy, I'm curious. Did you happen to see any fake tits and fake lips? Because like when I was over there, I saw so many fake lips and a lot of fake tits too. Like over here,
type shit.
yeah. But like over here, you see a lot of fake asses, right? And
Right.
fake
Yes,
lips.
absolutely, yeah,
But it
for
was
sure.
so many fake lips and tits, and it was just like, dude, it's not attractive. It's
I'll be
not.
honest,
It's not even
I
a
saw,
good
I
look.
saw a lot of fake tits, not very many fake lips, but I saw so many bitches that were smoking cigarettes.
Yeah, a lot of
Really?
a lot of darts. A lot of darts
like,
over there.
You couldn't find a single attractive woman that wasn't smoking cigarettes, which made her not attractive.
Yeah,
Really?
a lot of cigarettes.
A lot of
It's all
Real-
it's
real
all
regular.
cigarettes.
It's so strange, man.
I'll be honest. Like the entire time I was gone, I saw 3 girls that I thought were like, man, she's hot. Like,
And then she
honestly.
pulled out a cigarette.
No. Like it was like I saw 3. Like the whole time I was there, I was like, wow, like she's. Whereas like if you go out here, you could see 3 girls.
just get all.
And so like
I tried to learn. There was this chick in Hungary, who spoke Hungarian, dude.
That makes
I mean,
sense.
I'm talking stacked, huge real tits.
What you mean by stacked?
I mean, huge fake tits.
I need,
he was
like,
he was getting
visuals.
on. He was
huge
getting
big
to
ass.
It,
Like she was fine. Like she was in shape. She had like some Gymshark leggings
need
on that were all the way
visuals
up
of-
her
Oh,
ass.
Gymshark, I'm in.
I need visuals of
I
stack.
didn't take a picture of her. I'm sorry.
No.
I need visual and stack. It's him.
Yeah,
He just dropped like
she was
a
like
pop.
no. She was like 5'9". She had
That's tall.
easily D natural tits. She had Gymshark leggings on her all the way up her ass. Her like both cheeks were like easily like you could see like the how far it was
Each
going
individual
for her ass crack.
jiggle.
Yeah, you could see all the jiggle. But she was like in shape, and she worked at like a pizzeria. And I was like, oh my god. Like, I
my
tried.
God,
Like
this bitch should be doing
while
way
we're sitting
more in
there eating
America.
pizza, I'm like, how do I say you're beautiful in fucking
You'd have
Hungarian?
a- you'd
I'm
have
fucking
a-
Google
How do I hit on this bitch? in
She's got a
America?
wedding ring on. I'm like, I don't care. Like, and like, even Alex, like, you got a girlfriend. I'm like, she'll understand this. Like, she'll get it. I gotta do the fuck I
Sorry,
want. Okay?
Jenny.
I don't give a shit.
She'll understand this.
Listen, we have a rule. A different continent, no rules.
It's fine. We have a rule. There's no rules.
Yeah. First rule is there's no rules. Second rule is a different continent.
Second rule, sorry.
He said, I have a girlfriend. She'll understand this.
Listen,
This big ass bitch.
I told her this. I'm like, dude, when you see a girl that hot,
Literally.
listen, it's like this. Like, everyone has a list, no matter who it is.
Hold on.
Like,
So what if Jenny saw a bitch or a motherfucker that was that fine? Like, would
get
you-
it, man. If you can get it, get it. Because here's the thing. If you
John
can,
Mayer.
get it. Fuck this shit out of John Mayer. Then I can be like, dude, I fucked the bitch.
Okay,
and fucked
time
John
out.
Mayer.
We're here.
John Mayer thought she was hot
I
enough
want
to...
to talk about a hypothetical that my buddy has brought up on me. Okay, this might not mean much to you.
All right. I like it already.
Because you don't have a person that you love dearly that is like specific to you. We've
I know
gotten
where this
here.
is going.
Like,
I know where this is going.
but you, definitely, and me, myself. My buddy said, okay, would you let your significant other, a fucking extremely old man, for 2 years for $5 million?
Yep.
No.
100%. Rag it out. 5 mil? We can do a lot with 5
Well,
mil.
hold on. I guess I said no too
My
soon.
dick's going to be better than his. Come on, let's go.
I said no too. I said no too soon.
You did.
What are the conditions? Like, are they, is it just like they have to?
Daily?
They had to spend 2 years with
We're,
him.
we're working on that. Let's just work with what I asked you. Would you let your significant other fuck?
Well, there's all. There's gotta be
no.
questions.
I'm asking you, man to man. Would you let your significant other fuck a 75-year-old man for 2 years for $5 million?
But they're still like fucking.
No,
No, hold on. But like, they're still
It's
in
a
a
yes or no
relationship.
question.
They're still in a relationship with me.
Yeah,
They're still fucking. Yeah, absolutely.
you would.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. What if she said no?
$5 million?
Yeah.
I don't...
What if she said no?
That's fine.
I
That's up to her.
devalue sex. Like, I think the older you get, the less you value sex. It's not that important.
It depends on like.
To be fair, I've spent the last decade being a slut. So
I'm
sex
Okay.
is devalued to me a bit.
okay. I
It's
can
not
get
that
with that.
important.
I can get
Like,
with that.
I'm not trying to date
What about you?
the...
You have the perfect person that's for you.
Sure, yeah, do it. Because here's my thing. I don't care if I'm... whatever the
5 million,
situation
2
is.
years.
Okay, let's.
There's always a list of people
we're
that
gonna
like...
find this comp here in a minute.
But here's the thing. There's always, for me at least, there's always a list of people. I'm like, listen, if the opportunity ever presented itself, I'm in 100%. Like, and you have to accept that as my partner, whoever you are. You know what I mean?
So,
like,
every day for 2 years? Is that
sure,
the question?
whatever.
No,
once a
it's
week,
just
once
like
a month. I don't give a shit.
all you have to do as a human being.
I just
is
don't
go,
want to eat it after.
All you have
That's
to
fair.
do is like.
You just know about it.
I know this sounds bad, but like you go, okay.
You got to watch it.
Now, oh
Different game
man,
changer,
that's
game
a
changer.
whole
I don't
other
wanna see
level,
her-
baby.
No, what's the frill? The
But it's
frill
like
situation.
okay, well, to me, it's like okay, well, she has to agree to it,
Yeah, obviously. Yeah,
100%.
for sure.
Like okay,
Nope.
like, and no matter what, she comes back to you in 2 years.
Oh, so she's not with you for the 2 years.
Yeah, she's gone.
Oh, then no.
Now, do I get to do what I want during those 2 years?
No.
So you have to
No.
be loyal to her.
Yes.
Oh, then no. Obviously not.
Okay, 10 million.
There's
No,
a number
definitely
for
not.
sure. 5 mil works.
There's a
I'll take
number.
it. Cash after tax? Yeah, I'll take it. Whatever. Do you think? baby?
Okay, I expected you to say that, but you.
$5
$5 million. You can do whatever.
That's a lot of money.
After that, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
It's $5 million.
You can quit your job. What the fuck is health insurance? You
$5
got
million is not enough to quit your job. 10 million, yeah,
Yeah, there's definitely a
$5
number.
million is enough to quit
Like
your job.
5 mil for 2 years?
but
That's
not
fine
like
with me.
not like safely. Like 5 million, are you going to be like, especially like at our age, 30 or less? You're 30.
Yeah, but here's the thing, if you
You're 30, right?
invest it
I'm not, he is.
correctly,
You're about 30, right?
I'm
I'm just checking.
29.
I'm just checking.
You
You're
ain't
about 30.
30.
So
If you 30, I'm 30.
We both 30. Unfortunately. I don't like it either.
Y'all are both 30. I was just checking. So y'all are both 30. 30 or less. $5 million. You can live comfortably, but like you can't. It's not like fuck you.
Comfortably.
Well, here's the thing. Think
That's
about-
not fuck
You
you.
rich as fuck, dude.
No,
that's $5
not,
million.
That's not fuck you money though.
It is fuck you money.
It's
Think
not
about
fuck you
hold on,
money.
think about
It
this.
is.
Bryant, listen.
$5 million is fuck you money.
We all make, 100K or less a year, right?
Yeah.
Sure.
100K a year at 1 million is 10 years. 5 mil would be 50 years.
Sure.
at $100,000 a year. So that's more than you make at a regular job.
Absolutely,
So
yes.
that is definitely enough to
That's fuck
live
you money.
a regular life.
That's fuck you money.
Your house is paid
Yeah,
for.
100%
Your bills
fuck
are
you money.
paid. Like, sure, you're not fucking private jetting to X, but you're living a regular life.
You
You
also
can't do stupid shit, but you
Sure.
can do
You also
stupid
gotta
shit.
you also gotta consider though. You think $5 million, like you want to do stupid shit.
You don't. But here's the thing. Like, you could work.
What's your first step with $5 million? You have it right now. What's your first step?
Listen, I'm irresponsible. You don't have an answer.
To me,
That's why I'm asking you. What's your
Okay.
first step?
Go ahead. Go ahead.
My first, like, here's the thing. Do I want it to last or not?
The love of your life. It's
You
fucking
do.
a seven.
You got $5 million. You want it to last. What's your first step?
Well, first of all, I'm gonna let her. Like, how much of that do I get to blow? You did the work. You took the dick.
Because you
Like,
gotta
how,
give it-
how much of that do I get to blow?
Exactly.
We're a
That's
partnership.
Fair. That's fair.
So really,
Now,
you're spending like fucking less, probably half. We'll say half at minimum.
okay, so you got 2.5.
Listen, I'm
So
good.
now that's not enough to retire on.
2.5 is a lot of fuck. That's fuck you money. 2.5 is fuck
That's
you money.
not enough to
for
retire
a,
on.
for a
No,
regular life in
2.5.
South Carolina. You're fine. You're
It's
good.
not-
You're
enough to retire
fucking
on.
good. In South Carolina, 2.5 is like,
Listen,
okay,
That's not enough to retire
I'll
on.
pay for my
What do you mean?
house.
That's easily.
Okay, I have
Brian,
2.4 million.
easily
2.3
$100K a
million.
year for 25
Dude,
years.
there's
100K
60-year-old
a year.
men that have $2 million in their fucking bank
I
account.
don't
understand
care
that.
what
Listen,
the
That's
numbers
not
are.
enough to retire
They're
on.
living
Yes,
stupid.
it is.
What are you gonna do different if you had $2.5 million from now? Nothing.
No.
You know what you're gonna do?
That's
You're gonna,
fine.
listen, I don't have to work. My bills are paid, and I get to fucking drink and
Time
fuck
out.
off
You
and
have
have
to
fun.
you have to live smart.
How
though.
long would it take you to make 2.5 million without spending any
You
of
have
it?
to live smart. with that
I'm
money.
willing to bet that.
Okay,
most,
but then you can
Here's
like make money.
But
while
you don't know how
have
to
that
live like
money.
you don't know how to
I'm
live
willing
that
to
way.
bet that most people don't make $2.5 million in their lifetime.
Yes, cheers.
In their
to
lifetime.
that. Cheers to
Absolutely,
that, for sure.
absolutely.
In-
Not. I'll
in-
share
in-
that.
in a lifetime.
That's fuck you money, dude.
So
2.5
yes,
is
it's-
fuck you
listen,
money. It's not fuck
it's
you money.
not
It is.
do whatever you want for the rest of your life money.
No.
But it's like, hey, listen, I don't have to worry about bills anymore.
Yes.
Everything.
But you have to fucking. You
don't.
have to. You have to.
You
worry,
can work-
You have to
Hey,
worry about building that money. You
a
have
bad
to learn.
day- Hey.
You have to learn a whole new concept of
'cause
building money.
Can't, yeah,
don't,
for sure.
Because
but
you can
that's
still look
fine.
at it
I'll
as
take
like,
that.
hey, man,
I'm
I've
fine-
got
I'm cool with
50
that.
to 100K a year that I know are coming for the next 25 years that I don't have to do anything.
Yes.
I don't have to do anything. Like, it's
That's
freedom
retirement.
more than anything.
Your
It's
retirement's not
freedom.
going to bring that in. You working
that's
25 years. If you work 25 years right now, making $100,000 a year, okay.
You're not even bringing that
But
home.
now you take that now, you have 25 years.
So are you
Of
doing
that.
it? Are you doing it then? Are you doing it?
Am I doing it? If she's okay with it, I'll sacrifice my.
But
meal
do you
piece.
value that money for those 2 years?
I don't value
It,
sex
de-
that
it
much.
depends
It's not
on my
important.
partner.
Like,
it's
listen,
all my partner.
here's my other
But you
thing,
can't
too.
do anything else.
That's okay. Whatever.
You
Like,
can't have that companionship.
Here's
I
the-
expected you to say yeah for sure.
Yeah, but like, it's because it's not that important. It
But
really
hold
isn't.
on. Are you including the companionship? You can't have a companionship with another female either.
Oh no! All you have is your right hand. You can't
Cool,
fuck
man.
anybody else. You can,
Look, I've
it's,
dated
it's
a girl
you
and
jerking
didn't-
off for
That's
2
fine.
years.
The sex is fine.
That's
but the
one thing.
companionship is a different thing.
To me,
I'm happier alone though. So like, it's not
Are
fair
you?
for me. I am.
right now, I
If
get
you
You're
what
happier
you're
alone
saying.
because you're having companionship with other women.
No. I mean,
No,
like
you are,
No,
though.
listen to me. Like, if I don't see another woman and just get to fuck off and do things that I like, I could easily
die
do
for
that
the cause,
forever.
is what he's
I can
saying.
easily because here I've done this for over a year. Like when I was dating Kayla, she had some shit in her previous relationship where like we were
Frivolous.
we weren't intimate for like well over a year, right?
Like sexual.
Yeah, at all.
Okay, sure.
Like kisses and that was
A
it.
year. Holy fuck.
Well over a year.
say
Well
that
over a
again?
year. And I was fucking 27 or 8 at the time.
Right.
So I was like, but it doesn't bother me. It doesn't matter. Like as long as I'm happy and doing things that I like the physical shit's not that important. And I think you learn that the older you get, or maybe just for me, I devalue it a little bit. I don't care that much.
But like that's
Like it's
what I'm
cool,
saying.
but like think about it.
No,
How many times? I'm being at you, but like how many times have you jerked off before you went out on a date with a girl and go, I really don't want to go see her. that post nut clarity is a real thing.
gotta happen,
Like
yeah.
you jerk off and
I'm
go
not-
like I
that's what I'm
really
saying,
didn't
though.
want to do that bad.
I'm not
So,
talking
like,
about. I'm not talking about the physical stuff. I'm talking about the stuff that's like.
But that's what I'm
I
saying. It's like,
expected you to say that.
but like
I'm
seriously,
talking
like,
about
if
the
you
situations where
get
you
around out,
want
I don't care.
you want to have the fucking companionship. You want to be around this woman. I
think
it
that
doesn't
most-
matter about the sex. Regardless of the sex,
I
you
think
can't
the
have that
most
happen.
important thing
Can you have that
is-
happen with that situation?
for you, I think the most important thing is like once you find mental peace with someone, where it's like, oh man, I'm like, I really have mental peace with someone. And it's like we really have a good like have a thing going, like mentally, like, and not even sexually. That's like we really have a thing going mentally, and it's like we have a good time every time we go out. We have a good time. I expected you to say that. I'm very curious because you and Gabby have a
great relationship.
A great relationship, and you have, you're grounded. You're both. You both have that mental peace, and it's like,
my question is, can I find that companionship regardless of sex?
Are you willing to sacrifice that mental peace for $2.5 million?
No, that's what I'm saying. Is it mental peace? Like, can I go like find another woman that I can have companionship with without sex? Can I have that with another woman?
Because let's be honest,
I'm asking you the question.
You said what? Say it again.
I don't think you need.
Can I find that mental peace with another woman?
But see, I think you're looking at it.
I can't interact with other women.
I agree with you, Chris.
Because it's not like
you're not listening though.
If you're looking at this situation,
can I find that mental peace with another woman?
Right,
I don't think you have to.
Because I think
I'm asking, can that happen during this situation?
I mean, you can find mental peace with anybody in the world. So yes,
can I interact with other women? Like
no.
Let's
just say you have to find mental peace within yourself,
question.
which is I think is much easier. Because here's my thing: I find I'm happiest alone usually. Like if I could go a whole week and only see other people 2 days a week, that's a good week for me. I don't like to be around other people that much, right? That's just my personality.
You're a solo kind of guy, though.
Hey, listen, I will go to the movies, go eat by myself. I'll go fucking travel out of state by myself. I'll go on flights by myself. I don't give a shit.
I'll pass.
You said no? $5 million?
No.
I like that, though.
You said, well, realistically, you have to share it with the person, so.
Right.
What, $10 million?
That's $5 million.
I'm sure there's a number. Listen, there's a number we were going to say yes. I don't know what
that means you don't have to work a day in your fucking life.
After the 2 years, though. That's like a fucking 2 years of.
You can't suffer
probably
2 years
a
of
fucking
hell
really shitty 2 years.
Okay.
I can jack off for 2 years.
That's not what you said, though.
You can't sacrifice.
That's not what you said, though.
Right.
Yeah,
but hear me.
No, what I said was as long
as
my partner agrees to it, I'm cool with it.
But I asked you the part of like companionship. You said no.
You don't need that though.
But you do.
I mean, listen,
it's easy for you to say that because you have it.
No. But like, what I mean is like, if there's a timeline on
what's the price? What's the price? What's the comp? You tell me.
But listen, if there's a timeline on like forever, no, that's miserable. But
I mean,
if you go, hey, listen,
money,
for the next
money really worth that much?
What the amount?
That's a good question.
Listen, everyone's amount's different. But if they go, hey, Bryant, $1 billion, would you do it for 2 years?
Quit your job, do whatever.
Same thing as $2 million.
Time out. You can quit your job, do whatever the fuck you want for the rest of your life.
It's more of a thought experiment than anything, rather than the amount. But it's just like
you don't have to go in. You can drink beer.
Here's the thing: if
day
you didn't have to work, what would you do? If
matter.
money wasn't
and
a
so
thing
can
to
she.
you, what would you do every day?
You're both talking.
Hold on. Sorry. Let's change the subject a little bit, but on the same thing. If Gabby still had to go to work every day,
sure,
right? But you didn't. Like for the rest of your life, from today on, like for whatever reason, you inherited some money, you got some money somehow. Like, what would you do every day while she went to work and stuff? Like, she still had to go to work for whatever reason. What would you do every day to kind of fill your time and to fulfill yourself
day
to
I would still
day?
work. I wouldn't work like where I'm at now. I mean, like
how about this? Let's say you had $1 billion. What would you do? Where like work wasn't a thing where you're like, I
would
have to
still
go to
work.
You would still work.
My dream is to like. It's not money is like irrelevant for me.
Right.
Like obviously money like would fucking.
That's
but you would still work.
Money would fuel whatever the fuck.
A lot of people would think that that's the most craziest idea.
Because
there's a lot of poverty in this world.
Money would be like, oh yes, it makes it way easier to do everything I want to do.
Okay.
But like realistically, my values are to make like fucking people better. Like I fight, I train fighters. I want to make the best fighters I can. But also I'm not like it's also children fighters, so I want to make these children grow up to be good adults. I want to make the world better because of making fucking good.
You'll
children.
have more time to do that if you have $2.5 million.
Well, I agree with
bank,
you, but it's also like it's hard to do that without having mental peace myself.
And you'll have a paid off car, a paid off house.
But I didn't have that now.
Well, you don't have a paid off house. Is what I'm saying.
I mean that's fine, but like I have that. I feel like that mental peace comes from the benefit of being with Gabby.
Yeah.
I get that clarity through being with the person I'm with.
Because, like, for me,
that's what makes this a good hypothetical.
I don't know. Like, even now, like, I honestly don't know what I want to do with my life still. Right? I'm 30. I have no fucking idea what the fuck I want to do. Okay. Money's not an issue. I don't care. I've bought and sold 3 houses now.
Money's not an issue.
Like, money's not an issue. It's not now. But I still don't know what the fuck I want to do. I'm still miserable sometimes because I go, man, like, I'll wake up because Monday through I don't go to work. I work 6 days a month. right?
Sure. Yeah.
I have a lot of free time.
What do you do?
I gamble.
Gamble. What you mean by
baby.
gamble?
Listen, man, you ever count the cards? You ever seen 21?
I've seen 21.
You know,
Yeah.
listen, you can beat casinos, and mathematically, I've figured it out a little bit.
Oh man.
Here we
Let's
go. Let's go, baby. Let's go. What tell us about it.
I mean, listen, man, you know, you can beat casinos.
So you hold on. You gamble for a living.
Quit my job. I've quit for. Listen, I was running the branch in Charleston for Coca-Cola. I was making quite a bit. Just wasn't fucking happy. So I quit. I'm doing this now. I've done it for over a year. I've made more over the last year than I did in any financial year. So like things are fine. Like you still realize that like you still got to find ways to figure your time. What do you want to do still? And I don't have that answer still. But boy, I've tried a lot of fucking shit.
Yeah. And I wanna say that like where I find my mental peace is I make great money where I work. You know, I'm not gonna complain about my living situation or anything like that. But the thing I find the most joy in is building other people's minds.
Mm-hmm.
Like
I like that.
And that's awesome.
And the way I'm at in my life is like I've been very the word I'm looking for. What's the fucking word I'm looking for? I've been very like good. I have had a very good hand.
You're fortunate.
I'm very fortunate.
good
Yeah,
hand.
that's the
Yeah,
word.
it's
Yeah,
good hand.
I've had a very fortunate life, and so bless you.
Bless you, I burped.
That's what I said. I said
bless
bless
you
you.
for
You
sneezes.
can say thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're
I
welcome.
guess.
So, so I've had a very fortunate life. You know, I'm in a great spot where I'm at right now. But you know, the money isn't the most thing to me right now. It's the values that I can input into other people.
And that's it.
And the reason that is so great to me is because I know the values they'll put in other people will be beneficial to the world at some point.
See, here's the weird thing. Most people, I think, want to have kids at some point, right? Like, I know you and Heather will have kids at some point, right? And I imagine you and Gabby at some point will want to have children as well. Like me, I don't want kids. At no point in my life.
Now, why do you say that? Is that because you are an only child? Like,
probably has something to do with it. I just don't
He's gay.
see.
And he likes fucking guys in the ass.
I don't see a value in having kids almost.
explain.
So like people want to have kids, and right or wrong, I look at it as people want to have kids because they didn't do things that they wanted to do. They want their children to be great, and you always tell your kids you can be anything, you can do anything, and that's the truth. Like, you know, my parents told me that, your parents have told you that you can do anything you want, and that's the right thing to say. But I'm selfish. I want to continue to do different things.
Isn't that a product of being an only child?
Maybe.
Selfish?
But like
Maybe
I
a
don't
beer.
I don't feel like I'm an only child sometimes though, just because like I said, me and DJ and Joe Michael have been together since we were little. Like DJ, I mean, he lost his mom when he was at my house, him and his sister.
I remember that.
So it's just one of those things where like having kids for me is one of those things where I've never really put a lot in it because I always kind of look at it and go like, what do I want to do? Like, what are the things that I want to go explore? What are the things that I want to go see? And I almost look at kids like a hindrance to some of that. And that's probably not the right way to look at it. You know, I'm sure kids are
No,
great and
is,
fine.
like, the way you look at it is the way you look at it.
Right.
It's not right or
Why
wrong.
do you think it's not a? Why do you think it's a hindrance?
Because, like, if you have a kid, you should at least make that your primary focus. Because I look at it like this. Like, I love my dog to death. Right?
Yeah, right.
I love my dog. There's nothing that I wouldn't do for my dog. I can't imagine the love you would have for a kid when I love my dog as much as I love my dog.
Right.
I'm going to love a kid more than I love that.
For sure.
Right? I just don't want that. Like, I couldn't, like, next week, I'm going to take off. I'm going to be gone from Tuesday to Sunday next week. I'm doing 4 different states and next week alone. I can leave my dog with my parents for the week and not feel bad about it because they're going to give him treats and he's going to fucking sleep a lot because he's old. I can't leave a kid with your parents for the fucking week or 2 weeks out of a month when you're going around and gallivanting and being selfish. Like, when you have a kid, that should be your primary focus. Your life should change drastically when you have a
You
kid.
know,
I agree with that. 100%.
you know,
It should.
you and I mean, we had talked about it before, you know, earlier in this podcast. It's like we're the last of our class.
Last of Mohicans.
The last of the Mohicans. You and I have. I mean, as far as like, okay, there's the incels of our class. You know, that's one thing, but
Name them.
People that have their shit together that
but
don't have
there's
kids.
the people who.
No, name the incels.
To me, you know, you and I have seen eye to eye on that. Like I have agreed with you with that whole spill you just put out there for the longest time, and it's like, to me, I think that you just haven't met the right person. Like once you meet that right person, you're like, oh my god, like we really mesh well. Like we really feel like, and you say that, but you really haven't experienced like the person who is like.
Well, here's my thing.
Like mesh well with you.
I want to stop you before you say that.
And once you meet that person, because I was the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Like in my 28, even when I was with Heather, I was like, you know, we may go the distance, but I don't know if I want to have kids.
Right.
But
He's going the distance.
going for speed. But I don't think that like you really truly know until you meet the person, like your soulmate, like your true person that you want to be with. You're like, oh man, I kind of want to see what happens when like I put a mini me out there and I get to like influence them in a way and like kind of put my own spin on it. And it's like, I kind of want to see what happens when I get with a person who has like we mesh well. Like me, like Heather and I really mesh well, and I'm starting to think about kids now, and I've never thought about that in the past 30 years.
So what I want to say is, I feel like Chris is to the point where he doesn't want to find that companionship because he has so much he wants to explore in the world. And
See,
and tell me if I'm wrong.
okay.
But like, I feel like he wants to explore so much in the world, like Germany, for instance. He can go into Germany and experience Germany for what it is as an American.
And Oktoberfest.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. But he can't experience that if he's a married man. And
Sure you can.
yeah, exactly. Well, you can, but like not the same exact way, you know?
I mean, the only difference between being married in a relationship and not when you travel is just you can't fuck random hoes. Like,
And
that's really the only difference.
And I feel like that's what you value.
No, because here's the thing. Like, don't get me wrong. Slutting around is so much fun.
It can only last so
But
long.
look, it's so much fun. But here's the thing that no one tells you is like, it's fun until it's not.
Yeah.
You wake up one day and you go, it's just
Exactly.
not that much fun anymore. It's just not, and you don't know why. Nothing changed.
Yeah.
Nothing's different.
It's the same shit.
But it's not fun
over and
anymore.
over, yeah.
And like, I'm in the best relationship I've ever been in. Like, she's a wonderful person. She's by far the best.
Jenny was a friend of mine.
Yeah. She's by far the best
all.
person I've ever
Killers.
dated. Like, as a whole, like, if I were gonna have kids, like that's the person.
Like you want to go
have kids
sailboat
with.
racing.
Well,
yeah, I did
like what happens like
Because here's the thing, because like for me, when I look at it, I go, I want someone who wants to do everything that is best for the kid you're gonna have. You want the best education, you want the best opportunities, you want the most access and exposure for that kid, just to let them figure out what it is that they want to do. Right?
Good.
I feel like I'm there. Like she's a teacher, great things, great person, by far the best person I've dated. But I just don't want kids. Like nothing about having kids interests me at all. Like there's nothing you can like. Oh, having this. Like even today, Jesse brought me his little baby girl, Everly. She's fucking a few months old.
you know what I think it is?
I feel nothing. I think kids are stupid. Jesse, I love you. Your kid's stupid, and I didn't like her. I'm just being honest though. Like
Well, why is that?
Because he's
Why
the
do
only
you want a
child.
kid?
I honestly think it's because he's the
And
only
it
child.
might-
I don't
might
think
be.
that's it.
I think it's it.
But like,
That's it.
I don't want a kid. I've seen so much horse shit. Like, why would I want to bring a kid?
Personally,
You
can
think?
I-
Oh,
can I
I
s-
want to hear what you're going with that.
go
So
ahead.
yeah, like here's the thing. Like you look at it.
Why
Like,
would you want to bring a kid?
how does that? Like think about this. Like you can be a good person,
Sure.
and then you can have. This is gonna be fucked.
No, keep going. We have all those.
You can have a mentally handicapped kid.
Sure.
Do you know how long I would spend the rest of my life cursing God and trying to find a way to kill God for giving me a handicapped kid?
Do you believe in God?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. I mean, I love my little Jesus piece. I have this my grandma gave me.
No. Do you believe in Jesus Christ?
I do. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know about that. Like I think there is something. There's something more. There's something. Like it's not all random.
For sure. Yeah. Right.
It can't.
But
be all
we're
fucking
talking
random.
about like the kid thing. Like
But like for me, How can you have a God that will have kids in a cancer? Have you ever been to St. Francis and seen kids with cancer? Do you know how fucking heartbreaking that is to go like, listen, I could do everything right. I could be a good person, have a kid, and they have cancer, and they die at 7, and the entire 7 years they were alive, they were in the cancer ward. They went through chemo. They went through radiation. How is that fair or right?
And
how
exactly.
can I
That's why I don't
believe in a
believe in
God?
Jesus Christ.
How can I believe in a God that thinks that's okay when we talk about a peaceful, merciful God? I can't believe in that.
I agree.
And
100%.
if I ever get to a gate and I have questions, you can send me to hell
Yeah.
and that's fine. But I have questions. How are you going to
think about North
kids?
Korea, people who have never even heard of Jesus
I
Christ.
can't
and God.
I can't get on board. Like, and here's the other thing.
Yeah, for sure.
How can let's just look at like the Muslim community. In like Christianity, they talk about if you're not a Christian, if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, you're going to hell.
Right.
So everyone that was born in a Muslim religion, that's the only thing they've ever known, heard, they're going to rot in hell because that's what they were brought up, and that's the only thing they ever
Yes.
knew. I can't get down with that.
I'm 100% agree with you.
And
where I come from is I don't know that I believe in a direct Christian God because of those exact reasons.
Yeah.
But I feel like there's definitely like some kind of God out there. There's
There's
like
a
some kind of
creator.
there's some kind of balance out there with a God. You know, whatever we want to say it is.
Okay,
but like
well,
I'm not
go
done.
ahead, I'm sorry.
But it's not like there's definitely some kind of balance.
There
Where,
has
like,
to be.
It's not like, you know, exactly Christianity where they say like you said
Right.
in North Korea where there's fucking th've never heard of God and you know
and they
they're
die,
just gonna go to
and
hell.
they're condemned to hell
Exactly.
for
But
the eternity.
I don't think it's. I think
what
there's
kind
some
of God
kind
is that?
But here's my thing,
I think
too,
there's
though.
some kind of balance in between the way we all believe.
Okay, well, what kind of God do you like? What do you think?
Well,
is
I'm not
the-
sure.
well,
That's
well,
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So when Grandma died, I remember being in the room shortly before she passed, and she was talking about how she saw angels in the room. She could see her dad. He was talking to her, and like she was just saying this sort of out of her fucking mind, right? I just remember sitting there thinking, like, man, I wonder what death is like because my grandma's been religious her entire life. So like, I wonder when you're there, when you're at death's door, like,
Right.
is that different for everybody? Is it just like an endorphin rush that whatever you hope and believe is there to kind of comfort you into the next part?
Right. Like if you're,
sure.
yeah.
Or is it like, is that real though? Because like that fucks with me sometimes. I go, man, she said she saw angels in the room. She was sitting there talking out of her eyes like, hey, I see these angels.
Like
God is here.
when that
and
day
my
comes, do you
dad's
start
here.
hallucinating to your own beliefs?
Right.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what that's like, but like that's the part. Cause like I said, she bought this necklace from my uncle when he was 15. He gave it to me when I was 26, and then she bought the little cross thing for him before she died. So that's why I wear it all the time. I don't really believe in God that much, but it's like,
Okay.
I don't know. Like seeing that shit will make you go, I don't fucking know.
And you know, there's a guy that I work with. He's a very religious guy, and he talks about, you know, whenever he was our age, y'all's age, he didn't really believe in like he kind of grew up with that stuff, and he didn't really believe in it too much. But like that faith kind of came on to him at a later age, and it's like, is that just because like our faith is not a thing that faith is very questionable.
Right.
You're gonna question what the fuck you believe in all the time.
But also, I just hate it when you can be a shitbag your entire life, and then when you're dying, you go, okay, I'm sorry, forgive me, and things are okay.
That's bullshit.
It's not,
For sure, and that's
you can't do a life of bullshit and be like, well, I'm sorry at the end,
and
things
that's
are
the
okay.
whole.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
bullshit.
I agree with that.
That's the more bullshit. So I don't know, but
The thing.
But for me,
Go ahead.
for kids, though, going back to it, like that's another reason that I will never have kids is because like I could have a kid and then something could be wrong. And there's not to say anything there's wrong with kids that have disabilities. But like, man, I don't want a kid with a disability. I don't know that I could love a kid with a disability. I would hate my fucking self all the time. I'd be mad
So to
all the
me-
time.
It'd be hard because
I would
like,
be mad all the time. Like,
Yeah.
listen, the guys that can do that and the women that can do that, like, God bless you guys. Cool.
So are you scared to have a kid because of a disability, or are you?
No, that's a reason. That's a factor. That's definitely a factor.
That's always a factor, but like.
Oh, that's definitely more of a
When
factor
you
for
meet
me.
the person that you love truly, like deep as a human being, I don't think that it like you're like to me. I'm willing to risk having a baby with someone to like. I'm willing to risk having a baby with a human being to like create like my own like to progress me as to progress me as a person. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah, it does.
progress that generation.
Here's one thing.
Yes,
I have
yes, yeah.
I have no doubts that if I did have a kid, like I would be a good dad. Because I'm like, again,
Oh
I
yeah,
agree with that.
I think
Cool.
cool. I
like,
think you would.
I
be a
would
great
have to make
dad.
the shift. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I have a kid.
Yeah, just think, and I
But-
would say the same the way John Michael did.
Yeah,
he
John
fucking
Michael-
took
John
that
Michael had a
shift.
He was like, fuck, I'm a dad.
I gotta do it
I
now.
gotta do
Yeah,
it now.
exactly. Yeah.
Like, I think that shift should happen,
Shout out-
and
shout out
it does
John
happen
Michael.
to most people. You know
Fizz
what I mean? Where,
Nation, baby, what's
they,
up?
They look at things
Shout out
and they
Fizz
go, like,
Nation as a
things
dad.
are just different now.
Yeah.
But I don't. I'm good. I know how to actively avoid
be
that
honest.
situation.
hold on, pause.
Go ahead.
Shout out again, like really shout out
Fuck
to
you, John
fucking
Michael.
cheers to John Michael
fuck
for
you.
being a
You
fucking
didn't come to
great
the
dad.
wedding today.
No,
You know
fuck
how many
you.
times Josh
Cheers
was
to
in the
that
hospital?
shit.
You didn't come to the
baby.
wedding. You're a bitch.
Cheers to John Michael.
I'm gonna come
being a
talk
great
shit
dad.
to you
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Okay.
Good dad.
Fuck,
I'm gonna be honest with you, Chris. I think you're a product of your environment,
Probably.
and I think that you being a single child
Mm-hmm.
is why you think the way you think.
Probably, yeah. Like,
So
well, here's the
what-
thing.
so
we're
what-
I'm not
all
saying
the-
that's a bad thing or a good thing. I just think that it is what it is.
Well, my thing is this too. Like, 'cause I look at it like my mom more than anything changed quite a bit from the way she was to the way she is when I was born, right?
Okay.
And I feel like I would have that type of shift if I had a kid, because it's you look at it and go, I'm a parent now. Like it's time to grow up a little bit.
Yeah.
How many people do we know now that are like parents that are like, man, you're kind of a shitty parent. Like you see your kid.
Oh, just
Oh,
once a
absolutely.
week,
most
like,
most
so like,
most of
these
them.
things are more important
Yeah.
than your kid are, and it shouldn't be that way. But like it's one of those things where like I look at it and I just don't see any value for me for having a kid. Like I don't see a kid that could add anything to my life.
See, for me, I think that is a selfish thought. I
Well,
really
and-
do, and I think that selfish thought is what do you want to say? Mixed because of you being a single
Well, I
child.
think where that comes from is like the same thing we were talking about with a relationship. What do you value in a relationship?
To
what does
me-
what does he value in his life? That's not what he.
What do
values
you
in his life.
value in life?
That's not it.
Listen,
the
I mean,
children
honestly,
is
I
not
value
it.
Yeah.
honesty
But
more than
not
anything.
yet. But not yet.
But not yet, exactly. But like right now, he's saying that he doesn't value that.
like,
and like, hold on. But that's what you value in your life. And that's
Because
what
I
you
have
say.
stability.
Sure, but he doesn't value that.
He doesn't have stability
That's
in
fine
a relationship
though.
yet.
But he's saying he doesn't value like.
I feel like I do.
But you get what
Well,
I'm
here's
saying
the-
though.
like-
right now you do, but like how long have you been dating Jenny?
3 years.
Okay, 3 years in, I was like, no, I'm not having kids.
Well, here's
I
my
mean,
thing.
you know me.
Sure. But here's my
That's
thing.
why we're here.
Most girls don't make it past a year for me.
Okay.
Look, I've only had
how does
two
Jenny, how
girls
does
that
Jenny
I've
feel?
dated for more than a year.
How does Jenny feel about kids?
Oh, she definitely wants kids, but she knows I don't.
So
I bet
Like, again,
she
she's
can
a
wait.
teacher.
If I
She's
was
a teacher. Like
if I was, go ahead.
her entire purpose, she feels like, is to be a teacher, to educate, to help the next generation. Like
Jenny,
that's important.
If you're
for her.
listening
Hold
to
on,
this,
hold on.
no, Jenny, if
Don't
you're
do this
listening to
to
this, hold out. He will give in him. I'm sorry.
I will not have
No,
kids.
no, because no.
I'll nut you, Shawn, before I.
And maybe
I'll drink the standard for you fucking believe in. Cuz.
and maybe there is a difference. And maybe there is a difference
Sorry for your ears
between
on that one.
the disconnect between you and me. I have a brother. You've never
I'm
had a
with
brother.
you. I'm with you on that shit.
Maybe there is there's something there with you being a single child, and I've had 3 siblings. But I'm gonna be honest with you. I think once you have there's some comfort and stability in a person that you
What are you
love.
laughing at?
I'll tell you in a minute.
Okay.
There's comfort and stability in the person that you love. I haven't noticed it until the past 2 years, and I've been with Heather for 8.
Did anybody take a
do you
piss?
think?
I've been with Heather for 8 years, and we can cut this if you want to.
Yeah, piss.
Yeah, we can take a break.
Let's take a piss break.
All right, we'll be back, guys.
We'll be back, guys.
BRBs.
And we back. Cheers.
back.
What's up,
Cheers,
baby?
everybody.
Okay, so the
Listen, the confidence was there. The rest wasn't. The skill
We went
wasn't.
downstairs on this break, and what time is it right now?
It's 9:35. We went down about 9
it's
o'clock.
pitch black dark. So we went, and the guest Chris said that he could last 5 minutes. Was
No,
that
he
it?
said he could
I said I could tap him.
Oh yeah, not even last 5. Honestly, the best bet would be last 5 minutes.
I thought for sure I could catch him in an arm and head choke,
I'd have bet.
or just a choke in general. Because I thought, okay, if I can just get my arms around the head and shoulder, I can work to his back, and it just didn't happen like that.
I want to say I ate
I did
3
tap
pieces
out in
of pizza.
35 seconds. To be fair, He got me.
Let Shawn tell this.
Okay,
because
so
he's from the outside.
I get downstairs and and Chris is like, "Oh yeah, I bet I can tap him
Jiu-Jitsu's a hell of
within
a thing.
5 minutes." And I'm like,
talking about me.
"Yeah, talking about Bryant." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll bet you $100." He's like, "Okay, I'll bet you $100."
Now Chris weighs how much?
250.
I weigh 190 right now.
Right? And I
I've
was
definitely
like,
got the weight.
You have the weight.
I'm definitely stronger.
Definitely.
But I was like, okay, I'll bet you $100. And we went out back. I love you, Chris. You're
In
my
our
buddy.
underwear. To be fair, we
You
did strip
both
down
stripped
to our
down.
underwear.
Yeah, I didn't want our shirts get
we don't wanna
dirty
get
because
dirty.
we gotta come back up here and do the rest of the podcast.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'm willing to bet $100 on Bryant, and for 5 minutes, Chris might tap him out. He might not. 35 seconds, it was over.
Yeah, we did say at the end of 5 minutes, if no one tapped, it was a draw.
Yeah.
I didn't
I was like,
make a
okay.
minute.
Respect.
I tapped.
Hey, I like the
lost
compliment.
my hundo.
I'll drink to that.
Cheers,
Cheers,
buddy.
guys. Cheers.
Let's drink to the
Apparently,
confidence.
jiu-jitsu is a real fucking thing. So
Yeah.
It's real as fuck.
Yeah.
I honestly though, like when I got away from the guillotine, I pulled the arm down. Maybe if you were better in jiu-jitsu, you could have got
Well,
me.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I hadn't trained in 4 or 5 months.
I went to one class to be fair.
35 seconds.
I
That's
felt,
fair, yeah,
I felt
exactly.
the confidence
That's fair,
from
yeah.
one class. But I thought for sure I could catch you. I was like, if I can just get my arms around him, I can strangle his ass.
But isn't that
And it
how
did
beautiful
not happen.
jiu-jitsu is? Like,
Yeah,
okay,
it's the smaller guy wins.
Well, it was the legs, dude. Like the power
technique
in your
wins.
legs is
It's
impressive.
ridiculous.
Because
It's
like once he
ridiculous.
got it over my shoulder and around
Yeah.
my head, I was like, oh, I can't reach
When I
it.
saw-
And not only can I not reach it, like I feel the I was like, I'm gonna go to sleep or tap. I'm gonna tap.
I was watching and I was like,
I was really hoping he would go to sleep. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, I could put Chris Harris to sleep.
Like I felt it. I was like, ooh, I might.
It happens.
If I stay here long enough, I might sleep.
it happened so quick that I was like, oh my God.
The best
Yeah.
part is I didn't even get it tight.
I didn't think
I
was
felt
that
it getting tight.
That
I knew
that
I knew
wasn't
defeat
tight.
when I felt it.
That wasn't
But I
tight.
knew it when I felt it because
But
I
that
knew there was
wasn't
no way
tight.
out. I knew there was still no way
What
out.
I'm
though.
saying is that wasn't
Yeah,
tight.
but that was
that
tight.
was like tight to you.
Yeah.
That's not tight.
But that was tight enough where I go, ooh, I don't
Fuck
know how to get
that,
out of
yeah.
this. Oh, no, I don't know how to get
I'm
out of
gonna
this.
pass out.
It wasn't even like I can't. I was like, I
it
don't
was
know
like
how.
5 seconds later. Like 5 seconds, you were gonna pass out.
Yeah.
I saw
I
you
think I had
almost try to
15
pick him
seconds.
up. I saw
Oh,
you
I did. I
almost-
tried to stand
you
up.
tried,
And
and it
when
was
I
over.
went
I
to
was
go
like,
stand.
slam me. I was like, slam me. I dare you.
No, I
I'm
wasn't
gonna
gonna
lock
slam
this
you.
shit up.
But I
It's like-
thought for sure, like you holding your body weight with just your legs, maybe it would like lessen. It didn't.
it wasn't. It wouldn't be.
It pulled tighter on my neck.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Hey, it wouldn't be the first time I've been slammed by a guy like that.
Really?
Yeah, so a guy that I work with actually, he was a really good wrestler, and he had never learned any jiu-jitsu, and so I taught him to come to jiu-jitsu class, and I locked up a triangle on him, and he tried to slam me, and I was just like, oh, I'm locking this shit up tight now. Because he didn't know, though. He didn't know, like, you're not supposed to slam in jiu-jitsu,
Right.
which is a shitty rule in jiu-jitsu, by the way. Like, if someone's locking up a fucking choke, slam the motherfucker on their
Yeah,
head.
for sure.
That's on them.
Try to get out.
For sure.
you know.
But, it's not a striking thing. I feel like a slam is a strike.
For
So
sure.
I,
Definitely.
I understand.
Slam is definitely
I
a
understand the like the jiu-jitsu not slamming thing. So I mean, like I hate on it, but I also get it. But like he slammed me, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna choke the fuck out of him now. And I really like locked it up tight. I was hoping he.
I'm
would
gonna be
slam me.
honest. It happened faster than I thought it would.
It happened faster than I thought it would.
I'll be
too.
honest. It happened. I'll be honest with you. Whenever I locked up the guillotine, I was like, oh, I'm about to choke him out in 10 seconds.
Well, here's my thing. I was confident because
I should have choked him in 10. Like I didn't want to rip it and like crank his neck. I don't want to be a
we,
shitty person.
we talked shit earlier about like because you'll never catch me in an
But
armbar. stand by
I
that.
respect him for like I knew he wasn't gonna
respect
be
him. I
a
respect
shitty
him.
person. I was like, I'm not gonna be a shitty person to him because I know he won't be that way to me.
Right.
But no, like I thought for sure you were gonna try to go for an armbar when we got down, and I was like, okay, that's my realm. Like I can survive for 5 minutes. You'll never get me.
No, I
an
coulda
armbar.
armbarred you
and
for
that,
sure.
that was my thought. Listen, you might have after the fucking.
I
legs,
wish I would've.
Your legs might be stronger than my arm, maybe.
Yeah,
Oh
maybe.
no, there's no doubt
Maybe.
about it.
I'm still standing by maybe. Even
Can you curl
It would have been
275?
you would have still about another 100.
Can you curl 275 with one arm?
no.
Because I was squatting that in 10th grade.
That's cool. Like if I can get my hands together like this, I don't think you can pull my hands apart.
Oh, I could because there's genetics.
Listen, like,
Let's go
probably.
try. Let's try
Hey.
to
Probably. Like, I'll come back to a jiu-jitsu class for that.
Are
We
you
can
willing to
roll.
bet
We can-
another 100?
No,
No,
definitely
because
not.
I realized down there in those 35
Technique
seconds
is so much.
that
Too much.
man, like the legs are so much stronger than I thought. Because like when to be fair, when we went and I went to that class and I rolled,
I was
with you
playing
guys.
around. I was a white belt. That was like a year ago.
Well, no, wait a minute. It was the
He
fact
like,
that like
we
even,
were rolling and he showed me like a tight triangle or something, and I was like, oh my god. He's like, this is like 25%.
Well,
I was
to be-
like, oh my god, I'm
I've
about to
never
pass out right now.
I've never been to this because like when we live rolled last time. Now again, it was one class, it's one day, so small sample size. My fault.
This is when he was a white belt, though.
Sure,
hold on.
Like, I'm saying, like, it wasn't even just Bryant. Like I tapped because I was exhausted. Like every time I tapped, I was like, I'm just fucking. I'm
It's such a cardio thing too.
Like
Yeah.
even like when Biggs had me, he was playing with me, laughing, and I was still like, oh, I don't know.
Of like no, it's the thing of like knowing when to go hard and when not to.
Right.
But I wanna talk about. You said when Biggs had me. It's Nicholas Biggs. Whoever made it this far in the podcast. Nicholas Biggs is a fucking killer.
Black belt.
Come take jiu-jitsu from Nicholas Biggs at Forge Family Martial Arts in Williamson, South Carolina.
He's nasty, dude.
He's a monster. He's an Alliance black belt, and he's legit.
Well, here's like, even when he had me, like he was like light rolling. To be fair,
Yeah.
he wasn't trying to be a dick.
He's playing,
He
yeah.
knew it was my first day there, and he's just like, oh, it's our turn to roll. Like he was gonna put me in an
Yeah,
arm
let
bar,
you know.
and like he went like maybe 20%, maybe. Like,
It's probably like 2%.
Maybe I'm saying 20 to make myself.
Yeah, I
feel
like
better.
that. Yeah, for sure.
But like he went to go roll and pull it, and like I held my arms together well enough where he was like, okay, and like rather than just yanking it and going, you're gonna
He
tap,
just went to something else.
He just went to something else.
Yes.
Right. But again, until I felt your legs, I was like, oh, I'm really fucked. Like that was serious. Like when you wrap the legs, like I can't reach it because I know it's over there. This arm is down. I know I can't reach it. I was like, I'm fucked. It's either sleep or tap. It's
Yeah.
worth 100 just tap. I'm not sleeping.
Yeah, for sure. I really was hoping he was gonna sleep.
Nah, listen. If you would have got me in something different, maybe not that. Not that.
So we got about, what time is it?
It's like 10 minutes till the fight starts.
Okay, so we got a little bit. Chris, what do you think about the Piotr Jan and Shawn O'Malley fight?
Oh man, we're getting there.
So
Because
And
you don't have to
yeah.
explain yourself. I want to explain.
Well, no, I was gonna
myself.
say I was thinking it was we were doing a podcast before next week, but it is November 12th. So we're doing this on the Saturday before the Adesanya fight.
Izzy fights here soon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a couple
So
seconds.
I think Whaley's a lock. She's strong.
But the Piotr Jan versus Shawn O'Malley. That's
I'm
what
gonna be
it is.
honest. I don't think Whaley's a lock. I think that she's on the way out, and so is Joanna. That's why she won the Joanna fight. But I think that like you kind of go back and watch. Like, and I'm not a big Carla Esparza fan, but like I think that like Zhang Weili is on the way out. I really believe that
It's
because
possible.
she's
It's very
lost like
possible.
what 3 out of the past 4 fights.
She's only lost.
She
lost 2 out of the last couple, but both of them were to Rose.
Let me give you my input on
Rose
the
is her
fights.
kryptonite.
Let me give you my input on that fight.
Go ahead.
Rose and Zhang Weili are offensive fighters. Rose is a better offensive fighter than Zhang Weili. Hold on. Rose fight defensively versus Carla Esparza, who is also a defensive fighter.
Right.
That's why it was a shitty fight, and then they gave it to Carla
fair.
Esparza, which is
That's
a
fair.
shitty decision.
That's fair.
But regardless, I get it.
They should have
And
took it
then
off from Rose.
If
I
you
don't
put Rose being aggressive versus Carla Esparza, that's a good fight.
Okay.
You put Zhang Weili being aggressive versus Carla Esparza, it's going to be a good fucking fight tonight.
I think it's gonna be a good fight.
I'm saying this
My biggest
17
thing is
minutes before the main card starts.
I think Carla Esparza is a really good wrestler. But I
she
think,
earned the title fight.
I think Whaley.
I think Whaley's gonna
is so
fucking
much
smash her.
Stronger. I think Whaley's so much stronger because like you feel it in wrestling when you go to grapple, you feel the strength.
And this is coming from experience.
Not with you.
Okay. Well, I choked your ass out.
You did. That was jujitsu. Not to be. I wrestled Ben the floor one time. And,
that motherfucker don't know how to wrestle.
Well, he was wrestling. Like he
Yeah,
hit through me.
I
Like
ain't
when you
buying
feel someone that heavy on
at a
top
high
of you.
school
Sure. But listen,
level.
all I'm saying is that when you feel someone heavy like that
love
on
it,
top of
dude,
you, and they know how to use their weight. Because again, we were in school. I've never fucking wrestled. I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
when
the
you
same
have
way.
someone that knows what they're doing, that's stronger and bigger on top of you. That's a nightmare.
That's fair.
That's just a nightmare.
True.
fair.
You like especially
So what
when
a-
you don't know what to do.
What about when you do know what to do and there's someone bigger and stronger than you on top and you chuck them out anyway?
Well,
You make $100.
Okay,
You
so
make
you're
$100.
taking John Weili.
Whaley. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
taking
we're taking
Whaley, Izzy,
all three
and
of us are going
Poirier.
Weili.
Oh, hold on. Let's take Chandler versus Poirier.
I'm taking Poirier.
I'm taking Chandler.
Why? Why are you taking Poirier? I'm taking
I'm taking
also.
Poirier
I'm taking
because-
Chandler too.
I like Chandler
Both of
too.
them have been in wars. Both of them have finishing power. But I think the biggest thing is I think Dustin stays calmer in fights where Chandler goes for the exciting fight. And that bites him sometimes.
I like
Chandler
that.
sometimes
I like that.
will go and explode thinking he has the finish when he doesn't have it and it's not there and it's cost him. That's why he's 2-2 in the UFC.
Sure.
Even in Bellator, it's cost him sometimes when he went for
Absolutely.
the finish.
That's fair.
Poirier stays a little bit more composed. When Poirier used to get finished, I mean, he's gotten finished by like Khabib and stuff too, but
Yeah.
like it was a bit earlier in his
And
career.
Oliveira.
True.
Yeah,
Which
and
was the
Oliveira.
last fight.
Right, but it was a bit earlier in his career where he went on the gas and went stupid.
Right.
When the other fighter stayed composed.
Yeah.
I think when you have two guys that both just go at it, I think that favors
That's
Poirier.
what it's going to be, too.
'Cause,
I like that. I like that.
Look at
I like
Justin
that.
that
Poirier.
outcome. I like that, too. I
Justin
like that, too.
Poirier and Justin Gaethje, like that was a war, and
It
Poirier
was.
put him out
For sure.
Because
Yeah.
again, you know, if Chandler comes out there and is smart and tries to wrestle, Chandler will win. But if they go out there and brawl, Poirier is winning every time.
I like
That's
that.
the thing.
Go ahead,
I
Brian.
think that Chandler will go out there and try to wrestle. He saw what happened with Poirier versus Oliveira, and Poirier gassed out in the first round, which Chandler has a tough chin.
He does.
Poirier goes out and gasses out in the first round, and then he loses to wrestling / jiu-jitsu. You know, it's kind of hand in hand. And so I think Chandler will take that approach, and that's why I think Chandler will win.
See, he says that every time, but when he gets in front of the big stage,
Yes.
he plays to the crowd. And
I
they're
also
in
agree.
Madison
I
Square
also
Garden.
agree.
They're in the biggest stage they
Poirier
can get
is
in.
the experienced fighter. Chandler is the fucking wild card that's going to go crazy. He might miss some shit. Someone spilled something on the thing. I don't know.
Someone. Yeah.
But regardless,
But no, like that's the biggest
I
thing, too.
see what you're saying, but I just want to pull for Chandler because
Well, my biggest take
I like
for
Chandler.
My biggest
I
take
think
for Dustin.
Poirier is like on the decline too.
I agree.
My biggest take for Dustin is like, look at the way he handled the last two Conor fights versus the first one. And I know they're a world of difference, but
Sure.
in the first one, Conor got in his head and made him brawl, and he lost his ass off and got knocked out.
Right.
When he's got his head together and he goes out there and is collected and smart, he's tough to put away.
And
Like,
I
name
wanna-
the last guy that put, not submission, that put Dustin Poirier down and finished
I
him.
want to agree with you on that because McGregor seemed like he was winning the start of the first Poirier versus McGregor fight, and Poirier really kept his cool and rallied into a dominant fucking victory against McGregor, which I think that might have affected, you know, the second one, regardless of what happened in that, you know, but I think the fight versus him and Oliveira, he kind of lost his cool. He brawled because he didn't
respect
exactly
Oliveira's striking game.
And then I think he's going to learn a lot from that. And I think it's going to be a very good fight versus Chandler. But I think that it's a
Chandler can
it's a
go the
3-round
distance,
fight,
man.
And I
I don't
think
think Poirier can.
it's a 3-round fight. I think Chandler's going to beat
The only
Poirier
thing,
in the third round.
Yeah,
I think it's
agree.
Poirier in the second, not second, maybe third, but I haven't seen Poirier wilt when he gets hit.
That's fair.
I've seen him wilt with jiu-jitsu and getting choked out, but I haven't
he's
seen
a
him wilt
jiu-jitsu
just
black
taking
belt.
shots.
We've seen Chandler go the distance with Gaethje.
But Chandler's also 2-2
Here
in the UFC.
here recently.
But versus killers.
But he beat Dan Hooker, who's on a 5
Everybody-
out of 6.
Everybody's beat Den.
Right,
fine, yeah.
5 out of 6. And then he beat Tony, who's lost 5 out of 6.
Everybody's beat Tony.
But it was
And it was
phenomenal,
a spectacular finish.
Phenomenal finish.
But like I
But
said,
his two losses are Oliveira and Gaethje.
which again,
Yeah.
but
Phenomenal fighters who were
when
close
I look
fights,
at the
too.
guys
Yeah.
he's beat, though,
almost finished
Poirier
Gaethje
finished
and-
Gaethje.
He almost
finished.
That's fair. But that was also, you know, some time ago.
Some years
What
ago.
what about Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya?
I'm taking Izzy.
I'm taking Izzy too. If I had to put money on it, I would take Izzy. But
So
honestly,
this is 12 minutes now before
So
the.
before you, because I know you're going to take Pierre probably.
I'm thinking Pereira for sure.
you taking Pereira for real?
I'm thinking Pereira.
Really?
He has the finish potential. He's beat Izzy twice, right?
That's fine.
He's got to be in Izzy's head a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think that's a factor right now.
Maybe
I'm
not.
Regardless of that, I think the reason I'm saying Pereira is I think Israel Adesanya is on his way out.
I think
He's getting older. He is having less finish potential.
I can see it. I can
And
see
then
it.
Alex Pereira
Yeah, I can
is
see
a
it.
fucking killer.
I can see it.
Regardless of the history,
Yeah.
Alex Pereira came
He's
out
on the
there
up and
and
up.
destroyed Sean
Yeah.
Strickland.
I can see
And
it.
there's a
Here's my
reason
thing.
why.
Yeah, I can see it.
Here's
And that
my
doesn't
thing.
help the history thing.
Yeah.
I think Izzy fights to the level that he feels threatened.
That's fair. He fights to his
And-
competition.
He didn't feel threatened by Vettori, who's a wrestler. I don't think he ever, when he was fighting like Marvin Vettori, felt like he was going to get finished. I think the only time he ever felt the threat of being finished was against Whitaker.
Which is fair.
And
Whitaker
the
is a
fact that he
monster.
knocked him out the first time gave him a lot of confidence.
I'm gonna be honest with you guys. I think this is like the vibes that this gives off is Chris Weidman versus Anderson Silva.
So why do you have your money on?
I think if I had to put my money down, I would go Izzy.
You said, but why? That's what I'm asking. Why?
Because I
He's
mean,
the best. He's the most technically proficient.
Yes, that's why.
Technique wins.
And
most of the
and I
time.
completely understand that.
Yes.
And realistically, I'm a huge Israel Adesanya fan. I want to see Adesanya win.
And I
don't think it's gonna happen.
I haven't seen a dominant technician in Pereira.
Sean O'Malley is like that way.
Well, yeah, but I haven't seen
I'm
that in
sorry, I was trying to
Pereira.
read your mind.
But I haven't seen that in. Yeah, I haven't seen that in Pereira. I've seen that in Izzy, and to me, like it's very easy for Izzy to go out there.
You haven't watched the kickboxing highlights.
No, I've seen where Pereira has beaten Izzy back in the day in kickboxing, but to me, like in the UFC ring, this is a big fucking moment for Pereira.
It is for sure.
And I just don't think he can live like this. Is a lot.
I think Pereira is completely ready for this.
This is very
here's the thing.
this is very tense. This is very tense for Pereira, and Izzy has been in the spotlight for how long? I mean, this like a title fight for Izzy is,
and I think that's why it's so hard
yeah.
for Izzy. I
And
think
so for
Pereira
Izzy,
will win.
he knows how to he knows placement in the ring. He can circle the ring and not get cut off in the ring by Pereira.
So can Pereira.
And
Pereira's knocked him out twice.
Once.
That was back in
Oh, yeah,
the
once
that was
again,
back in
yeah.
the day. That was before Izzy was the champion, though.
Well, here's my other thing. I don't think that since Izzy's been knocked out, he knows the deal. He knows the left hand can put him out. He's smart enough and technical enough to know that, hey, listen, I'm going to roll left away from his left hand, and I'm going to tag him all night. And Izzy's fine doing that. He's fine winning by points and going, I'm going to touch you and stay away from that left. I think Alex gets aggressive third, fourth
possible.
round.
Yeah, I
I
can
think
see
Izzy
that.
finishes him then. Because
I can see
when
that.
you attack him,
I don't think he finished. I think it goes the distance, and Izzy wins by decision. Like,
That's a
clear
very
decision.
safe decision.
No.
For sure.
I'm going to say because Izzy's lost twice, he wants this more than any fight he's ever had. I say it's a finish in the fourth.
However, I think that
Finish in the fourth.
coming from Chris, he also predicted that he would tap me out in 5 minutes.
I did.
And
I did.
tapped in 35
I'm not very good at this.
So, but the original question that we came to was
Peter
Sean
Yan.
O'Malley versus Piotr Jan.
So
Peter.
it is clear as day O'Malley won that third round. He busted him with the knee.
I agree
with that.
Split him.
I agree with
hurt
that.
him.
The
I
second
agree with
round was very
The
clear.
second round, I think it's pretty clear Jan won.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes.
I think it comes down to how you judge that first round. And Piotr Jan's a slow starter. He always start every fight he's had. The first round, he's pretty much lost every first round
Okay.
because he likes to
Can
feel.
I stop you real quick? I was trying to be biased. I'm sure you saw that. In the second round, I was like, yeah, whatever. I'm not gonna be biased. Let's not be biased. Let's let him make his opinion.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was trying to do that. Though.
But I think Piotr Jan wasn't aggressive enough because he had a takedown, I think, in the first round.
talking about first round, yeah.
First round.
He
But
did.
Shawn,
He did have a nasty
But
takedown,
Shawn hurt him more, I think, when he struck him when they were
In the third
in the
round.
first, I'm talking about first round because I think the decision goes to the first round because I think it's all pretty clear that Shawn won the third, Piotr won the second.
I agree.
So I think it comes down to that first round as far as that split goes. I think the way they scored it is that Shawn hurt him more from the judge's eyes
That'd be so.
than Piotr did with the takedown. I don't.
So many
I don't know
takedowns.
because when he did take him down, he didn't really do much damage. When he
It's
took
true.
him down, he had control, he had good position, but there wasn't a lot of like,
How many times you gotta get dumped on your ass before it's embarrassing?
Well, hold on. My argument.
just one.
and then my
If
argument.
you're a professional,
It
you're
was-
in the top 10.
It was more than one though.
it was
Right.
5 times.
In the
However,
first round?
It was embarrassing.
No, just total.
Oh, yeah, I know that.
My argument though was like, if you see Oliveira getting taken down and he's on his back in his guard, who has the advantage? Is it Oliveira or is it the person on top? Because Oliveira has the highest submission rate.
Right. So it's always they should score it. Whoever's on top has the advantage.
And they did.
It doesn't matter if you're on bottom and you're safe. You have to either be for me. You have to be going for a submission, or you have to be like attacking from the bottom. The only two people I've saw attack from the bottom were Tony Ferguson before
Charles Oliveira.
And Charles Oliveira. Those are really the only two. Well, Paul Craig will attack you.
Yeah,
from the
Paul
back.
Craig. Yes,
So-
absolutely.
Paul
That's
Craig,
not a UFC fighter.
Right.
So who
That's a
won?
one championship
So
slash-
what we're
Paul Craig's
asking
in the
is, we got like 12 minutes to wrap this up.
What? Yeah, he's in the UFC.
Okay.
We have 12
He's the
minutes
bear
to wrap
Jew.
this up.
We've got
Who
6 minutes.
won that
We've got
fight
6
in your
minutes.
eyes?
I think Shawn won it.
Really?
I do. Piotr Jan did a lot, but he gives the first round away too often, and I think that's what bit him. So I think Shawn won it because Shawn split him in the third. He almost finished in the third.
He
Like
could've.
I look
He
at it
could've.
as if that went to 4 and 5,
That's-
Piotr Jan was in trouble.
That was my argument.
That was he was in trouble.
Can I
But
just-
regardless, that's not an argument because it's a third round. It's a 3-round
Yeah,
fight.
3 rounds.
Right.
That's
You
it.
can't argue that.
Yeah. Can I say that, like, in those title fight, or not title fight because it wasn't a title
Non-title
fight,
fights.
but
That's-
like
that's 3 rounds.
though they could, in the 4th round, it could easily switch to, Peter Yan hitting him and changing the whole entire trajectory of that fight. With one hit, and because that's how that fight was going. It was such a good fight, but we're very limited on time here. Who's your Super Bowl?
Super Bowl pick. I'm taking the
Holy
Bills.
The Bills.
I think
and
the
who?
Buffalo Bills. I think the
versus
Bills,
who? Versus who?
Say it. Say it right now, motherfucker.
Say my name.
Say my name. Because you know where I want him to say.
Say my
Say
fucking
some
name.
Eagles or some shit.
Who the fuck's going to beat him?
That's fair. That's a good fucking.
Tampa Bay?
Listen,
Fucking
the Eagles
Brady's
aren't going
fucking-
undefeated.
They're
I'm
not.
fine with- I hope they
that's
don't.
not the argument here. I'm just
I hope
asking,
they don't.
I didn't ask that. I asked who's
But
who's
what
playing
do they
the
do?
Super Bowl.
Who's going to beat him?
I think
to make him
this year's
undefeated?
Buffalo's year. I think
I
Who
Buffalo
are they going to
finally
play
does
in the
it.
Super Bowl, though?
Who's playing in the Super Bowl?
I can see the Niners getting back.
Oh,
I think
shut
the
your
Niners.
bitch
don't
ass
I can
suck.
see it.
I can see
I
the Niners
definitely see
dark
it.
horse
With
back
fucking
in.
Jimmy
But I'm
Garoppolo's
gonna be
bitch
honest.
ass.
Hear me out,
That's
hear me
it.
out.
That's it.
But you got Debo who does everything.
Hey,
Who's
I don't
also
care.
hurt. Who's also hurt.
Hey, no, he's back. He's full practice.
Yeah, but
It's
he's
early.
he's
Hey,
still having
time
injury
out.
problems.
No, it's not about Garoppolo
Jimmy
healthy
G
or
can
not.
do it, too.
No, he can't.
Kyle Shanahan can do
I
it.
don't believe in Jimmy Garoppolo.
You don't believe in him?
No.
The
Listen,
Eagles
listen,
defense.
I
Listen,
want to agree with you so
the Eagles
bad.
defense will murder Jimmy
in
Garoppolo.
that system.
Yes.
In the 49ers system with Kyle Shanahan, I think there's that window where
No,
they
there's
could
not.
do it. Now,
I
whether or
don't
not they
agree.
will, again, I don't know. That's why I say the Buffalo Bills win.
He said
I
every
think-
opportunity. That's why they moved on to
The
Trey
Eagles
Lance.
defense will murder Jimmy Garoppolo.
I agree.
It will be
They
will
so
hurt him.
ugly.
They will
It'll
hurt
be
him.
3
Yeah.
picks, fucking 7 sacks.
Yeah, Jimmy
Very
Garoppolo is
bad.
not winning the Super Bowl. He would
No.
never.
He won't-
win.
he won't
He
win
had
the
a
NFC
shot. He
championship.
had a shot and he missed it.
My only worry as an Eagles fan is Tom Brady.
I agree 100%.
That's my only worry.
That's my If I'm an Eagles fan, that's my only worry too.
Listen,
Because Tom Brady will fucking rally. That division
Yes.
is wide open.
Yes.
I do
That's
not-
scary.
I
I wish
agree.
he fucking
I agree
retired.
100%.
Because fuck
I do
that
not
motherfucker.
have an
The
NFL team.
49ers, if I'm an Eagles fan, the 49ers worry me a little bit.
And obviously our
think they're
division,
the
the
dark
Giants
horse,
and the
though.
fucking Cowboys. The
Yeah.
Cowboys too worry me a little bit.
They're always hit and miss, though. Cowboys, Giants.
I mean, they're fucking
Eagles,
6-2, 6-2,
Washington
8-9.
are always like a.
No,
they
not
could
Washington.
do
I'm
it.
not
No,
watching
listen, that division though, it's like they could do it or they couldn't. It's always like a wave.
Them boys.
Yeah, but
I-
like
I
that,
think
that division's always a
Buffalo,
wave because
those table jumping,
be honest.
flame
table
tables,
jumping, humping
Those
motherfucking
motherfuckers.
motherfuckers.
They might do it.
my
Josh Allen. and-
My Super
and
Bowl prediction
Stephon
is the
Diggs.
fucking Eagles take it all.
Eagles,
Mid-season.
Bills win. That's my prediction right now.
But
I hope it's the
who's
fucking
battling-
Eagles.
who's
I'm
battling?
going for the Eagles in that
who
situation.
is battling
You know who's
injuries
doing-
right now?
You know who's doing worse? than I
Josh
thought?
Allen is
The
battling.
fucking Rams.
Josh Allen's
The
battling
Rams
injuries.
are ugly. The
Yeah, I'm not
Cardinals
worried
are
about that
fucking
motherfuckers.
ugly
That division-
right
That was
now.
both of our Super Bowl picks.
Yeah.
I picked
Cardinals
the
and Rams?
I picked Rams, Chargers. He picked Bills, Kyler Murray.
Bills, and
Cardinals.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think the Bills take it this year.
I think so too.
Listen,
I think.
the Bills
But I'm
look
actually
like,
kind of pulling.
You know
if
me,
that
I'm a
happens,
biased
pulling for the
motherfucker.
Eagles.
Eagles are taking it. Eagles are taking this shit this year.
Listen, I'm not mad at it. They drafted some Georgia fellas. They're doing well.
Hey, N'Kobe Dean,
Jordan
fucking
Davis.
Jordan Davis. Hey,
Cheers.
Awesome.
It's been fun.
Let's talk about Georgia real quick. Just because
Okay,
Okay, let's do it. Let's do it.
Fuck
Yeah.
Georgia.
So he needs his time
I'm
in
a
the
Georgia
sun.
fan. It's
Let's
my
give him
time.
his
It's
time in the
my
sun.
time to shine. Finally, we're doing top level shit. We won the Natty last
You
year.
going back to back?
This year looks like the best year possible to do it.
I agree.
I
because
would not
I-
bet against them, but I believe
I
it.
think they go back to back.
the
I've been
only
saying it all
threat
year.
I see this year is Ohio State.
I agree.
Because Ohio State can score. Marvin Harrison, I can't pronounce the kid with the E for the last name receiver.
I respect that.
They're
I really should try.
they're good. Those are both
They're
top
good.
10 picks.
Yeah, Ohio State's
Both
always in
top
the
10
mix.
picks. CJ Stroud's a top 10 pick.
He's nasty.
I just don't think their defense can stop anybody.
Yeah.
I think if you get into a shootout, you can get the turnover before they get the turnover.
I really love this fast-paced prediction shit. This is
I like
really
this,
fucking
yeah,
fun.
yeah.
I honestly
We need to do
think
this every year.
Georgia repeats this year.
To me, I agree. I agree.
And if Georgia repeats this year, we win a third one in the next 5 after this.
That's
I don't
a
know if
very,
it'll be-
that's a very
because-
good. I'll cheers to that. That's a good
Cheers,
fucking
I
argument.
like that.
One
As
is
a Carolina fan that hates Georgia,
Yeah.
that's a good argument. Cheers.
Hey guys, it's been a lot of fun. If you're following this, if you've made it this far,
if you've made it this far.
if
Don't
you've made it this
forget.
far,
Don't forget. That's where he's going.
I did
Yeah.
tap. If you made it this
yeah,
far.
if you made it this far, then 35 seconds in,
Yeah.
please like
Not
the
very long.
podcast.
We got
Please-
done. We
Hey,
laughed
hey,
about it.
hold
We
on,
got
hold on.
dressed, and it still wasn't
3
5
hours
minutes.
and 7 minutes in. Next week, Brew Collar Bar crawl,
baby.
Bar
It's
crawl.
fucking coming.
12 bars,
If
12
beers.
beers.
If I wasn't
Except
gonna be
we're
out of
gonna
town,
take
I'd be there.
shots. We're gonna be getting fucked up.
Listen,
It's gonna be a good time.
Next time you guys plan the brew collar.
We've been
bar
planning
crawl?
it for months.
Well, I know you have, but I had fucking shit. I had to go to
okay.
work.
Hey, you gotta make money.
I gotta make money. So I
You
gotta
got
go to
bills
work.
to pay. You got
I got
mouths
a
to feed.
couple days a month I gotta work. So the
Oh,
next
wow.
one though.
Fucking
Fuck
flexing
you,
on
you
us.
tapped me. The next one I'll be there.
It hurts him.
It'll be fun. It does.
Hey,
I'm gonna have to go to
cheers,
Jiu Jitsu
everybody.
classes.
We love
we,
y'all.
We love you guys.
Hey, we love Chris Harris. How about
Yeah.
that? Cheers
Yes.
to Chris Harris.
Shout out to Chris Harris.
Let's go.
we
The
Fucking
Chris, this is
fights.
Chris Harris.
I'm the Chris Harris.
Hey, we appreciate everybody
love you
watching
guys.
and check out Chris Harris. This motherfucker's wild.
It's a legend.
We love this dude. This
It's good to have him on.
We fucking love this dude. I love you, brother.
Glad
Appreciate
you tapped
you.
me out.
We love you guys.
I'm glad
Love you,
I
Chris.
did.
Good to see
You
you.
just
Knocking
smacked
the
this
mic
mic from
over.
the fucking
We'll
table.
see you next week at the Brew Collar
Cheers,
Podcast.
guys.
Please swing by.
Bye, everybody.
Cheers.
Love y'all.